somebody's like, you're late in the comments.
Oh shoot, I should connect the comments.
I mean, like I'm always monitoring the comments. Like this is like, so yeah, it's, I'm logged in and I'm chatting with people and so on.
Give me one second to get the comments and super chats pulled in.
All right, let me log in on TikTok. Oh, oh, hey, you never adjusted my resolution.
Oh, yeah, sorry. 1 second.
Because right now I just look like a giant face, like the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, let me get your resolution adjusted.
All right, I have water. Yeah, so I haven't actually... Almost.
Almost, but the video... there we go. It's a little better. A little more. Oop. That's not too bad.
Yeah, let me shrink myself a little bit just so then my whole face fits. How's that?
Yeah, it looks really good.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
There's the window. There we go.
But my head's super giant.
Well, yeah, but like, look.
We are 3 different sizes.
Fix that.
It'd be okay.
Well, yeah, but on TikTok we actually look fine, and on YouTube we look fine.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine. I'm not too worried. But yeah, when you're the director, when I log in as the director, they don't actually give me the option to adjust my video for some reason. I can just everyone's video but my video, which is really weird.
That is weird.
What are you gonna do? All right, the comments and the super chats are integrated into OBS now, so I can actually
comments
see
are
them
as well. Fascinating.
Yeah, so I've got the I'm using a plugin that pulls all the comments and super chats into OBS for me, and then I can click on them and put them on the screen. Like we've got a delightful comment from Tootsman, says engagement comment. Hey, thank you for the engagement comment. We really appreciate that.
Love some engagement comments.
And if you're watching on TikTok, which I know you are because people are requesting to get into the guest box, we can't take you on TikTok. There's a link on the screen, however. If you click the link on the screen, you'll be brought into the conversation as a guest, and we'll get you up here talking. Which reminds me, I need to get on TikTok and log in so people know that I'm live on Unapologetic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I should send out an announcement.
Yeah, me too. What a great thought, Dr. Blitz.
That's why they call me doctor.
Were you there last night? There was like a guest who was like, why isn't Dr. Blitz cured cancer yet if he's a doctor?
No.
Stop it.
That's a real quote that someone actually said.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Brilliant.
So that last guy you were talking to, or not, he wasn't the last guy, but that guy you were talking to, who was
that we cyberbullied?
Fake selling grills.
Yeah. Yeah.
How did that conversation end? Did he just end up leaving, or did he just fight you for another hour?
I think I got bored of him at one point, and then I wanted to ask Blitz like a physics question.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, it's totally fine.
Why did I end up having to? Oh, no.
My wife?
My wife, yeah, no, she got her wisdom teeth out, so family comes first.
Yeah, of course.
So I have to.
No.
I might actually have to step away just to check on her every once in a while, but other than that, we're good.
That's totally understandable, yeah. But I can't even. It's all a blur, to be honest. What else happened?
Well, I mean, it definitely was cyberbullying. I've come to that conclusion. Like, some people deserve to be cyberbullied, but
yeah,
that kid, he was so mean. He was so rude,
and like genuinely a bad person too, right?
Yeah,
like, definitely taking advantage of people who were desperate.
Yeah, he was like taking people's money.
Yeah, like unironically, I feel like I would to be clear, like I think it's like super morally reprehensible to be like offering people like a service where you charge like top dollar and then the vast majority of them get nothing out of it. Like that's just like super unethical.
Yeah, it's the life coach grift. Like it's so common on TikTok and on social media in general.
But Ian, formal education has failed all three of us. Have been all completely unemployed after our graduation and
Unemployed
hapless
and unsuccessful.
Yeah, don't I know it? Yeah. Gosh, if only I took his drop shipping course, then maybe I'd have like some form of employment, some stream of income.
If only.
Yeah.
I want to show up at Mellow Mushroom if I ever am in Georgia and ask for a grill.
Have you ever been to Mellow Mushroom? It's a great
Honestly,
pizza
I don't
place.
love their pizza.
I like their
where
pizza.
I went
I
to
think
college. I was just kind of like, I guess it was good if it was like 2 a.m., but
I like it.
I don't know. I just didn't love it.
I disagree. I'm a Mellow Mushroom stan.
We might have a guest. I see a guest trying to load, but there's no name. Let me pull in the guest and see if we can hear anything or see anything. Welcome in, Rue. Rue? Oh, sorry. The unmute didn't. I clicked wrong. Try it again. Rue, can you hear us? Rue? Can you guys hear?
No.
Wait, why
can't hear.
Why are we in a row now? Why are we?
It auto configures us into the same size box, no matter how many people are in the conversation. So if there's 100 people here, it's just going to make us all tiny into the same box. But this keeps our frame on the screen the same size all the time.
Okay, I see.
That way, because previously when we were adding people, it was just like randomly adding people and stuffing people into the
huge,
comments.
Some people tiny.
Yeah. This keeps everybody the same size. Well, Rue's obviously not with us. Sorry, Rue.
I mean, they're in the comments, but they're having a hard time, so.
Yeah, I might just have a slow connection. But we do have a super chat from Andrew. Andrew, thank you so much for the $15 super chat. That's generous, friend. Says, have a good stream, and we really appreciate that. We hope you enjoy the stream. Like most streams, it takes a few minutes to get a guest because a lot of people load up on TikTok and they can't read the screen and they don't listen to us tell them that you can't request via TikTok. But we'll say it again. There's a link on the screen. It's tinyurl.com/UA-guest. That's how you get into this conversation. If you request via TikTok, you're just going to sit in the guest request for the next 3-4 hours. You're not going to get on the screen. If you want on the screen, you got to use the link on the screen. We'd love to talk to you, but given our current hardware and technological limitations in 2025, we don't have a good way of doing what we're doing and taking a TikTok guest because we can't crosstalk. So use the link on the screen, and we'll get you into the conversation. And I think the guest came back, but we do have a super thanks from Larry for $10. Thank you so much, Larry. We appreciate that. And great to see you this morning, friend. All right, let's get
Larry's the GOAT.
Dude, he's everywhere at once. He's omnipresent on these streams.
Everywhere. So it looks like they're back. Looks like Rue Drachenfels is back.
Welcome in, Rue.
So we can see if they can come up.
They're going to try. Rue, do you have a...
Meanwhile, if you're watching on TikTok or if you're watching on YouTube, and I know that there's plenty of you on both, make sure to like the live stream, follow if the people who follow, if they find that a bunch of people are following a live stream, then they'll send it out to more people, which means more conversations, which means more blood sports for y'all.
Rue says that his screen is telling him that the director has your microphone muted. Yes. Rue, when you first come into the room, by default, your microphone is muted until I unmute you. You are currently unmuted. No one can hear you, though, because you don't have any audios plugged in. Or you're using a device that has a broken microphone. Or you're using a device that has no microphone.
Well, he's gone. But we have another guest named Free.
All right, let's try Free. Welcome in, Free. Nothing?
Free?
The weird thing is I don't even see Free's name.
That's weird.
That is weird.
This happened last week, too. Hold on.
I see his name and his camera.
Me too.
What a bizarre Change
I'm
of
gonna-
fate.
I know, right? I'm gonna I see
Saying my audio
his
is low.
I see his name once I add him onto the screen, but I can't see it in the actual queue.
Hmm.
But free. Maybe the issue's on my end. I'm gonna refresh my browser real quick, and we'll see if that takes care of it.
Okay.
Wouldn't that be a-
Allegedly, my audio is low. So if Justin can adjust that,
Yeah.
allegedly mentioned?
indeed, indubitably. Indubitably.
Okay. That should have fixed it. I can see everyone's names now. However, Free is muted, so let me add Free to the scene and unmute Free. How you doing, Free?
Hi, how are you?
Doing
Seem
well.
to take care of it.
Welcome.
Welcome in, Free. Free, are you at least 18? And do you believe in some kind of a god?
Sure, yeah, I'm 22.
Okay. And what kind of God do you believe in?
I was actually under the presumption that you guys denying God would give me the reference that you know what God is.
Free, are
Justin,
you sharing your stream?
You said what, buddy?
no, that's not Free. That's somebody else. Justin, do you want to get rid of this guy?
Yeah, who's
This is free. What do you,
This
One
per-
second,
no,
another-
not Free.
there's a
Where the
tech
person
issue.
who's like live streaming like Call of Duty Zombies.
oh,
To
I'm not-
No, you're good. You're good.
you're good.
Yeah.
Anyway, you
sure.
were saying?
What's up, guys? I was just saying, when you guys say God's not real, I was under the presumption that you guys know what God is.
Well, different people have different conceptions, right? So, like, if you come in and you're a deist, and then we present an argument that's like that's describes the God of classical theism, we'll just end up talking past each other. So it's useful to know what kind of thing you're talking about, so that we can know what kind of thing we're talking about.
Okay. So if I were to say God's about that,
Well,
I'd
we don't
say-
disagree that energy exists.
cool. So hypothetically, if my God was energy, the only thing can't be created or destroyed, could you debunk it?
No, we agree that energy exists.
Yeah,
Cool.
you would
Oh my
have to
God.
demonstrate that energy is God. That's the burden that you have to lift.
Sure. Energy is the only thing that doesn't need a creator in time, and it also exists outside of time. Am I wrong?
What do you
What?
mean? Energy does not exist outside of time. Arguably, energy doesn't even exist to begin with. But more than that, energy is not well defined in an expanding universe.
So do you need? Can you have entropy without energy, Blitz?
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me an example.
What do you mean? Give you an example. Entropy is
You
not
said-
entropy is not entropy doesn't require a global definition of energy. You can
Give
have
me an
local,
example.
local entropy, no issue.
Give
Any
an
system that has microstates will have an entropy.
Yeah. So what's microstating of?
That wasn't English. Want to try again?
What's it microstating of? What does that mean?
Microstating isn't a verb.
Then what does that mean to you?
I don't know. The words you just said, I don't understand those words because they're not English and I don't speak.
Blitz.
This guy's
Italian.
micro-stating his worldview. What an embarrassment.
Wait, Blitz. You're a physicist, and you state that energy can't be created nor destroyed. What were you?
No,
what were
I
you
said
saying,
that
Blitz?
energy is not well defined in a globally expanding space-time.
So now you're so now you don't agree with energy. That's what you're saying.
Well, this is like a well-known fact that energy is not well defined in a globally expanding space-time.
I'm totally confused. How can you pretend there's no energy?
I'm not pretending. This is a well-known fact. Energy is not well defined in a globally expanding space-time. This follows from Noether's theorem.
So
Go
energy
look
is
in
not
any
defined in a
cosmology
global-
textbook, it'll say the same thing.
Okay. So do you agree that energy is here?
You can talk about local notions of energy, but they're not globally defined.
Globally defined. What does that even mean?
It means that there's no notion of energy that applies for the whole universe.
So you're saying it's not a specific thing. It's just a bunch of everything.
No, so you could talk about like energy in like a finite, fixed, small region of space. Like you could talk about energy in like a laboratory on Earth, because a laboratory on Earth may as well not be in an expanding universe. But once you get to scales as large as the universe expanding, megaparsecs or so, there's no longer a useful notion of energy.
Well, I don't think the universe is expanding. That's my entire thing. Let's
You don't think
we're
the universe is expanding?
no, buddy. I think the exact opposite. Actually, an implosion of energy. Actually.
An implosion of energy. So, like,
Yeah.
what do you make of the redshifts that are observed for distant galaxies?
Didn't
No, but
happen.
I don't. It's not about it not happening. It's about I don't. I don't. You would have to go into the presumption that space is real, but I think that we're in closed systems.
No, you don't.
Space
You
is
don't
not
have to
real?
go into any presumption about space being real.
Well, I'm saying I think what you're claiming would go under the presumption that space is real, right?
No, it doesn't require that.
So
You can
where's your
actually.
galaxies? Where are galaxies then if space isn't real?
Are you asking? Wait, when you say
He's trying
space is
so
real,
hard to
do you mean?
pivot.
Wait, when you say space is real, do you mean that like you don't believe there's a place that you can go that's like 250 miles up?
250 miles up isn't space, Blitz.
Sure, it is. It's
No,
low
it's
Earth
not.
orbit.
No, it's not. It's actually the Earth's exosphere. That's not space. But did
Sure
you
it
want to try?
is.
You want to try again, Blitz?
Oh wait, Free, are you a flat earther?
No, I'm joking. I mean, why are you asking what am I a flat earther for? How is that now?
Because only flat earthers don't believe in space.
Because you're a flat earther.
Wait a minute. So you think because I don't believe that there's an infinite vacuum of nothingness, that I'm a flat earther?
What shape is the
No,
globe?
I think
is the
because you
Earth?
don't believe in space, you're a flat earther.
No, I think because I know basic principle of science.
What
as far as
shape
energy-
is the Earth?
He knows basic principle of science, Blitz. You know,
Got it.
learn who you're speaking to.
Oh, I've been had.
Yeah, if
Free,
you're
what
not a
shape is
flat
the Earth?
earther, what shape is it?
I'm not sure.
Is it a
I've never
globe?
tested
Sounds like
it.
a flat earther to me.
I've never tested it myself.
Is it a
the
globe?
but Blitz, you're pivoting, Blitz. My argument
Is it
was
a
God's-
globe?
I don't know.
Okay, go ahead.
Sounds like a flat earther to me.
Sounds like a
I'm
flat
not saying
earther
it's-
to me.
But the point isn't it's flat or it's a globe. The point is that hey, man, my presumption is that God's energy is something that's always here and it can't leave. Now, what is that energy? That's up to you, Blitz. But your proposition
Wait,
says
can you
God's not
define
real.
energy then? Can you define
Yeah.
energy? Because if you're not like willing to accept Noether's theorem, then I don't know what you mean by energy.
You don't know what I mean by energy?
No.
All right, cool. Existence itself, and the way that we observe it, it's derived through states of entropy. In those states of entropy, we observe as humans as chain of events, which you call time. Which
Existence
you think
itself is
inevitable.
derived through states of entropy. Entropy doesn't take states.
Yeah, so entropy needs energy, right? And everything goes through entropy.
No, not
That's-
necessarily. You can
that's
talk
your-
about
that's
entropy
your
of
second law of
static and
thermodynamics.
no, that's not the second law of thermodynamics.
Yeah, so what the second law of thermodynamics is everything goes through transgression of energy, and it has to be.
Nope,
it's
that's not the second law of
equal.
thermodynamics. Try again.
Yeah, what's
I'll give you another
the
chance.
Blitz, what's the definition, Blitz?
The second law of thermodynamics is that in a closed system, the entropy is non-decreasing statistically.
I'm starting to think this guy doesn't know
It's the
scientific
energy of
principle.
transgression, right?
I'm
So
starting to think so as well. Sorry, one
He's
more
just
time for
he's more advanced than the rest of us.
it's not about being advanced.
you. Advanced
So
stupid.
Look at your guys' proposition, right? I mean, hey,
Yeah.
do me a favor, Blitz. Don't call me stupid, bro. Like
I was
control your
making a
person.
SpongeBob reference. Free. I'm
Yeah,
sorry
yeah.
I'm sorry that attacked you. I wasn't referring to you. It was a
A
SpongeBob
PhD,
reference.
a PhD referencing SpongeBob.
But it's funny
because
'cause it's
Yeah,
true.
it's pop culture.
Yeah. So all I'm saying is this, Blitz. All right. When you guys say that God's not real, that's
Mhm.
you guys going under the presumption that you even know what God is.
What
Now,
we're
if you
saying
don't
is that
know
a
what-
mind didn't create the universe. When we say God isn't real, we're referring specifically to a mind that created the universe.
Can you
This
just-
encompasses
can you
the
just-
deist God, the Christian God, the Jewish God, the Islamic God. It encompasses all of the common notions of God. That's the thing that we're saying doesn't exist.
But I'm
Yeah,
agreeing. I'm
and
agreeing
if
with
you think
I agree
that
with
God
you.
is just energy, then you don't even believe in a God either. You're just redefining
Really,
what you
that's
think
compatible with
energy is.
atheism.
So
Really?
sounds like you're an atheist.
So it's not about being an atheist, buddy. It's about hey, man. I don't. You're right.
Are
I don't
you-
think it's Muslim God.
do you
or it's
believe-
Jesus God.
That energy has a mind.
I think energy is I think energy is very. What's the word? I think it's when we observe energy in our world, everything's in a structured system. It's very dynamic.
Try
and,
this again. Do you think that energy has a mind?
Sure, I could say that.
Oh, what's
Oh,
the
can
evidence
you-
of that?
Yeah, can you demonstrate that one?
What does that even mean? Energy is like a property. It's not a thing.
Well, that's what you.
I
Guys
love it
think.
when things that don't exist have minds. Tell me more
Well,
about this.
So energy doesn't exist.
Energy is not a thing.
It's a property
cool,
of things that do exist.
Cool. So if energy not a thing. When we look at our universe, right, everything's very dynamic and geometric, right? Do you think that's out of causality or a Big Bang or an accident,
Geometric
or do you think
didn't help
that's
anything in that sentence.
so when you observe the stars, DZ, is that your name, DZ? Right. So when you observe the stars in the sky, everything's like a literal. I don't know how to explain it. I always say that the correct term would be a clock. I guess you could say a clock.
The
star is a
stars
clock.
are a clock.
Well, Free, I'll have you know, all of your clocks have been lies put forward by the big clock elite trying to hide the time cube for 96-hour periods in one day.
They only want you to have
Hey,
24
Blitz.
hours, but
So
and you
Jewish
bought it
space
hook, line,
clocks.
and sinker.
Hey, do me a favor. Can you guys respect each other? Hey,
Oh
Blitz,
yeah,
real quick, buddy.
we felt very respected this conversation.
Yeah.
Hey, Blitz, real quick, buddy. Do you think that design demands a designer? Would you agree to that?
No design.
There's no
If
design?
you showed me something that's designed, I would assume it has a designer, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
it
Blitz,
sounds
Blitz,
like
you're
true
a
by
physicist. It's in the
definition.
name.
Yeah.
Blitz, are you not a physicist, right? Do you
I
know
am.
you observe the universe, right? Do you not observe everything rotate around Polaris 15 degrees per hour?
So space does exist?
No.
Polaris is a star, bud.
So wait, okay, does space exist? Where is it?
Yeah, it's in the atmosphere somewhere.
Okay,
Where
but
is
something.
Polaris?
Sorry, the what? The atmosphere?
I mean, that's what you guys call it, sure. Hey, Blitz.
Yeah, so
Blitz, I don't-
no,
Is
it's
it-
not true that everything
it's not-
rotates around Polaris.
I'm not gonna get deep.
That's false.
The Atmos plane, obviously.
This guy got fucking globed.
So
And it
go
needs
the
to be a
southern
globe.
hemisphere.
Because
Go to
the
the
time
sun-
cube.
Yeah, there you go. Go to the southern hemisphere and you won't see anything rotating around Polaris.
Did he run?
I don't know.
Maybe. His phone is currently overheating right now, though, according to Video Ninja. So he's probably just starting to drop connection.
Probably too many high-level ideas for his phone's
All right,
puny
hold
Wi-Fi.
on. I have to set the record
it's
straight
not,
on
that's,
this.
That's not what it is at all. Actually. Hey, Blitz.
Okay,
one second,
never mind.
Blitz. I
I'll
made a
bring it up
claim. I
later.
said that the universe is a dynamic. Blitz, I made a claim. Hold on, let me finish. My claim is the universe is a dynamic system that it's quite literally geometrically designed. Now, for you to pretend that 15 degrees per hour around Polaris is an accident that evolved through a state of change through your Big Bang, that's on you, Blitz. That's not an accident, Blitz.
Yeah, it is.
Well,
also,
but not
You think-
everything goes
is that
around
what you think,
Polaris at
Blitz?
15
Oh, I
degrees
don't
per
know.
hour.
Big Bang
On the
happened,
first
everything
point.
is precise.
The second point is that like we can
Yeah,
account
and
for
name
all
me-
of this via naturalistic means,
name
so
me
there's
one
no
thing.
need
Name me
to
one thing,
assume
Blitz.
it's designed. Sorry, one thing that doesn't go around Polaris? The
Blitz, so
Southern Cross. Sigma Octantis.
all right, one more time.
yeah, laugh nervously again. It'll help your
Time.
argument.
Once the distance from the observer increases, whatever your target is, whatever.
Oh, he has a
One
delay.
more time. No
He has a
disrespect,
delay. That's
DZ,
what's
bro,
happening.
but you're not good at this. I don't have.
Free, can you refresh or something? Because I think that something
a
happened
delay?
and you have a delay.
Yeah,
We'll
you might
bring
want
up
to turn your
again, but-
camera off. It might help.
Okay.
Yeah, you have a delay.
What about now?
We'll see.
We'll see.
Okay.
Okay, so what were you saying?
I was trying to tell you that when we observe the sky, it's a very dynamic system. But and if you deny that, then you're also refuting a lot of other physicists.
Hold on, I agree. I agree that the sky is dynamic. I agree.
Yeah, that wasn't
But
the
and you-
initial claim.
But the original question was, does energy have a mind? Correct.
Well, yeah, that
Yes,
was
that
like
was a-
20
that
minutes
was a
ago, and then
question.
you like pivoted
Yeah.
like crazy. Yeah, that was the
It's
original
not about
question.
pivoting.
Yeah.
No, Ian.
Yeah, you did. We asked you what's
Not
the
about-
evidence energy
not
has a
about-
mind, and then you derailed to some like gibberish about like space
Hey,
not
Ian.
existing. So let's get
Ian,
back
can
to
I
the
ask you a quick
initial
question?
point. What is the evidence that energy has a mind? What's that evidence?
That was the evidence. The fact that we live in a dynamic system that's very geometrically account with each other. Like for example, the specific
what does
amount
that
of
have to do with
oxygen to
anything?
carbon.
How
Well,
does
let's
that
look
get
at
us to energy having a mind?
Let's look at the ratio of the gases in the atmosphere, right? If we had too much oxygen, we would be a ball of fire. If we
What
had,
is-
too
what
much-
does this have to
Pivoting
do with
to
energy
the
having a mind?
fine-tuning argument.
guys, I don't know why. Dude, why is
The fine tuning argument is funny because flat earthers can't even use it, right? Like it doesn't
You
work
said-
for flat earthers because they have to rely on because the fine tuning argument relies on like gravity existing.
It doesn't exist. That's the entire point. Blitz. You be thinking you're everything came from
Fine-tuning
a
defeated.
causality.
Gravity's fake.
Blitz, if
Go
you
ahead.
want, we can get into a physics debate, bro. But I'm not really here for that. I'm just trying to do more of a
Look, if you
intellectual
want to come
argument
onto my
for
live at some point and just get like pounded against a railroad for 30 minutes, we can do that. But that's probably not the place. This is probably not the place or the time.
You mute people. I've seen your lives, Blitz. I'm not here for that.
I mean, I could mute you here too.
Yeah, like
that's
we
my
have
fact.
mute powers everywhere we go.
If you think Blitz mutes people, you should see Justin. Holy shit.
Yeah, Justin will just mute people just because he doesn't like the sound of their voice.
Well, do you hear my argument though? My argument is, hey man, I'm this guy.
Right. So what's premise one?
System. Cool. The premise
Can
one.
you give me premise one?
Yeah, sure. Premise one is that I would say we observe everything in dynamic structure. Okay. Now, premise two. Therefore, that dynamic structure, is I would say is I would argue it has definitely the necessity of a designer because it's designed very
Sounds like
well.
the conclusion.
And what's
Yeah.
the conclusion?
And the conclusion is that dynamic structure is designed very well and necessitates.
That was your last
necessitates-
premise.
No, it necessitates the need of what you guys would call God.
Okay, so premise one,
yeah.
Premise one, we observe everything in dynamic structure. Agree. I grant that. Do you guys grant that?
Sounds good. Yeah, if you'll grant that, I'm willing to. Yeah.
Yeah, so,
Although-
so premise two. Oh, go ahead.
The word structure doesn't. I don't know what that does for. I think that's just smuggling in concepts.
This is a nothing statement, right?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't really do much. Premise two, that dynamic structure has definite necessity of a designer because it's designed. I don't grant that. Y'all grant
Okay.
that?
No, that is in fact the conclusion that's trying to be
Indeed.
established.
So why should we believe that the dynamic structure requires a designer?
Yeah, sure. When we observe entropy, which is what I was referencing earlier, is a chaotic state of energy. That chaotic state of energy, which you guys referenced from is.
Sorry, it would help if you give the argument for premise two again in premise conclusion form. So you want to give us premise 2.1?
Yeah, I don't need to appeal to your weird fucking.
It would just help. It would just help to
Yeah, I don't need
clarify
to
what you're
appeal,
actually
though.
saying.
Yeah, I don't
So one more
give
time,
a fuck
Blitz,
about
one more
your
time.
silly logic, Dr. Blitz. Your
Oh.
valid inference rules. No one cares.
Hey, Ian, do me a quick favor, Ian. What's the derivative of 8?
0.
Nope. Yeah, you don't know math, so relax, Ian. That's third grade math for you, bud. So, Blitz, what I was saying is this, Blitz.
To
you
be
gotta
clear,
humble yourself,
first
Ian.
of all, yes, the derivative of the constant function is 0. Second, nobody
So-
learns derivatives
no,
in
it's
third
not. So-
grade.
so Blitz, do me a
Third,
favor,
do you
Blitz.
want if you want to get into a math
Blitz.
competition, we
Hey,
can
Blitz.
do that if you want.
Blitz, if you want to prove gravity, we can also do that, Blitz.
Do you want to
Blitz?
free? Do you want to do you want to define what the Levi-Civita connection is for me?
Yeah, I don't need.
Do you want to tell me how to
Blitz,
compute the torsion of of an affine connection?
so does
Because
that
we
prove
can do this all
gravity?
day.
So does that prove gravity, Blitz?
We're doing a math competition right now,
Oh,
free.
okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. You can't prove gravity, Blitz.
What do you think to be clear,
So-
what do you think the derivative of 8 is?
So
Yeah,
Blitz, do me a
the
quick
derivative
favor.
of 8 is clearly 0.
So Blitz, do me a quick favor, Blitz. Can you?
I wouldn't
please
want to
give
answer
me-
that one either.
Hey, Blitz, do me a favor, Blitz. Can you please show me how you can disprove God if you don't even know what God is? It's illogical. It's a fallacy. It's fallacious. You guys are just trolling, man. I don't understand how you guys get paid for this. Blitz,
Well,
and then
so-
Ian's laughing like he knows something.
Look, so here's the
It's
point. The
hilarious.
point is that like for most common conceptions of God, the kind of mind that created the universe, we don't believe in that. And we also tend to think that most people who have a conception of God that isn't that is like gibberating, right? Which is what you're doing.
No,
You're saying that
that's-
energy is entropy is God, and that because there's dynamic structure, that means that God is necessary, which is entropy. But
No, that's not what I said at all.
it's gibberish, right?
Blitz, do you think that's what I said? You stop strong.
Well, it
man.
was a summary
That's
of
not
what
I
you said,
at
yeah.
all. I said that the universe is a dynamic structure that's geometrically designed, and therefore it counts for designer. That's what
Yeah,
I
how
said,
do you know
Blitz.
it's designed?
Well, let me tell you one more time, Blitz. That 15 degrees per hour rotation around Polaris that every star does, that's not a freaking accident, Blitz.
Do you think that addresses my question?
Are you that disingenuous? You think it just happened out of cause, out of a big
Do
bang?
you think that
accident?
addresses my question? Do you think a question is an argument?
That wasn't a question.
You literally ended. You
It was a
literally said, "Do
rhetorical
you
question.
think that?"
Blitz, it was a
XYZ?
rhetorical question, Blitz, not literally.
Oh, okay.
but-
So do you have an argument for the idea that
yeah, one more time,
that
Blitz.
our universe is designed? Yeah,
you
please
agree
present
that-
the argument.
Do you agree that entropy is chaotic?
No,
So
it's
you
not
don't
even a
believe that
correct use of
entropy- so you don't,
of words.
So you don't
No.
believe entropy is a chaotic. I would say entropy is a chaotic
Entropy is again a property of a system. It's not a thing that does things.
So
on
you
its
don't
own.
think? So you don't think that you don't think entropy is chaotic? Because if I Google it right
No,
now,
but like that's not. It's not even a sentence that makes sense.
Okay, so
No,
one
We
more time.
describe systems as chaotic. We describe.
Free
dynamic
has a
systems
very
as
loose
chaotic.
relationship with word meanings.
Yeah.
And derivatives.
Yeah. So one more time, Blitz. Did you hear what I was
And the
saying?
shape of the Earth, like.
No one's talking about the shape of the Earth, Blitz.
I know you want to run from that really, really bad.
Blitz, honestly, bro, I saw Nathan cook you when you were trying to prove your globe religion, and it didn't work out in your favor, bud. So if you
Who's
want to
Nathan?
humble
So
yourself,
he's a
right,
flat
Blitz?
earther.
So what I was saying,
be sure.
is this. I mean, I don't think that we're a spinning donut through a cosmological chain of events. No, I don't think it was an accident. No,
A
I think.
spinning donut? I don't think that
Sure.
we're spinning donut either.
Oh, you don't think that? You think water sticks to a ball, Blitz? You have bigger fish to fry, Blitz.
Water does stick to balls
Why?
Yeah.
Because gravity told you.
because I
we
can
can-
put
we can see
water
it
on a
happen
ball
with,
and
like,
watch it stick.
Hey, do me
Yeah.
a favor.
Have you never
pretty easy
seen
to
you ever seen surface tension of water?
Yeah, that's surface tension, not gravity. But
Just take a
bullshit
tennis
with
ball
that.
and dunk it in
Your
water.
claim was that it doesn't stick. It does stick.
Hey, Blitz, do me a
It
favor
literally
without-
does.
Bro's never
stick.
seen balls before.
Hey, Blitz, do me a favor without actually helping them. Hey, DZ, real quick, buddy. Destruction Zone. That's your name, yeah?
Almost. You were close.
Reading is hard.
But I know words are hard.
Deconstruction. Your name's Deconstruction Zone, yeah?
hmm
Yeah, do me a quick favor, buddy. What's little g in gravity?
I have no idea. The physicist
Okay.
is in the upper left hand
Is it,
corner.
is
So
it
do me a
9.8
favor.
meters? Is it just 9.8 meters per second squared?
No, that's acceleration rate, Ian. So that's my
That's
point.
what the
You
little
guys-
g is. No,
you
that
guys
is
are try-
what the
you
little
guys-
g is. Yeah.
You guys are
Oh,
trying to-
wait, so
you
we
guys
just got it
are-
right? Oh, cool, yeah.
No,
Mhm.
guys, one more time. You guys are trying to defend things you don't know. That's my entire point. Not trying to start.
Free-
Wait,
What are-
wait. So
what are
sorry.
your
Wait. What
credentials?
is? Wait. Let's get the answer. What is little g?
So I need to appeal to my credentials. Is that what
Well,
you're
no, I'm trying to figure out how
I
you
wanna
learned
know, I
about
wanna know
physics.
what is little g? What is it? What's the right answer? If that was the wrong answer, what's the right answer?
Well, you don't know what gravity is. That's the entire
It
point.
sounds like you don't know what it is.
Hey, Ian, do you know what big G is?
Do you? Wait, sorry. I'm not gonna let you pivot away from that. You said I gave the wrong answer. What's the right answer?
Well, little g would be the gravitational acceleration.
Yeah, which is what?
I mean, you said it right, but you didn't say what it was. You just said
Little g
So I
is
did
the
get the
local
right answer.
acceleration, 9.81
Hey, Ian.
meters per second
Hey,
squared.
Ian, that's
Okay.
not. That's true. That's the.
So
math
okay, so we
for-
did get
that's
it
not the
right.
actual
Okay,
definition,
cool.
though.
Yeah.
Hey, Ian. Hey,
This
I've
Ian,
guy's
never seen
embarrassing
someone
himself.
more confidently wrong about
Hey,
literally
Ian.
everything.
Hey, one second. Oh, you guys know what that is, right? What's big G, guys?
6.67 times 10 to the minus 11
Yeah,
Newton,
you-
meter,
yeah,
or
they
Newton
didn't-
meters
they
squared
didn't-
per second or per
They
kilogram
didn't know
squared.
that though, Blitz. They didn't know that. That's my entire point.
Why?
would
Why
you
do I
expect
need to
them
know that?
Random constants.
Because you're trying to defend gravity religion and you don't know what you're talking about, deconstruction zone.
Why do I need to know that? I'm not the physicist here.
So you're defending something that you don't know when you're validating it to reference to prove you live in a ball?
No,
You
I
are
know
just a
we
ball.
I know we live on a ball because I
You
literally
use
watched
surface
satellites get
tension.
launched into orbit. I program
launched into
software that
orbit?
uses satellites that go into orbit. The mathematics behind satellites and global positioning, that stuff only works if the globe Earth is real.
Deconstruction, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. What's capital?
I
about
do.
deconstruction? What's
I'm an
capital
electrical, so I'm an
Yeah, what's
electrical
capital
engineer, and I
Cool.
program software. I program machines for a living. And guess
That
what?
has nothing
Global
to do with gravity,
long range
buddy.
global positioning does not work on a flat Earth.
Yeah, I don't think you know what you're talking about, buddy. I think you're regurgitating.
Yeah, I do.
Free, can you tell me what Gibbs free energy is?
Yeah, I can, but can you ask your friend to answer my question?
Fuck no, he can't. Of
Are you
course he
going to
can't.
explain
Hey, Ian, can
why?
you answer the question?
Are you going to explain why all the long range global
course you
positioning
can.
satellites only work when you're using a globe Earth mathematics?
Hey, deconstruction, just to let you know when you do gravity.
Yeah, he's not
So
gonna answer
you're
any
not,
questions.
you're not going to
Yeah.
answer any
I'm gonna-
questions.
I'm going to answer right now.
He's
buddy.
flipped into question non-answering mode. He's
Wait, wait,
terrified.
Can you guys stop blazing each other for 5 seconds? Hey,
No.
Deconstruction zone.
No, this is a glazing.
Free, if you're not
Pardon
going to answer a single question, there's no reason for us to answer your questions.
I
Yeah.
already did. I was answering and you interrupted me, buddy.
Wait,
Right,
free.
ask me-
Free. I have a question for you. 13 squared. What's 13 squared?
Dump truck? That's
Ian,
what I
1
heard.
second, bud. Deconstruction zone. One more time.
13 squared, bud. What's 13 squared?
Buddy. So when you look at the orbital mechanics, of
He
gravity,
has no fucking idea.
he's totally
I
lost.
I do know.
He
what
has
it
no
is.
idea where he's at.
Deconstruction. You were referencing orbital mechanics. Yeah?
I'm still waiting for you to answer my question. Why is it
I'm
that
asking
when
right
we
now.
have to write software for global positioning, it doesn't work if you use flat plane math?
That's totally redundant because they actually assume the Earth's flat when they do that. You know that, right?
No,
bud?
we'll try this again. When
Hey,
when we write
Blitz, do
software
they
for
assume
long
Earth's
range
flat?
global positioning, why do we
That's
have
fine.
to use mathematics that
That's
accounts
fine.
for a globe Earth?
You don't know what you're talking about. They actually don't. Hey, Blitz, do they not presume
Nuh-uh.
Earth's flat?
Have you considered nuh-uh?
This guy's a rhetorical titan. I've never considered no before.
I literally could show you my applied mathematics, my applied trigonometry book from school for
You know
global
trigonometry.
positioning
The
satellites.
construction, you know
That gives you the formula for trilateralization on a globe Earth,
There's probably
which is
a
the
book
same
right
thing we
behind
use
it
in the
on trig.
software.
Deconstruction. I mean, I'm not even gonna get into the. I doubt you know math, but.
Free, can you tell me what the tangent of pi over 4 is?
We can't hear you, man.
Can you tell me what the tangent of pi over 4 is?
Yeah, I'll answer any questions you have, Blitz. You just gotta. have
Sure,
your
what is
friend
it?
answer my question.
Yeah, what is the tangent of pi over 4?
Have your friend deconstruction answer my question, because I'm not about to.
What
get
is the
her-
tangent of pi over 4, please?
Oh, okay. Well, I guess you're gonna get the same answer that I got then, Blitz.
This guy's trying to give the wrong kind of tangent. Let's go.
Good one.
You know,
Swish.
I don't know why he's trying to dunk on me by asking me physics questions as if I'm the
Because
physicist.
you're the one to reference satellites deconstruction zone going over your ball. That was you. You're the one to reference satellites, right?
So I'll answer your question about satellites when you answer my question. How come the software for satellites require the Earth to be globular?
I already told you it doesn't.
Well, you'd be wrong then.
No, I don't. Actually, you can even look
Yeah,
up at NASA. They assume the Earth's
you'd
flat and
be
stationary,
completely wrong.
Hey, Blitz, does NASA assume the Earth's flat, stationary, and non-rotating with
Nope.
a stationary atmosphere, Blitz?
Nope.
All right, cool. So if I show you 4 citations on that, what are you gonna say, bud?
No, I actually know the paper you're referring
cool.
to, and
Hey-
it doesn't.
Yeah,
It
I know
doesn't
it's
say
true.
the thing that you want it to say.
Oh, really? It doesn't. So they don't assume a flat plane over stationary.
No, they
non-rotating-
don't. So that paper
really?
is not describing the shape of the Earth or how global satellite positioning
I said they
works.
assume
What
it.
it's
Assume
doing,
deconstruction.
what it's
Yeah,
doing is talking about how to find positioning in a short range. In a short
Short
range,
range.
a very small
An
amount of
aircraft as
range.
well.
What are
You
you
don't
talking about? It was
need
for a
to.
missile.
In a
It was
very
for
short
aircraft.
range, you don't need to account for your position as long as your
Really?
position is not precise.
It was an
Hey,
aircraft model, by the
hey,
way. And there's a more
no,
recent
Yeah.
one which does account for the curvature of the Earth.
Wait, Blitz,
Yeah,
So-
that's
hold
also
on.
from
Hold
like
on.
1970. It's also
Yeah,
true
it's
that
from
the map
1985.
the map that your GPS unit used, the map that Google Maps and Apple uses, all of those maps are spheres. All of them.
That's incorrect, bud.
That's 100% correct. You can download the
incorrect.
model yourself.
Yeah,
It's
so one more
free
time.
on the internet. You can download your own GPS map model,
I
and it's
wasn't
a
referencing
globe.
airplane. I wasn't referencing the airplane. Why don't you're referencing the rigid aircraft. I wasn't referencing that, buddy. I was referencing the hypersonic missiles. They're going over long distance that debunk.
NASA doesn't
historical-
design hypersonic missiles.
One more time, Blitz. Are you serious? Want me to show you the article, Blitz?
NASA does
Sure.
not design
NASA's not the DoD.
hypersonic missiles.
So one more time, you got F-22s, F-16s, and all their missiles are engineered for a stationary flat atmosphere and plane.
I'm sorry, is that NASA engineering F-16s?
F-16s and F-22s.
Is
their
that
missiles
NASA
are
engineering F-16s?
Blitz, how do I share
This
my
guy
camera?
isn't real.
No, stop
This
laughing,
is
bud.
like, it's like obviously some defense contractor. Like that's who manufactures all of these things.
Like Lockheed Martin, Boeing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Blitz, one more time, buddy. Hey, how can I share my screen instead of having you guys giggle? It's kind of
You can just share a link in the chat.
Yeah.
I can share a link in the messages. Right on.
Mhm. Anyway, you didn't actually address Justin's question, which is why the GPS satellites, the math that goes into the GPS satellites, assumes
It's
the Earth is
not for a
globular.
globe.
I
It
think
is.
the
It's
the
not for a
answer to
globe.
the question was nuh-uh. I think that
Yeah.
was what he was doing.
The answer to the question was, but didn't you know that NASA said flat once?
Yeah. Do you know what NASA is? What's the language? Do you know what NASA means in Hebrew?
Oh shit! Cooked.
Yeah, I wasn't referencing Hebrew.
Yeah, we were making fun of you.
Yeah.
We're making a
Yeah,
joke
that-
about people that use your talking points.
Hey
At
Blitz,
your
you know
expense.
what? Hey Blitz, you know what I can see, bro? How about we do this? How about we compare my science that I can actually go through the scientific method and just actually explain, observe, and actually replicate versus
We
your
could,
science, pseudoscience
we
that
could,
you
but
can
why
actually
don't we do that
replicate.
on my live stream when
Yeah, let's do
when I
that on
talk
your
about
live
flat
stream.
Earth? We
How
can do
many
that.
times
We
have
can
I
do that
invited?
later.
Hey Blitz,
It's
how
not
many
really the
times
topic
have I
here.
invited? How many times have I invited you to my live and you just ghosted, bud?
I don't even know who you are.
Really?
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 Free, I don't know if you know
So-
this, but when
so
you
when
message
I
people who have
DM you and tell you
400,000
keep going.
followers, they don't see your message.
467,000 followers,
Because
by the way.
there's
Well,
1,000 other
you-
people that messaged him before you in literally one day. So messaging a guy on TikTok with over 400,000 followers is the dumbest thing you could do if you want to get a hold of him.
Hey, well, that's kind of ironic because you actually responded to me 3 times, Blitz. But
Yeah,
for
what's your
checking in.
TikTok
So-
username? By the way, for what it's worth, I actually do
Sure.
respond to DMs as long as they're not like, as long as they don't send me like a book.
Yeah, he does. That's correct. You
But
said
yeah,
you were
what's your
busy.
username on
You said
TikTok?
I don't
you
even
gotta
look at
schedule
mine.
it.
Me neither. You know,
what's your username
too
on
much
TikTok?
Christian love in my DMs.
I know, I get a lot of that too. I delete those. But yeah, just join my Flat Earth Life. I'll do it like next week.
Every time I do that, Blitz, you only debate 2 people. Then you say you gotta go.
Blitz is scared. He's running.
It's not about him running. It's about your time. Is obviously you don't have much free time. So
I'm live for 3 hours, 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Well, 3
Yeah.
days a week. So join and
Hey,
tell me
hold
your
on,
TikTok username and I'll bring you up first.
Hey, YouTube
Sure.
mods. YouTube mods. We got a Nazi in the chat. YouTube mods. We got a Nazi in the chat. Hold on.
Oh no.
We
Yeah, so what's your
Yeah.
what's your TikTok username? I'll bring you up
Yeah.
first next time I do a Flat Earth Live.
sure, it's a free_SVG.
Okay.
I totally forgot the number on top of my head, but
It's fine. It's fine. As long
Yeah,
as you
it's
have free
okay.
in the name, I'll remember it and I'll bring you
Yeah.
up. But it's not really on
Sure.
topic for the
But
debate
the
today.
topic was
I'm
about
willing to
original
grant
claims.
that. Seems like you've forgotten a lot of numbers.
Numbers.
Yeah.
Ian, no disrespect, bro, but I don't think you're not even qualified. But
I
got a
literally have
degree in math.
degree. Yeah.
you have a degree in
Free-
math, Ian.
Yeah.
Free, what do you do for a
Really?
living?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What's your degree in math, Ian?
It's a math degree, an applied
Oh,
math degree. That's
So
the
you-
degree. It's a math degree.
So you have a math degree. What's
You
it
look at
called?
the
I'm pretty
degree,
sure
it
it's
says
called even-
mathematics.
So your degree is just called mathematics.
It's
Well, it says
applied
applied math,
mathematics
yeah.
with a
applied
specialization in computational science.
Yeah, cool. Well, maybe you can join that live too, then, Ian, so you can learn something, man.
Okay.
Yeah, so cool. So
Yeah.
my original claim was that
So,
energy obviously
Free-
has some form of design
Free, what do you
line,
do?
but-
Free, I have a easy
I don't need to
question that
appeal- I
doesn't
need to appeal-
require any dodging. I'm just really curious to know what you're doing with your intellectual prowess. What do you do for a living?
I'm actually right now trying to write a paper to reconstruct the universe.
No, I mean, what do you do for a job?
Gravity.
What do you do for a job?
I mean, I don't need to appeal my job. I do HVAC. I don't need to appeal credentials or anything
Ju-
like weird like that.
Oh,
I'm,
have
I'm
we
just
talked before?
curious.
You said what, Blitz?
Have we talked before, Free? Because I
Yes.
feel like I've talked to a Flat Earther
Yeah,
who's an
I've
HVAC
talked-
guy.
Yeah, obviously we talked once or twice before. Yeah, sure. Not about flat
Okay.
Earth though. It was referencing to metaphysics.
Oh,
You
that
should get a
probably
job
didn't
in
go well for a
physics.
Flat Earther.
And revolutionize the whole field.
I study physics, and it's kind of hard to revolutionize when it's a bunch of weird phonies on there, and it's ridiculous, man. But
I mean,
It's
with-
hard to revolutionize when everybody else is wrong and I'm the only right one.
no, it's hard to
Everybody
revolutionize.
it's like every Christian we've ever talked to is the only Christian that knows the theology correctly. You're the only one that knows physics.
Hey, Blitz, Blitz, right now, if I were to go versus me versus you to actually replicate and give an explanation for gravity, buddy, who do you think is gonna win?
I would win 365 days out of the year
Yeah, really? Yeah.
because
One more
I
time.
can
Did you hear
do
what I said?
statistical analysis. Yeah.
Hey, Blitz. Last time I checked, you didn't understand what the 3 fucking contentious parts of a scientific experiment were. Do you remember that part? Nathan had to
Three
teach you that.
contentious parts of a scientific experiment.
The
Are you
3
talking about the
constituents.
scientific method?
The constituents.
There
parts.
are no 3 constituents of a scientific
really? So there's
experiment.
not
That's
3
not a
constituent
well-defined thing.
Hey, Blitz,
No.
why are you lying to everybody, man? Hey,
Blitz, you
what's-
clearly didn't attend this guy's
I
science
didn't
classroom in
You're
sixth
right, you're right,
grade.
I didn't.
Hey,
I
Blitz.
didn't. I didn't.
Free,
attend
when are
a
you going to
science
start selling
class.
seminars? Free, sell a physics seminar and teach everyone.
I was being genuine. I'm running a paper to show the inverse relationship, how gravity.
What
is
journal are you going to
comparatively
submit it to?
Yeah, what journal?
What journal?
Which journal are you going to
submit it
submit?
No idea.
to? May I recommend Physics Review D?
I have a better question. Can you
Maybe, I don't
name?
know.
Would you mind naming a single scientific journal?
You said what?
Can you give me the name
I
of a
don't know.
single
I don't-
scientific journal? Just one.
You mean like a company that like gives you like
Just the name of a scientific journal. Just name any scientific journal.
yeah, I don't know what that means.
Where do you think papers go?
Sure, you can get
They get
the,
posted
got
on
papers
Twitter,
on my
Dr.
desk.
Blitz.
I mean, if you're referencing peer review, man, then I mean that's
Twitter
that's,
peer
I'm talking about
reviewed it.
scientific papers.
Is that what you're referencing? Peer review?
I'm talking about where do you think scientific papers get published?
I'm not. I'm no idea. I'm fresh to this.
I grant that.
You should
That's fine.
probably like get some background in this before you try to revolutionize it. You'll have a hard time.
No, I'm trying to learn math to back it up before I do any of that other appeal to
Okay.
credential bullshit. I don't need appeal to credentials, Blitz. But,
So wait a minute. Actually, this is a good segue. What's the tangent of pi over 4?
I'm not sure, Blitz.
That's basic trig. You learned it in what, 8th grade now?
8th grade, really?
Isn't that I feel like that one turns out to be like a nice even one that doesn't have like square roots and shit.
Mm-hmm. It does.
It's either 0, 1 or like a half?
Ian, you're disappointing me. It's 1.
Well, the
Okay,
mathematician doesn't know that. That's weird. 8th grade math.
Yeah.
Blitz just
Yeah,
said
we
that's
don't really
ironic.
do 8th grade math, trig doesn't come up much. At least
Yeah,
not in the classes that I took.
Yep, your classes don't cover 8th grade math. So Blitz, all I was
My
saying is
8th grade covered
back
8th
to the
grade math, and then I
yeah,
didn't need it for the further classes.
Yeah, your Blitz just made you look silly, Ian. But Blitz, all I'm saying is this: so the
I
design
did,
of
I'm
the
sorry,
universe,
Ian.
No,
the
it's
main
okay.
design of the creator. I don't
Sorry,
understand how you
one
can
more
debunk that, Blitz. So one more time, I said that God, you can't defute his energy.
You don't have a god.
It
We've
demands a
already
design-
covered this.
We've already
you
established
hear what
that
I-
your God is a property of physical systems.
What's wrong with that?
It's not a thing that exists on its own.
Well, it has a mind, obviously, has a creator.
Oh, no, that's something that you haven't proven.
Yeah, prove it.
Well, I mean, I did.
still
you
waiting
just
for
don't
that.
Like it, Blitz. You didn't like
You
it. I said
literally
the
did not.
design of the universe demands a necessity of a creator.
Yeah, prove that it's designed.
Sure, yeah. Can life come from non-life, Ian?
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah, can you show me the
Wait, sorry.
scientific method?
Wait, do you think by what definition would energy be alive?
One more time, Ian. Can you give me the definition of?
Sorry, one more time. By what definition of life would energy be alive?
I said life.
Yeah, so you're saying that life comes from energy, but what's the definition of life that would include energy?
Sure, anything going through the process of change of homeostasis or mitosis.
Does energy go through
Homeostasis.
mitosis?
What the
So it sounds like you think life comes from non-life.
No, one more time, Ian. I said you can't differentiate life from non-life. Can you, Ian? Are you gonna pull up abiogenesis?
Wait, so and to be clear, you're saying that like we specifically can't, or that nobody can?
I'm saying that your science has this redundant rule about abiogenesis, where animate evolves from inanimate objects, which you can't actually go through the scientific
But
method.
I
You have
want to
appeal
know,
these theoretical science
what do
laws.
you think life would be such that it includes energy? Because your definition doesn't include energy. Energy doesn't undergo mitosis.
Energy doesn't go through a change of events.
It doesn't undergo mitosis. It doesn't replicate
Chemistry
itself.
undergoes
Well,
change
energy-
of
Yeah,
events.
Well, energy
mitosis
transfers, it changes.
is cell division, isn't it?
Wait, am I
Yeah.
wrong? Does energy not change?
Is is a
That's
rock
biology.
is a rock alive?
No, a rock's not alive.
Does a rock have energy?
I'm sure it did.
This is an easy
Does
one.
does a rock experience mitosis?
Fucking tragedy. Oh no. If
no,
energy
it
is
doesn't.
alive, that means rocks are alive.
Oh, that's not what I said. I said God is energy, and
Yep.
stop trying to straw man me, bro.
Yeah.
Then I
Do
said
rocks have energy?
abiogenesis- Obviously, yeah.
So, and God is alive. Right?
God is alive, or God is alive. God is energy. Rocks
Well,
have
that's
energy.
That's my entire thing, though. Then we're not
Therefore, God
Rocks
is
are
rocks,
God.
and rocks are alive.
Yeah,
I'm
rocks
saying-
are
Yeah.
alive. You think rocks are alive?
W
saying
rock.
I mean, I think rocks have energy, sure. Now,
Hmm?
does that energy give you the supplemental consciousness? No, it doesn't. It's not analogous. No.
Are
Did
they
you say
alive?
Is- is
supplemental
energy- sure.
consciousness?
He did.
Yeah, it doesn't have supplemental consciousness, does
I
it?
think you could use a consciousness supplement, to be perfectly honest with you.
I mean, you guys can giggle all you want, man, but at the end of the day, you guys can't show.
No,
or
it was just a
demonstrate-
sick burn. That's all.
Hey Blitz, real quick, Blitz. I'm gonna name you 3 questions, Blitz. If you can do one of them, I'm gonna drop your pen. All right, Blitz. Can you show anybody right now or demonstrate a gravitational orbital mechanics without appealing to YouTube or NASA? B, can you represent water sticking to a ball without appealing or NASA or using a thing and questioning as reference to prove your point? Or C, Blitz, can you actually prove that space is real without a congenital barrier, or in other words, container for gas pressure? Can you do either one of those?
Well, either is typically used to refer to 2 things, and you listed
Can you
3
do
things.
any of them, Blitz?
But yeah, I could just go get like a tennis ball and dunk it in water, and there'd be water sticking to it.
Yeah, that's not proving gravity, Blitz. That's proving surface
That wasn't
tension.
what you said. You said, "Can you demonstrate water sticking to a ball?"
Free, you're confused
Can
about your
you?
own question.
Wait a minute. Wait.
Yeah, I can just go get a ball and dunk it in water, and water will
Yeah.
be sticking to it. Yeah.
Yeah. So hey, Blitz, if we do that and then you wait a couple of hours, is the water still going to be in the ball?
It depends on how humid it is.
Yeah, it evaporates. You know, evaporation
So
is a
wait a
thing,
minute.
right?
Is the water gonna fall off the ball, Blitz?
No,
No.
Really? So if you dunk a
Really.
fucking tennis ball in water, it's not gonna fall off the tennis ball.
well, some of it will, but the
So
whole
some of
thing
it's
will
gonna
remain
fall
wet.
off.
Yeah, you
Some of
said
it, yeah.
any water sticking to a ball. This would be demonstrating some water sticking to a ball.
Yeah.
So wait a minute. So one more time, Blitz. Do we live on a tennis ball?
No, we live on a globe.
Okay, cool.
Which is like a
that's
tennis
not
ball in that they're both
that's not
spherical.
analogous, is it?
No, they're very
Hey-
analogous,
Hey,
actually.
Blitz.
They're
Blitz,
actually like exactly analogous. They're both
Blitz, you're
spherical.
representing surface tension, right? That's not analogous. To what we
Yes,
observe.
I'm representing a
just-
force causing water to stick to a ball.
Yeah,
which
well,
is
is
the
that-
same thing that's causing water to stick to the earth. A force.
Really? So surface
Yep.
tension is this what's keeping the ocean on the ground?
Nope, I said a force is doing it.
What's the force?
Gravity, of course.
Cool. Represent the force that you're trying to prove for the fourth fucking time, Blitz.
That wasn't what
Not
you
surface
asked.
tension.
Dr.
That
Blitz,
wasn't
you
what
need
you
to
asked.
recreate gravity.
You didn't ask for that. You asked
Blitz, one
for
more time.
showing that you can have water sticking to a ball, which I gave you an example of how you can easily do this. Now, if you
With the
want
thing that
evidence
you're
that
trying to
gravity is
prove,
real,
Blitz, with the
if you
thing you're
want
trying to prove.
evidence that gravity is real, that's a separate conversation. We have plenty of evidence of that too. But look, I mean, like, you're probably just going to be like, well, I didn't read the paper, but it's fake. So we probably won't
Hey,
get
Blitz,
very far.
one more time, Blitz. Anything that
To
you
be clear,
believe-
I already answered one
If
of your three
gravity
questions,
is
which is what
real,
you asked me to do.
If gravity is real, show me
Mhm.
you using the thing that you're claiming is what's keeping our water on our globe.
So, do you
Demonstrate
understand
that,
what
Blitz.
gravity is supposed to be? Because if you understood that, you would understand that gravity requires a lot of mass in order to produce substantial forces.
Blitz,
Now,
you don't even know
it's
what
hard to
gravity is,
acquire. You don't. Sure, I do. It's
No, you
really hard
don't.
to get like a few trillion kilograms in a laboratory. So we use
Oh
other
my
forces.
Hey, Blitz. I mean, I'm glad Blitz on TikTok knows what gravity is and debates people for TikTok. But every other
I do know what
physicist who has
gravity is, yeah.
any intellectual integrity can attest that they don't even know what the fuck it is.
If
Neil
if
deGrasse-
gas
Well,
pressure
I-
is real, then why doesn't it fucking explode me?
Hey, allegedly, can I ask you a quick question? Are
Why am I not exploding right now
Hey,
if gas pressure is real?
alright, so-
Why isn't that happening?
Hey, Ian, are you a science?
I already asked you a question. Why am I not blowing up right now from gas pressure?
Because you're contained, Ian.
Because I'm contained in gas pressure. Why it should be crushing me right now. Why isn't it?
Because you're scientifically literate. That's why. It's
Because I'm sorry, do you think that's an answer to the question?
Yeah,
I'm
so
just
one
trying to
more
get the
time. Hey,
explanation.
Ian.
Why am I
Hey,
not
Ian.
getting crushed alive by all this
Ian,
gas pressure?
are you a
I'm
science
surrounded by
denier?
gas. Why is it not crushing me?
Hey, Ian, are you a science denier?
Sorry, do you think that this is an answer to my question? I'm going to take
Yeah.
that as dodge number 1. Let's
Ian,
get
are
try
you a
number
science
2.
denier?
Why, if gas pressure exists, why am I not getting crushed by it?
Because the PSI isn't enough to crush a human.
Oh,
being.
yeah, and the gravity isn't enough to make the water stick to the tennis ball.
So you can't prove gravity making water stick to a ball. Thanks for playing, Ian. So do me a
No,
quick
yeah, if you
favor,
got
are
a
science
big enough
denier?
ball, you could.
Yeah, Ian, are you a science denier?
Nope.
Can you attest that gas particles move in random motion?
Say it again.
Can you attest and agree that gas particles move in random motion?
What do you mean by random?
They move. There's no bias. They move up and as equally as they go down. Can you attest to that? Yes or no?
Do you mean like a quantum sense?
Sure.
I think
doesn't
that
know
things
what
have
that
like
means.
upspin and downspin.
No, he's
but
talking. He's asking. Does gas feel the force of gravity? Is what he's asking.
does it feel the force of gravity? Well, gravity is an extremely weak force. I don't know if you knew that.
So to answer my question, do gas particles move in random motion, Ian?
Do they move in? I do probably not.
The answer is yes, Ian. They move randomly.
No, I
I'm
hold
sorry, can
to
you prove that for me?
necessitarianism.
Yeah, sure. I can give you kinetic theory, gas particles, equiportion theorem. The definition.
Sorry,
of gas
which
particles,
theorem? Equiportion theorem? Want to try reading
Yeah.
that word again?
Just
From your
listing
ChatGPT notes.
listing things that you don't know what they are doesn't make you sound smart, guy.
It's the deconstruction. You don't know what they are because you don't fucking.
I
study
agree. I
He
don't know
doesn't-
what
he
any of
doesn't
those
need to.
things
That's
are.
why I'm here.
So
He doesn't
if
need
you
to.
don't know,
I don't know
if you
anything about like Isaiah 43 or whatever.
Hey Blitz, real quick. Do gas particles move in random motion, Blitz?
Depends on the environment. If they're in
Cool.
a if they're in a linear potential well, then no, there will be a bias.
Cool.
And
so is
to
there a
Ian's
bias
point,
and
Ian's point is not whether or not they move. He's challenging your use of the word random.
Yeah, depends how we define that term.
so randomly it means is there a bias direction? For
Oh
the
my
gas
God,
particles?
guys, free. Can you name a natural science?
You said what in actual science?
A natural science.
Like what? Like as natural science? Like to study a study of natural science?
And no, like give me an example of a natural science.
A natural science example? I don't know what the hell that even means.
Oh my God.
Would you say that plantology is a natural science?
Oh my god! So I did debate this guy, dude.
He's the plantology dude.
It's a plantology guy.
Hey, because one more time, hey, just so you know, Blitz, it used to get called, back then. It was called plantology, Blitz. You know that, right?
It's
Now
been a
called-
minute.
You said you studied plantology in high school.
That's an actual thing, Blitz. Botany and
No,
plantology.
it's not.
Botany is a
Blitz.
thing. Plantology
Blitz.
isn't.
Hey, Blitz. Quick question: Are you actually literate?
Yeah, I'm literate.
All right, cool.
I don't know if you are.
Hey, Blitz. What happens when you add ology to the end of a sentence or a word?
It doesn't just invent new words.
Hey, Blitz. If I add the word ology, what is that the root for?
Ology means study of.
Exactly.
Ology means
so
study
if
of.
I say plantology, it's the study of plants, you moron.
No, that doesn't make it a word.
It doesn't make it a word. It's actually a root word, and you can look it up if you want.
I think you should just admit that you didn't know what natural sciences
Botany.
were and you just made it up.
You don't think I know natural science, Blitz?
Clearly you
No,
don't. You literally
guys call
said
it
you don't.
botany.
Like three seconds ago.
And you fought me on this
Botany-
before. You wanted me
Blitz,
to define
botany.
it for you because you
Stop
didn't know what
running.
the word
Stop
was.
running. Blitz, answer the question. Do gas particles move in random motion, Blitz?
I've already
Are you-
answered that. If they're in a linear
Earth,
potential,
do we
yeah.
observe in Earth?
Yeah, if
our
you're in a linear
atmosphere,
potential,
are they
yeah,
random?
which we are. We are in a linear potential.
So
Yeah, we
is
do
it
observe
random?
this.
So it's random.
There's a bias. It's statistical, but there is a bias, yeah.
So there's a bias for gas particles, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So let me ask
This
you a
is
quick question.
observable in a laboratory, by the way.
Sure, I am not discarding. I do agree with you. There is a bias of Earth's electric field. That gives it a bias.
Oh, the Earth's electric field. So, Free, to be clear, this is not a flat Earth debate live. If you want to talk about that, you can join my live later. But
Blitz,
do you
your
want to
friend asked me a
substantiate?
question about gas
Do you want?
pressure. Why aren't we?
Do you want to?
totally
No,
scientifically
because
literate?
he was memeing on you. Do you want to substantiate the claim that the universe is designed without just asking a question? Like, do you actually want to present an argument, or should we just move on to another guest?
One more time, Blitz. The universe is designed very strategically. You don't have too much one gas, right? Or actually,
Wait, what's the argument? What's the argument?
That is designed. That's the
No,
fucking.
that's the
argument, Blitz.
conclusion. What's the argument? How do you
That
get
the
to the
design
conclusion?
demands a designer, Blitz. That's the
No,
argument.
that's the conclusion is that it's designed.
Oh my god!
How do you know
the
it's
argument
designed?
is that it needs a designer. Every design needs a designer.
That's the
Is that literate?
conclusion. Free.
Holy fuck! No,
What's
the
the
conclusion is that
argument
it's designed.
that demonstrates the conclusion?
The argument is that
The
everything-
conclusion is that it has a designer. The argument is that if it's designed, then it has a designer. And the second premise is that it is designed. We're asking for the justification to think that it is designed.
I already told you 10 times, guys. You guys are like walking.
It's designed because it has a design. Ian.
Of course. Oh, and that's why it also has, because it's designed, it has a designer, and it's designed, it has a designer because it's designed. Oh.
Ian, do you genuinely think that you evolved through a big astronomical accident? Is that truly what you believe?
Sorry, do you actually think that you're giving any sort of evidence?
To answer the question, Ian.
Do you think that this is any evidence at all for energy being
Sure,
a designer?
have
Any
it your
energy
way.
having a mind?
Ian,
The
have it
universe
your
being
way.
designed?
Have it your way, Ian. Everything's strategically put in this universe, but in Ian's brain.
Hey, why
it
isn't my
keeps on
power
recording
cable
for
working?
accident. I don't know.
W. All right, listen, Free. This has been an exciting conversation, but we've had you up
Really
now
has
for
been.
like an
It's
hour,
been quite delightful.
and we've got
You guys
quite a
can't
few
even defend
people waiting to get into the guest
Wait,
box,
can
and
you guys
it
defend
sounds like
yourself?
you don't actually have a good argument. We were hoping you'd provide a good argument, and you didn't really bring one. But
So my
we'll
argument
be
was
live
that
again
everything's
next
strategically put in
Sunday.
the sky.
You can come back next Sunday with maybe a more polished
Cool.
argument and try again.
Cool, pure to intellectual aptitude, buddy. Yeah, that sounds.
I missed the plantology guy. I totally didn't realize that was him. But yeah, he's the guy who couldn't come up with an example of a natural science. And then when pressed, he said plantology. And then he said he studied it in high school. And then I Googled it, and there's like one hit for the word plantology on the entire internet.
Plantology is wild.
Well-known science, definitely not called botany.
All right. Let me grab some super chats. We'll get our next guest in here. Pork says Justin equals biblical criticism. Blitz equals science. Ian equals philosophy. Y'all are like a Sunday morning. You're referring to cartoons. Saturday morning cartoon squad for demolishing fairy tales. I like that, Pork. I don't know if we have a name. Like we would need a cool name though. Like The Ninja Turtles already got a cool
the
name.
Unholy Trinity. It's so easy.
The Unholy Trinity is good, but we can stick with that. Adam says the Bible clearly condemns drop shipping for Israelites, but is fine for the stranger.
Wait a minute. Justin, can you pull something up for me really quick on the screen?
Sure. Yeah.
I just sent it in the group chat.
Oh no. Oh no.
No shot.
Plantologist.
I know.
A person who thinks the study of plants is called plantology.
And this is 9 years old. Somebody didn't even put this up because of the conversation I had.
Usage. Ethan is a hella good plantologist. That's fantastic.
Can you imagine Can you imagine a worse panel of people to bring like basic science questions to? Like that's gonna be your big gotcha.
Rough.
Like what's the derivative of 8? You think that's gonna be the one?
I'm always tickled by people who think that if you don't know a single random fact, now you can no longer do science. Waff says energy is just the capacity to do work. What do you feel about that, Blitz?
That's like the classical definition. It's good in almost all scenarios when you're, doing science here on Earth. It does start to become a less useful definition when you're talking about like cosmology, when you're talking about relativity and all of this stuff. But generally, it's a fair definition.
And our friend Aaron, thank you so much for the $10 super chat, friend, who says ignorance plus arrogance is a dangerous concoction. Thank you, brothers, for educating the public. Well, thank you, Aaron, for supporting our work. And I agree, it's not just that he's ignorant, it's also that he's insufferable. But at least it's entertaining.
Really funny, though.
It is funny. And Miko, great to see you, friend. Thank you so much for the $20 super chat. It says, haha, oh, here we go. Just when a janitor like me thinks he's getting a handle on things, Dr. Blitz says energy doesn't exist. Mind blowing already.
Sorry.
Actually, people get really bent out of shape because I've been saying this for a long time because like I had the same questions when I was in school for electrical engineering, and you start learning that like energy isn't like a thing like that it doesn't have like the same ontological properties as things that exist in the real world.
That. No, it's so much worse than that. And this is the thing that throws people off. I mean, like you can say like, yeah, energy is a property. And so like, it's like charge or whatever. And that's fine. You can, maybe you don't think that properties have ontology. Maybe you think they do, whatever. It's so much worse in an expanding universe. There's not even a well-defined notion of energy. It's not even a well-defined number.
Gretchen, thank you for the super chat, says it's because we've all heard you crash on Planet Peterson free multiple times, fool. He was on Peterson's channel too? Oh my goodness.
That checks out.
Yeah, that checks out for sure. Nightman says off to a wild start this morning, but I don't think anything will beat Sergeant Dropshipper. Dropshipper was wild.
That's a great name for him too.
With all due respect to the caller, it's a bit early to be partaking.
Well, that's why he's a plantologist.
Exactly. Yeah.
There's a plant that he studies.
And from Matten says, why do you worship Athena if you like science? Or why don't you worship Athena if you like science? I
don't think Athena's real.
Yeah, we don't believe in Athena.
But she is rad.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
As far as characters go, pretty rad.
Definitely. And Matten says, again, anyone who isn't a polytheist is wrong. Well, listen, you're welcome to come up and convince us. I mean, we don't believe in multiple gods any more than we would believe in one God. Dave says, this is amazing. My 3 favorite YouTubers, Cool Spank Destroy. I'm sorry, Cook. Man, I got to get glasses. Cook Spank Destroy. Love you guys. Well, thank you so much, Dave. I appreciate that. And we're bringing you the best this morning already. And Waku says, best trio on the webs. Hey, I appreciate that. And Aaron, again, coming in with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Aaron. Says, let me read off this Flat Earther website. You know that's what he was doing. And Baum says, this is the holy maybe unholy trio that we need. Keep grilling. Well, thank you, Bob. I really appreciate that. We got 2 more super chats. 666 from our friend Nobody on Fire. Big W says, I think this flat earther is the one that always freaks out in Planet Peterson's videos. Absolute idiot. Actually, I think you're right. I think it's the same guy.
By the way, we need to clip this.
Oh, it's definitely getting
this
clipped.
one has to get clipped.
Yeah. Nightman says, I'm currently studying Metal Gearology, playing Metal Gear Solid 3. Big W. Yeah, maybe you can submit a paper soon. Last one from our good friend Garba Gaming. Thank you for the $10 Canadian. Says, thank you for helping me unlock the time cube, guys. My fifth eye is open in all dimensions.
Of course.
Beautiful. All right.
Big W. Let's get our next guest. Who is it next? Was it Jimmy?
I think it should be Jimmy. Yeah.
Jimmy, okay. Jimmy, welcome in.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Awesome. All right. No, I just wanted to chime in because I noticed that you guys are using the language mind, and I guess I had issue with that because I wouldn't necessarily say God is a mind because that still implies like a finite brain-bound experience that we call mind, something that's anthropomorphized. A better description that I think is consistent with Christian theology would be unbounded consciousness. I think that would be more accurate to say
that's fine.
than mind.
We don't think that exists either.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and the reason I put that because in theology, they recognize it by revelation, and I've spoken to this about to Justin before, but I don't think I've spoken to Ian or Blitz before on this. Is that people often recognize it in what William James called mystical experience, and so I think it's you're sort of wasting your time trying to discern the divine through arguments online. I think
so you don't have an argument for God being real?
Yeah, no, that would be it. That you would want to assess the question with by direct experience, by having a mystical experience for yourself.
Then why isn't he giving us one of those?
Yeah, exactly. If the only way to, presumably God wants a relationship with all of us, if the only way to get this relationship, if the one and only way to believe in God is through a mystical experience, then wouldn't he just give everyone a mystical experience?
Well, I believe we all have the potential for one. In psychology, they refer to it as ego death. And so, as long as
this is a trip thing, isn't it?
Well, it can be.
Don't say the name. Don't say the name of any substance.
Sure.
Yeah, Jimmy, you and I talked previously, and you challenged me to go and do a thing. And
yes,
so if this is going to be a repeat of that conversation, I'll just move on to the next guest.
Well, I mean,
because what you're about to do is not provide an argument or evidence for your God. All you're going to do is say, well, you'll find out as long as you go do this experiment. So that's not what we're here for. Because that's not an actual argument. The audience can't participate. It doesn't get us anywhere, and it's boring.
No, but I think you're throwing out the baby with the bathwater when you say that, because okay, let's move on.
Well, I want to throw you out with the bathwater. We had a half-hour discussion. You didn't have a single argument. We're not going to do it a second time. To be clear, this guy, his whole shtick is to go get people to sign up for a university study where they give you something to let you trip. That's all he wants you to do.
Cool if people want to do that, but that's just not a really compelling thing to argue on the internet.
Yeah, this is a debate space. We're here for debates. Okay, let's grab our next caller. I think it might be Isaac. Is that correct?
I think it's Isaac as well.
Okay. Isaac, welcome in.
Isaac?
Isaac? You've been here for an hour. I hope you're okay. I feel bad waiting all this time. You've got microphones and speakers plugged into your device, but I don't hear anything. Okay, well, move on to the next one. Sorry, Isaac.
Okay, let's talk to Vow.
Yeah. Oops. Okay, got to connect your devices. Val, welcome in. How you doing?
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, and your turn signal too. Are you driving?
How are you guys? Yeah, but
We're gonna need you to pull over,
using
buddy.
a handheld device.
Nah, you got to pull over.
Yeah, it's TikTok terms of service.
It's TikTok terms of
It's
service, and I talked to a guy driving once, and he literally crashed into the curb while we were talking. We're not gonna do that again.
Jeez.
Really?
Yeah.
He crashed into
That's
the curb.
crazy.
Are you pulling over?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'm actually delivering to the USPS. So
What?
if I could just get to this gate and then get to my door.
Do you want to come back later?
Time to talk.
Yeah, we'll bring you up
I have
again
plenty of time now.
once you're done.
Are you sure? Because it sounds like you need to make a delivery.
Okay, so I want to have just a good conversation with you guys. Like, I understand, like...
Yeah, but it sounds like you're busy doing a delivery. So why
Yeah.
not finish your
the
delivery? We'll bring you up once you're
underlying,
back.
Sarcasm. I
Finish
don't
your
need
delivery.
To go anywhere. I'm right here.
Come back. Okay.
Will you leave halfway through the
I don't have to
conversation?
go in to do the delivery.
Okay.
Are you
Do
gonna
have
be-
to drive?
Yeah, it's a semi-truck, so they'll take everything in the back. All I gotta do is back into the door.
Okay. If you're done, then we're good to talk.
Sure.
All right, cool.
What religion are you?
I'm a Christian.
Sure.
Okay.
What's your strongest argument or evidence that convinces you that God is real?
Well, I feel like in order for you to have a connection with God, have you even tried before you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
say he's
Yep.
not real?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Justin
did.
went
Okay.
to seminary.
Okay.
Is it called
So-
seminary or was it just Bible?
Both.
it's
I went
the
to Bible
same.
college and seminary.
Oh, they're
Yeah.
not the same.
Yeah, seminary is specifically a graduate institution, whereas Bible
Sure.
college is usually undergrad.
Interesting. Okay.
Wait, so you went to college to try to find out about God?
No, I used to be a Christian.
No, I'm saying about the other two that are debating.
Oh.
So the
I've
only
never
one
been a
of you
Christian.
have actually tried to come in.
I've never been a Christian.
No, I'm saying only one of you guys have actually tried to like come in contact with God or any.
Well,
type
I've
of deity.
prayed before. You know, people have asked me to pray on my stream, so I pray, and there's nothing.
Bliss has probably
Well, I mean,
encountered religious people as well who wanted him
Yeah,
to make attempts.
I'm going to Rosh Hashanah services in like a month.
Yeah, see. Actually, I kind of enjoy the
Wait.
synagogue services. They're kind of cool.
They're just long.
the synagogue services. So you're
Uh-huh.
Jewish.
Yeah.
So then you do believe in God.
No.
No, like ethnically Jewish, not like religiously Jewish.
Ethnically Jewish. So you only use what Jewish title for the what you guys get from
This
it?
is gonna
from,
be
like,
confusing for you.
relationships, and you use it as like a
You know,
This is going to be confusing.
financial.
So, oh boy.
go ahead and break it to him,
See, this
Dr.
is my whole
Blitz.
thing.
Wait,
we're coming into the
wait,
conversation where
wait, Val, did I just hear you?
Val,
Val,
what was that
Val,
last? Let's run that last
Val,
part
hold on.
again.
Let's wind back to tape. Val, stop talking. I want to wind back to tape 30 seconds. Did you say that Dr. Blitz is identifying as Jewish for financial gain?
What'd you say?
That's what I heard.
Would you like me to break it down? Or
Yeah, please.
I
Yes,
mean,
Well, wait. I just want to
Yeah.
be clear. Is that the
You
quote?
guys
Did you
have
say
these
that? Did we
condescending-
mishear?
you guys
I
have
did say
these
that.
condescending questions.
Jesus fuck.
Well,
Okay.
Yeah, break it down for us, please.
Yes, because okay, so the way I would say that you'd use the title as being Jewish for financial gain is because of the just the relationships in which you'd be able to have being under the Jewish faith.
Like what?
Yeah, so if you
Sorry,
want to
what-
use it,
like-
if
like
you want
what?
to use it to get ahead, then yeah.
Which
Wait,
relations?
sorry. Which relationships
But-
that you get?
What do you mean? I do not know. Are you not familiar with this? Do I need to?
I want you to spell it
let you
out.
guys know about Jewish
I want you to spell it out.
relationships, or what?
Yeah, sell it. Sell it to us. Give
Tell
us a
you
pitch.
Jewish relationships.
Tell us the whole
Yeah,
thing.
well,
Tell us
yeah,
top to
what do you mean?
bottom.
Okay. Well, I mean, if this is something you could just simply Google, but if you want to look,
Well, we're
at
asking
most-
you.
Yeah, and I'm telling you. So I mean, do you
Yeah,
want
yeah,
me to
so tell
finish,
us.
or
Please,
okay? So can I say a sentence without it being interrupted?
please, go ahead.
Depends what the sentence is,
Alright.
but sure, go for it.
Haven't even been able to get it out. You guys have been get talking. Okay, so if you guys go and you guys look at like say like record labels, if you guys go and you guys look at like CEOs or all these people that are real head, or like BlackRock, for example, that
course.
owns like pretty much 75% of all the stock on the actual stock market itself. These are
Sure.
all owned by Jewish people. And if you
Yeah.
go and you look in the Jewish text, it's actually Jewish people are actually based on
Hey
their
Val,
religion,
I'm gonna cut you off right there. I'm sorry. I hate to do this. I'm gonna cut you off right there. But I had to ask. Do you think it was morally perfect when God commanded genocide?
I need you to elaborate. I mean,
Yeah,
so,
1 Samuel
like,
15, 2 through 3. He commands genocide. He commands the slaughter of men, women, and children. Do you think that was morally perfect in line with God's nature?
why was he slaughtering? I mean,
Yeah, because 400 years earlier, their great grandparents attacked the Israelites. Do you think it was morally perfect to command the wholesale genocide of these people?
Well, aren't the Israelites the ones that actually killed Jesus?
Who the fuck do you think I'm talking
Jews-
about?
What timeline
Jews
are
are
you
the-
working on?
He got
The Jews are the ones
turned
The
around.
Jews are the ones that killed.
What do
The-
you?
So
You're
what do you mean?
welcome. He had to die for your sins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For our sin, you guys, the Jews only killed him because you guys thought he was a fucking demon. That's the only reason he was able
Wait,
to.
but hold
No,
on.
no,
So
no.
didn't Jesus
actually
have
talk
to die?
demons.
Yeah,
But
if
the Jews
Jesus have to
themselves,
die?
aren't you guys the children of Cain? And don't you guys actually
Wait, hold on. Did Jesus
worship,
have to die?
Don't you guys actually worship Satan?
So Val,
Don't you guys
did
actually
Jesus have to
worship
die?
Satan? But you
No,
just
no,
say
no.
you
I'm
worship
sorry.
God?
I'm sorry.
Val, try to
You
pay
have no power
attention.
here. Did Jesus have to die?
Did Jesus have to die for our sins?
Yeah.
Jesus did die for our sins.
Did
No,
he
I'm
have
to? Did he
asking,
have
like,
to?
What was his goal in being sent to Earth? What was the purpose?
Jesus, he lives on his mission.
What was his mission?
His mission is literally to just tell you, be like me, and you'll be free.
This guy doesn't even know his own religion. Did Jesus have to die?
So if Jesus didn't die, nothing would change. If he was just like if he just like got old, got to 85 years old, and then just died of a heart attack.
That wasn't an option. Jesus was literally just trying to preach the gospel, trying to show you guys that.
Wait, what gospel was he trying to preach? I'm sorry. What gospel was he trying to preach?
Literally being on the cross and saying, "Be like me." And
No.
Wait, so he did need to be on the cross. So he did.
did.
Need to be
No,
on the cross.
you guys put him on the cross. I don't
Wait,
understand
so
how you
did
guys
he
don't
need to be on the
comprehend
cross, or
that.
did he
You
not?
put him on the cross. You
Val,
put
I'm
him
going to
on
read the
cross.
Bible to you since I'm pretty sure you haven't read it. Revelation 13:8 refers to those who are bound to God through Jesus' death. It says, all who dwell on the earth will worship him, those who have not been written in the book of the life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. The slaying of Jesus was planned at the foundation of the world. He had to die. The Jews did you a favor.
You're welcome.
It doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, it does.
'Cause you haven't
said
read
he
the
had to be
book.
on the cross.
How
He
did-
had to. This is how it had to
I
be
never
in
said
order
any
to
of that.
absolve
You said
people's
that.
sins. Then you
That's
just
what
don't
the
know your
book
own
says.
religion.
It's okay if you haven't read the book.
Yeah,
Most
so
Christians
Jesus
don't.
has to take the punishment so that everybody else can get into heaven.
Okay.
He had to
So
die,
what's
otherwise no
wrong
one
with
would go to
that?
heaven.
Yeah, if they didn't do that, then there would be no eternal salvation that you could get just by opening your heart to Christ. It needed to happen.
So in a way, you have Jewish people to thank for getting into heaven.
Okay. So
You're welcome.
If that's the way you're gonna go about it, then what is your guys' sexual orientation?
All right, give me the rest of your anti-Semitic tropes.
No, he's pivoting to homophobia.
Yeah.
Well, no,
He got blown the fuck out on the anti-Semitism. Now he has to pivot.
It's just really obvious that if you guys are
Val, I have a question.
What other hate can I bring up? So
Val, I have
If you guys like
I have a question. What gender is God the Father? What gender would you say God the Father is?
God the Father?
Yeah.
If anything, I would assume it naturally have to be a woman, but if it is
God the Father.
Wait, women can be fathers? Based in trans inclusion pilled?
Giga Chad.
God itself, I mean, the only one of us can actually create life, so I don't know.
So
Based
God
in
is trans.
feminism
Just check
pilled.
him.
Let's go, feminist Nazi. Let's go.
So God the
See, that's what I'm
Father,
saying.
God the Father is
So,
a woman, to be clear.
It all comes down to
What's God the Father's sexual orientation?
How did God the Father impregnate Mary?
Libertarian faggots.
Okay, get rid of
Oh,
him.
there it
Oh my
is.
God.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah,
By
that'll do, donkey. That'll do.
Didn't take
And then
very
we can call him an
long.
ass.
All right. Well,
What a character.
at least he came out and told us his truth.
Yeah.
Yep.
He spread the good Christian love.
It's a
And then he
wild day.
concluded by heresy, claiming that God the Father is a woman.
I love
very
it.
funny. All right, let's bring up Tariq.
Let me grab the 2 super chats. We'll get
Super
Tariq
chat, yeah,
in here. SDG, thank you for the $5 super chat. Says you guys should get a 4th and call yourself the Horsemen of the Apocalypse. But seriously, glad to see the whole gang back. Well, thank you, SDG. And I think if we add a 4th to the screen, I don't know. We're running out of space to put faces.
It's too established now. So SDG,
Yeah.
interestingly enough, when we first started like this idea, like sometime at the end of last year, the original plan was to get like a biologist or something like that, so that we could do like the 4 horsemen thing. But we weren't able to find anybody that we could rely upon consistently, and so we just stuck with the 3 of us, and it's been fine.
I like it, actually. And
Yeah, me too.
realistically, like most people bringing up biology as arguments, they don't really know the biology themselves. So it's like even a cursory knowledge gets you through. People who really know biology don't believe in creation. Isaac, thank you for the $10 super chat. Says, oof, sorry Mike wasn't working. Thanks for the opportunity. No worries, Isaac. I'm sorry that it wasn't, we're having some issues. Maybe refresh your browser and come back and we try again. We'd love to get you into the conversation. But we're going to bring in Tariq. If you're watching on TikTok and you're like, I'm in the TikTok guest queue, how come they didn't bring me up? It's because we don't bring up anybody from the TikTok guest queue. Not a single one of you will get on this screen from the TikTok guest queue. You must use the link on the screen, which is why it says join as a guest at tinyurl.com/UA guest. We'd love to talk to you, but we can't talk to you via TikTok. Welcome in, Tariq.
You're very quiet.
Yeah, it sounded like your
Oh,
finger
wow.
was like on the microphone or something.
Oh, wait. Let me get.
It's better now.
Let me. Well, first of all, greetings. My name's Tariq.
Yeah. Is the audio quality, I feel like it's a bit muffled, but maybe it's workable? I don't know. What do you all think?
I think as long as your connection maintains, I think we'll be okay. But it sounds like your connection's pretty weak.
Sure. What religion are you? This does not bode well for your connection. I can't lie to you.
All right, Tariq, you got to find some Wi-Fi coming back, okay? Sorry, we got to cut you. If you,
Laura's is up next, though.
yeah, I think so. If you get a better connection, come back. We'll put you at the front of the line, okay? Laura's, welcome in. How you doing?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Welcome.
Okay. Yes. I am a Christian, and I just want to say the dude that talked about like having like a mystical experience and stuff, and he wanted to go on like a alpha trope type, alpha brain type rant. I wanted to say, well, you like that was my main question when I came in here, but the anti-Semite kind of answered it. You guys are Jewish though, right? Like ethnically Jewish. Like,
No,
are you guys
just
from
me.
Israel or from
No,
like
just me. The
Northern
other
Europe?
Laura, this is a bad start. I'm not going to lie to you. No, I was born and raised Christian. My family's Christian. Parents are Christian. You know, Justin is Christian. I assume he was like born Christian, raised Christian, you know, went to seminary school.
But you just said you're ethnically Jewish earlier.
Nope.
Like I could run that
No,
back.
I am.
Blitz
Yeah,
is.
that's what I was saying.
I am. The other two are not.
Yeah, I'm not.
Oh, thank you. It pretty fucking obviously is. But I was going to ask the mystical
Do you
experience.
think that just to be clear, do you think anybody with curly hair is Jewish?
No, it's not the curly hair. It's the other physiognomy and other things. And also the spit time.
He doesn't even know how to pronounce the
physiognomy?
Did he say
word.
misogyny?
Yeah, physiognomy. But no, basically,
Physiognomy.
Bro is
physiognomy.
straight up doing Nazi talking
But
points and doesn't know
basically-
how to speak English.
Basically, my point is
Crazy.
Because he got them from
today.
4chan. He read all of them.
True.
the mystical thing. Like, you guys haven't had a mystic experience because you're Jewish.
And neither have you, and I'm not Jewish.
Yeah, I'm not Jewish.
Obviously,
I am.
something's up.
Can you prove the Jewish God is real?
Can you go after anyone else other than the Christians, or is it just
Yeah,
is it just
if
the
a
Christians?
Jewish
Can we talk
person
about
comes
the
up, we
Torah and the
debate
Talmud?
them.
Yeah,
Do you
Yeah,
want to
so-
talk
I-
more,
the
or do
Torah
you
and the
want
Talmud,
to
how they
actually
spread
engage in a debate?
pedophilic
Oh,
lies?
he's
Is it-
Yeah,
he's
I know-
doing Nazi stuff again.
Yeah. So I
Why-
don't know if you know this, but like, it doesn't say that the Christian God isn't real up here. It's not a specific
Oh,
God.
he left. He left.
Yeah, he ran.
Oh well, we're good. Hey, we got a super chat from our friend Dean Withers. Great to see you, buddy. It's been a minute. Says, I love these lives. Thank you guys for your work. It's great. Well, Dean, I appreciate your work as well.
Yeah.
And I don't want to
Thanks,
do
Dean.
politics. Holy shit, that's a cesspool. Thanks, Dean. Good to hear from you, buddy.
Yeah.
We've got
That's Dean or just some other.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
that's
that's Dean. He was
Dean.
commenting.
Oh.
He was commenting in the live chat too.
Lovely. Glad to
What's
see
up,
him
you,
watching.
Dean? So is it freed next? Is that free to go?
It's freed. Yeah.
Okay. We'll get
Although we
Feed
do have
in here.
Isaac and Tariq back.
Oh,
but
Isaac
yeah.
came
Yeah.
back.
We should. So we should
Sorry
bring
about
up Isaac first. I think.
I apologize, Free. I apologize, Free. I'll take my lashings. I brought you up too quick. We got to grab Isaac first. We promised him if he came back and fixed his mic, we'd get him in. How you doing, Isaac? Are you audible? Isaac? No?
Seems like the answer is no.
Yeah, Isaac, I think your hardware's got problems, buddy. I apologize. All right, we can grab Tariq. Tariq came back. We'll see if Tariq's hardware works. Tariq,
Can
welcome
you
back.
hear me now?
I can hear you.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Technology, I guess. To keep it short and quick, my question to you guys was the following God in survival situations. I've been into military myself, and the guys that really succeeded were very fervent believers.
So God lets the
whilst,
non-believers
some
die in war?
atheists, believers in either
That sounds horrific.
Muslims or Christians, and having read a bit about soldiers of previous wars.
So all the Muslims that
they
died
say-
in the wars, God wanted them to die?
No, nobody died.
But you
I'm
just said
saying
that the people who don't
that-
believe in God die in war more than people who do. Like
Oh,
you're
did I say
implying that
that?
God
No,
is allowing the atheist to have a higher death rate?
Oh, no, totally not. I misspoke there.
What God do you believe in?
What I meant to say, what do I believe in?
No, which God
I
do you
believe
believe
in
in?
God. I believe in Joshua. I believe.
Okay, so you're Christian.
Yeah, I believe
Cool.
in Christ. But atheists.
Why?
I'm not saying like that atheists get killed in war. I'm saying that in training, like basic training, or also from memoirs from people that have been in Second World War, they're able to go through the trauma more easier because they have this fervent belief in God.
Well, first of
Well,
all, I
so
don't
they
know if
can
that's
cope.
true.
They
It
have
also
to
doesn't matter.
Deal with trauma.
Tariq, hey,
sorry?
I don't. First of all, I don't know
Yeah.
if that claim is true. I don't think there's statistics on it. Second of all, it doesn't matter. That doesn't get you to a God, and it sure as hell doesn't get you to the Christian God. So
Mhm.
that's just not a valid argument. There's no connection to a God and somebody feeling like they have meaning or purpose or a higher survival rate. I can get the same thing by praying to a pet rock. That's not a valid argument. Do you have anything else?
Yeah, well, even if it's a dirt walk, sounds silly, yes. but this is just like human experience. Like we need a belief, this certain external belief that seems weird and silly, but that's just what belief is, to propel us forward to deal with what the arena of life gives us. Sometimes we need that's why belief in God
Tariq,
has been
Tariq,
there
I
for
know.
throughout
I hate to interrupt you,
centuries of
Tariq. I know
time.
you probably like thought of these talking points before you came in. You really want to give them, but none of these are arguments for God.
Yeah. And to be clear, basically what you're saying is that there's like benefits to believing in God. That could be 100% true. That wouldn't mean that God is real.
Yeah,
Right now, we want you to establish his existence.
true.
Maybe it helps some people cope, but I mean, me, Blitz, and Justin, we all have our lives pretty together. I'm motivated by a lot of things, none of which are God. I don't think adding God to my worldview would be beneficial because my worldview strives towards truth. And just believing God because it makes me feel good wouldn't be doing that. So that would actually undercut like key parts of my motivation. So that makes no sense for me to adopt a belief like that.
Of course, we can totally see it from your view. Like, yeah, if you're living in a safe environment, I can totally get it.
Mhm.
Our society is structured that way. But when we don't know what the future will bring, but when when shit hits the fan, the usually people like you and others and like me become more. We believe more because we need it more.
Is
It's a
that
survival
rational? Do you think that's a
mechanism.
rational
I
thing
see
to
it just
do?
as. I think it is a rational thing to do because,
So you
like,
arrive at that
to
belief based on
follow,
evidence, or does it just like help
to
you
cope.
to cope? Oh, okay. It's just cope, sure. Then I don't think
Yeah,
that's
to cope.
rational to
Yeah, yeah.
adopt a belief
No,
to cope.
not just. Yeah. Well, yeah, yeah. That is a rational thing. Like you have to cope with your surrounding. So you seek to an external belief, but the external belief, not every external belief is as good to humanity as others. Like there are many, like quite evil, fucked up beliefs that people have.
Do you understand
Like
that this doesn't provide any
Satanists
evidence for
or
God's
like worse.
existence?
Yeah, none of this is an argument for God. Just so you're aware.
Well, if you're thinking about logic, if you're thinking about logic,
Yeah, we like
wouldn't God
logic.
create us to be to find the way of least resistance to get to make life easier, to
So
find
to be clear,
our
believing
path through
something that makes you
philosophy
feel
or
good
maybe to
is not
sorry.
logically believing something just because it makes you feel good is not logically coherent because it might make you feel good, but it could actually harm society at large. Like there's a lot of people who have a belief in a God because it makes them feel good, but
Yeah.
it also makes them believe in like it's okay to wage jihad. It also makes them believe like it's okay to go to war against people who disagree with your beliefs, right? So like I
Or
agree
sacrifice
there
kids.
that
Yeah,
I
exactly.
agree there are like people who feel like their religion gives them a certain level of comfort, but that doesn't mean that now we should be doing that because it harms people. It sends
Hmm.
people into harm's way. So I again, none of this is an argument for
Hmm.
God.
Hmm.
What it might be is it might be an argument.
And
It might be an
but
argument for the belief in God. You may very well be able to say, look, the positive outcomes that you get from believing in God, and this is contentious, but perhaps it's the case that the positive outcomes from believing in a God or a certain God outweigh the negative consequences of believing in that God. And then maybe you could argue that believing in that God is a good thing, but that doesn't make the God real.
and what does make something real?
Just like having existence, having being, being like a thing that exists?
Have an existence and a feeling.
No?
Yeah, well, that would be the point of view of a believer. You have a feeling that God is with you. You pray to a God, and you have like it alleviates the suffering that you're feeling or the struggle that you're feeling with something external
These are
I
more
or
feel
cope
like
internal.
arguments.
we're on a miracle round. We just addressed this.
Yeah.
Listen, just because something helps you cope mentally
yeah, I'm
doesn't
sorry.
mean that it's real.
Do you have arguments that don't
It's
involve
real.
like you coping or?
So I'm trying to understand really. I'm learning. So when I take medicine from the doctor and says, "Oh, this will alleviate your headache," is that the same then? Is it just like an illusion?
No,
No.
because we also
what?
have
Is
people
placebo-
who
is-
Tariq. We also have placebos that don't do anything. So God is a mystical
Mhm.
placebo effect. That's it.
Okay. So from that's your view on it. And how about the monad? How Plato speaks about the monad, or
What about it?
how Dante speaks of the connection through God with love, that there is like a physical, emotional connection that we all have, and that is our pathway to connect with God.
We can explain
Plato
love without
believes,
God.
through. Okay, please do share your.
Yeah, sure.
point
Well,
of
I mean,
view.
love is just like a feeling of closeness developed via evolution, and it's produced through the neurochemical receptors, oxytocin and serotonin, and the activation of like specific neurological regions in your brain. That's all love is. So we can explain love without God.
But there is so much that we can't explain. Not yet, but like
Not being able to explain
the
something
whole how
doesn't
knowledge
give you a
works,
good
really.
reason to believe in a God.
Yeah. Let's say we can't explain any of that. Why would we prefer God over I don't know?
So you would rather continually hyper-analyze the world around you, and live through that, and just fervently believe in that there is just not a God.
No, we
Well,
want
no,
to
but
believe
I-
what's
but I'd
true.
rather-
Even if it's not a coping mechanism.
Tariq, we want to believe what's
Sorry?
true.
Yeah.
If God is true, we would believe in God. But
Yeah.
there's no evidence for it being true.
From your point,
Well, then provide the
your-
evidence.
Yeah. Give the evidence.
your experience, everyone's truth, everyone's truth is different because we have a different
Tariq,
No.
experience.
If we're gonna,
yeah,
if this debate comes down
there is-
to, Tariq, if this debate comes down to, look, everybody has their own truth, and my truth is that God is real, then it's just not a debate. It's not a conversation to be had. And we are looking for people who actually have like a belief in God and want to present arguments for it, rather than just saying like, oh, well, it's subjective, and well, what about this? What about like? So, y'all okay with moving on to the next guest?
Yep.
Yeah, I think so. Sorry, Tariq. I
Thanks
don't
for
think
being here, Tariq.
you came prepared this
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Come back again,
All
though.
right. Good day, guys.
Cheers.
Free Delegote is next, I believe.
Yeah, I think so. Let me grab the super chats. Von Doodle says all the Nazis are out tonight. Yes, they are. There's a lot of
One
them.
Nazi
in
comes on,
today's
and
stream.
the rest all congregate. That's how it usually works.
Yes. Yep. ZM says a lot of POSs today. Much love to the host. Well, thank you, ZM. We appreciate that.
Indeed, there are.
They're out in full force. And Mike says real physiognomy horse hours. I can't even say it.
Physiognomy.
Physiognomy.
Thank you, Mike. And last one from our friend Gretchen. Thank you again. Says atheist army veteran here. This guy is trash. Soldiers are more concerned with saving their battle buddies than praying to the tooth buddy. Rock hard for Doug. There's actually a guy on TikTok named the atheist, Foxhole Atheist, who I think has made it his life mission to combat this bad talking point because it's just not true.
It's great. Yeah. All right, let's bring up Free Delegote.
All right, let's get Free. How you doing, Free?
Yo, what's good? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, okay. Yep, okay.
Free, are you at
Um,
least 18, and do you believe
thank you
in
so much
some
for
kind of a God?
yes, I am, and I do believe in God. My
Okay.
religion is Christianity, before Ian asks. I am, my arguments for God, actually there are a few, because I do believe that throughout all history, like what people who tried to engage in such reasoning did, is that they made so many arguments for God that there's even an argument from God for how many arguments for God there are. But I think that what I would really try to do is not to waste too much time because there are also a lot of people waiting, right? So I'll try to maybe do not that much of those. First argument that I wanted to bring was the ontological argument for God, not modal one, just pure ontological one. I don't have it in like premise one, premise two, conclusion format, although I could probably do something like that. My argument just goes like rather in a line of questioning in which I ask a person to imagine a maximally great conceivable being, right? If they're not able to do that, if I was to ask a person who did that, does that being exist? If the person says no, then they're automatically not doing what I'm asking them to. Because a maximally great being, right, at least conceivable one, wouldn't be something which is mind dependent, but rather it wouldn't be ontologically at least greater in the sense that it lacks that boundary, right? So if you're able to conceive of such a being, that being would have to exist. That is the first argument that I wanted to bring up.
Sure. I want you to imagine a maximally great island. Now, does this island
Wait,
exist?
sorry, you lagged off for me. Give me a second.
Yeah.
Wait, give me a second. My
Its
internet
connection
is
is
lagging. Give me a second.
minimally great.
True.
Also,
Free?
one of the problems with this whole maximal greatness business, and this is just like a side quest. Like, oh, he left. It's just a side comment, but like, not all properties have, or not all properties achieve their upper bounds, right? Like, you can just think of the set all numbers less than 1. There is no maximal element in that set, right? There just isn't one. The upper bound, the supremum, is the number 1, but that's never achieved by the set. So it's just not clear that maximally great is even a well-defined notion that a thing can have.
I don't really know what that means, to be honest. I'm not really sure what a maximally great being would be. I don't know. I guess I don't really have an intuition on what that even means.
Yeah, I can't even imagine it. Therefore, the argument fails right out of the gate.
So we have MD up next.
We do. Let me grab our super chat. We'll get MD. Fizgagin. They got me on that one. I'm not the listen. I got to stop pronouncing these things, even when they're okay. So MD is next. Is
Yep.
my understanding?
MD's next.
Welcome in, MD.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yeah. How you doing?
All right, I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
Doing well.
well.
Doing
Thanks
all
for
right.
asking.
Thanks for being here.
Okay, so I was scrolling to YouTube and I just saw this live stream, and I guess you guys are talking about the existence of God.
Mm-hmm.
So
That we are.
yeah, okay. So for me, I would like to present two arguments that made me kind of inclined towards thinking God is real.
Sure.
The first one, I'm not sure if you're aware. Well, I'm not sure if you guys know about it. The contingency argument. Have you
Never
guys
heard
about
it.
Okay.
Brand new.
Okay. I'm not sure if you'd be.
I don't even know what that
sarcastic.
word means.
Okay. Are you guys being sarcastic?
Yeah.
I'm being a little sarcastic.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you do understand that everything that exists has to have something that composes it, right? So
Composes it.
yeah, everything is composed of something. Like your glass is composed of silicone, your atoms and whatnot, right?
It's
You don't
not-
think God's composed of anything, do you?
Well, I'm getting there.
It's also not clear that everything in the universe is composed of something. It seems like it's at least logically possible that you could have things that are simple, meaning that they are the foundational layer.
So
And
fundamentals.
we have good reason to
okay,
think that such things
so
exist.
Could you give me a few examples of fundamental
Yeah,
things?
like an electron. We have no reason to think that an electron is like composed of anything.
What about like your different theories coming out, like string theories? I get it, it's a theory, but what about your quarks and other?
Well, quarks don't make up electrons. Quarks are also fundamental. That's also one of the views. That meaning that they're not composed of something smaller.
So your energy packets, photons, can you not go?
Photons
down
are
to
also not composed of something smaller.
So you're saying photons and all of that existed throughout, and what's your proof for for photon not being created of something else? Do you have any proof?
I
of
mean, like
that?
that's just like the current best scientific models that we have.
Okay,
I mean,
so that
if your claim is that everything is composed of something smaller, then the burden is on you to show that the scientific consensus is wrong.
Okay, a consensus, a theory is not a proof, is it? Would you agree with
Well,
me?
wait, the dialectical burden is on you, though. All we have to do is establish like the possibility. It's possibly true that these scientific theories are the case, and that these
So,
are
would you say
particles
we
that
are
exist
equally?
without.
Would you
So,
say?
is there any problem or like contradiction in us believing
No,
that?
there's not. I'm just saying
Okay.
there is no proof of it, so it's equally on you to
Proof of what?
proof of that the photon is actually the fundamental. It is a consensus, right? It is something people have
So
studied,
to be
and
clear, there's like loads of evidence that this is the case.
so
That
loads
like you
of
can't break
evidence
a
as in
photon
like
that you can't break a
solid,
photon down.
solid proof that it's not made of something else. That it
Right,
is
right. No, so we've satisfied our burden by providing tons of evidence that this is the case. You're just asserting that it could be false, therefore my view is equally valid. Like that's not how it works. Like your view may be correct, but that doesn't mean that it's 50-50.
Yeah. When we go into the evidential analysis, the view that you're presenting, this premise is just not evidentially supported. So I'm inclined to disbelieve the premise you've put forward just on the basis of the evidence.
So you're saying the photon itself exists by itself, and it is that's the end, right? Nothing else
Yeah,
comes
it's
after
not
that.
it's not constructed of something smaller.
Okay, and you have like no proper studies. I mean, there's studies done on it, there's theories done on it, but there's no proper
There's like tons and tons of evidence that this is the case.
evidence. You're saying
Yes.
evidence.
Yeah, if we're analyzing the probability of something, which you were doing, you were saying is like 50-50, then we have to look at the evidence.
Okay, now if I give you an example of how in the past, how Adam, the Rutherford atomic structure that was proposed initially, right? So back then people would say, okay, this is what an atom is, right? They
Are you
didn't have
about to
any-
do the science was wrong in the past, therefore
No,
God
no,
is
no.
real?
I'm not saying science is wrong. I think science is our best way of guessing, or not guessing, but best way of understanding what the universe is. And I'm not saying science is completely correct because there's theories and everything, right? You can't just say it's perfect. I'm not like
Nobody said it's perfect. If we're making
course.
a case for what's most likely, then the thing with the most evidence is going to be the most likely. The view that you hold that everything is composed of something smaller is just not found in the evidence.
Okay, so no. Giving back to my example, when the atomic, the whole pi thingy, I forgot about what was called back in
Plum
the day.
pudding.
But yeah, the plum pudding. Yes. So when it was first coined, when the idea was put forth, people took that as the evidence that there was evidence for it.
This
right?
is irrelevant for the position that you're arguing. You are arguing for a view that doesn't have any evidence, and
Right
we're
now,
putting
it does
forward
not.
this
Right
view.
now, it does not.
Yes,
Right?
and so and we evaluate the probabilities based off of the evidence that we have access to. If you're saying, "Oh, well, maybe there will be evidence in the future," well, I don't care what maybe will happen in the future. If you want to say that your view is more likely than
So
the
you are,
mainstream consensus view,
so
then you
you're
have to provide more compelling evidence.
I think maybe with this guy, we just need to be like debate scumbags and say, prove your proposition. Like, what's going to be the supporting argument for the proposition?
Okay, what I was trying to get at, everything that exists has to have some fundamental thing that would not depend on other substances. Like in case you're talking about photon, like your photon does not have to depend on other like particles or whatever existing for it to exist. It exists
Doesn't
by
that-
itself.
What was
right?
your first premise?
My first premise? I'm just talking about the same thing. I haven't changed my premise.
Your first
Because
premise was that
Yes.
everything is composed of something smaller.
Yeah. So
that's directly contradictory with what you just said.
well,
Because you're saying
everything-
that there's some things that aren't composed of something smaller, but also everything is composed of something smaller.
But you just said photon has nothing smaller, right? You
Sorry,
just
do you
said photon
acknowledge that you've put forward the contradiction? Which
No,
one? And I
I'm
just want to
just
get clear,
saying
like, which
what
one
you
is
said.
it? Is it
It's
that
not
there's like some fundamental thing, or is it the case that everything can be subdivided?
according to you, photon cannot be subdivided,
We're
right?
asking you what your premise is,
My premise is
what your
at
argument
some
is.
point, when you start breaking things down, at some point, you won't be able to break any farther. Like it cannot just go in infinite, right?
Oh, yeah, I
So
think we agree with that.
okay, all right, perfectly fine. So be it photons, be it like whatever in the future, if we find other ways to kind of break it down more, but that's something I don't want to argue right now because I don't know, you don't know. So what I'm trying to get at is at some point there has to be a necessary existence based on which other items, other elements or photons or whatever strings, if they get proven, they will be made of, right? At some point it has to end. It cannot just go in infinity.
No, you're conflating terms. What your first
Conflating
premise is attempting to establish, what we agree to, is that there's some things that exist that are not composed of anything deeper. You're now like swapping the term to
Perfect,
necessary, and that's not,
Perfect.
that doesn't follow. But I mean, to be clear, I'm a necessitarian. I think everything is necessary.
Perfect. I agree with you that you will get at some point where you cannot further, like that's a fundamental thing. You cannot go further than that. So what I'm trying to
Well,
say is,
hold on, just to be clear,
Mhm.
the claim that's being made here is a mereological claim, which means
you have
the
to
claim
explain
about
what
relation.
neurological is.
I'm about to.
Okay,
It's a
thank
claim
you.
about the relationship between parts and wholes. So the mereology is kind of the study, like the philosophical study of the relationship between part and whole. And so what we're saying is that, you know, it's at least reasonable to conclude, given the evidence that we have, that there is a fundamental object which doesn't have a mereology. It doesn't have parts. And so it instead composes all other things, but it's not composed of other things. On the other hand, there's a question about modal ontology, which is what you're trying to get at, which is related to necessity of whether a thing like depends on other things. Whether a thing depends on another thing for its existence is different from whether or not a thing is composed of things. So you just want to be clear and not conflate the terms.
All right, I understand. So you're saying you definitely there's something that's fundamental, like you cannot break it up more, and the other thing is the existence of something is necessary for other things existing. Now, if you say the photon, right, it makes up all kinds of electromagnetic waves and whatnot. So
Yeah.
would you say the photon is necessary to exist for your electromagnetic waves to exist?
You mean sufficient?
So you need photons for your
Well,
electromagnetic
I
waves.
guess. So yes, it is true that photons. Actually, no, it's just not true. You could have had classical electromagnetism, but I mean, we could just grant. We could say that yes, photons are necessary. The existence of photons is a necessary condition for the existence of an electromagnetic force. That's a fair statement.
Okay.
It's not
so
true, but it's a fair statement, and
Okay.
in some world you can imagine that that's the case.
Why not in this world? Like, is that not a
Well,
like,
in principle, you could have purely classical electromagnetism, and then photons don't exist at all.
Okay. All right. How about energy?
What about
Would
it?
you say photon is packets of energy, right?
No, I wouldn't say that.
All right. Do you know what energy is? Okay. You do understand the idea of energy.
Are we doing this again? Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
you know
do.
what? I
Um,
did watch the other guy come in and talk about this.
Okay.
So how about this? I'm gonna scratch that. I'm not gonna go into that.
Why not just make the standard
Okay,
contingency argument rather than
Okay,
relying on
I'm
like
just
energy
gonna
or something?
all right. I'm just gonna say what I have to say. Then you can
Yeah, go ahead.
ponder it. So finally, I just want to say, you have, for me to believe in God is that at some point you would have, like just how photon is necessary for some of the electromagnetic waves to exist, at some point there has to be some kind of I'm not going to say it's a being, to say it's God or whatever, but there has to be some kind of existence based on which all other weak and strong forces and all other phenomenons and whatnot came into being, right? Like all of it has to depend on something. And I think that singular something is what God is. And I'm not here to discuss, I'm a Muslim, but I'm not here to discuss Islam, Christianity and whatnot.
Yeah, Muslims don't like to discuss their own religion for some reason.
No, they do. They do. I've seen tons and tons of videos, people debating Christians and atheists and whatnot online, and we are open to discussion, 100%.
So probably the issue that you're going to run into, I mean, Dr. Blitz and I are wave function monists, so we'd probably just going to say like the fundamental object is the wave function.
Okay. All right.
So then, no God needed.
So your point is, okay, you have wave function, it exists, no God needed. So why can I not say that's God?
Because you're trying to prove God.
Yeah, I'm trying to prove something that exists that has caused the existence of other things around us, right?
Look, so you could call it God. It just wouldn't have the properties that you want God to have. Like, for example, if you're a Muslim, then God has things like thoughts
I'm not here to
or a
talk
will.
about Islam. I'm not talking.
But look, but what I'm saying, MD, is that you don't actually agree with us that what you mean by God is what we mean by the wave function, because what you mean by God has a lot of extra features on top of it. God is if your God is an unthinking mechanistic object, then
so I guess you're more of trying to discuss from a religious perspective where God has these features.
It could be even deistic. The point is that like I could say, well, what if my water bottle's God? Well, then sure, my water bottle exists.
No, it's not God. Logically, I just told you it cannot be God because it's creator of other things.
But one of the defining features of God is that it has a will.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. I think I understood your what's it called, the title wrong. I thought you guys were just discussing like if God, like something that exists, has brought other things into existence. I wasn't sure you guys were discussing God with will, like attributes. I'm not.
Yeah, like a mind that created the universe is the topic for discussion.
Okay, I'm not here to discuss attributes of God, like he is all forgiving and all of that.
Like we are. Like if you believe in a God, you have to define what you mean by God. You can't just say God. Like you can't just assume that your meaning of God is the same as ours.
If by God you mean the wave function, then we agree. You converted us. We're wave function monists now.
Yeah, we went from wave function monists to wave function monists.
So you do believe something exists and he's a God. He has.
I wouldn't call it a he.
Not a he.
Okay.
Or a God.
Yeah. Why do you move to he?
You just said. Okay, he is something that's commonly used, and around me
to describe wave functions.
You just said wave function is a God, right?
How's the wave function doing? He's looking really good.
Like, look, my point is that you can define God into existence, just like I said. You can define God to be this water bottle, and then boom, now you have a God.
My logic doesn't apply to the water bottle, does it?
Well, maybe your logic doesn't apply to the. Maybe you're talking about God in the wrong way. Maybe the water bottle is God. The point is you can just define God.
What's the right way to talk about God?
What I'm saying look. What I'm saying is that all you're doing is you're defining God into existence, rather than actually using a notion of God that you actually believe in.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want me to prove God exists the way I or my religion thinks it exists, and prove that?
Yes,
of course.
Yeah,
okay,
demonstrate your
wrong
beliefs.
Environment then, because I thought you guys were just trying to have logic to kind of go back and see the existence of the God.
So your God's not
MD,
logical?
MD, what would be great is that like you can prove a broader God exists, and like if you wanted to, but whatever God you want to prove exists should be compatible with the thing that you actually think exists. Otherwise, you're just being intellectually dishonest.
He is compatible.
No, it's not. Your God is not compatible with the wave function.
You cannot just say no and put words in my mouth. Let me explain. So in Islam, God is someone who does not depend on other things to exist. He exists himself. He has been here. Like before,
okay, then it's not compatible. The wave function isn't a someone. The wave function isn't a someone.
What do you mean by someone? A human person?
No, just a mind, a being with thoughts or a will. Mm-hmm. The wave function doesn't have those features.
Yeah.
Okay.
Blitz, you missed that part in your training when it said that wave functions can make decisions through their immaterial minds.
Right. No. Come on. So what I'm trying to get at is wave function. Sure, you're saying wave function is something that is right now. It's something.
It's purely mechanistic.
It's something. It's the best you have right now, in terms of science. It's the best you have right now to your understanding of the universe and gravity and whatnot, right? So, That's what I'm saying. Right now, currently, you cannot say wave function is where it ends. Science is constantly finding out new things. They're discovering new things,
But
new theories
We're
getting
doing the
proven.
science was
But
wrong in the past
that
24
I'm
doesn't
not
years.
support
saying
your
science is
argument.
wrong.
Like
I'm not
if you're
saying
gonna
science is
say
wrong.
that the wave function is God, you can't just say, well, the wave function must be God because we don't know everything there is to know about the natural world. That's not an argument. I could say that the wave function is actually the tooth fairy using the same argument. This is a dumb argument. It doesn't get you anywhere.
Well, what's a tooth fairy to do with creation and like?
So,
Well, not,
well, the problem is like the wave function doesn't will things into existence. If you think God is the wave function, then you would have to, one, deny that
Well,
God
first
has a
off,
mind, and two, deny that God has free
I'd
will,
like
which
to
I guess is an
clarify.
entailment of that.
I'd like to clarify the fact that I said wave function is God because I forgot his name, Blitz, Mr. Blitz. He said, okay, if you think wave function is God, I would say wave function is God, right? So that's why I just said, okay, if that's your fundamental like that's what you think is fundamental, sure, wave function is your God. What I was trying to prove is an idea that there has to be something that has caused other things to come into being. Right now, the best thing science has is your wave function. I'm not saying it's wrong.
I
Science is
don't
100%
think
correct.
the relation the wave function has with reality is like a causal
causal.
relationship. I think it's a grounding relationship.
Could you explain causal and grounding, like real quick?
Well, you already understand it, right? It's like a question of like what's at the metaphysical foundation as opposed to like what came temporally prior and brought it into existence.
Okay. Do you know about the? I'm not sure if you've read about it, but you know how waves interact, and that's how matter comes into being. Is that something you guys know?
It's a very rough story.
And that's
Okay.
like in the ballpark of my understanding.
Okay. All right.
That's
let
your
me
question,
just
MD.
take a step back. Yes. Go ahead.
If you discovered tomorrow, like keep in mind this is an analogy.
Yeah. Mhm.
If you discovered tomorrow, like verified proof that is unarguable that Islam is false, would you still be making the same dumb argument, or is this just a cope?
I would still be making the same argument, saying,
Just checking.
first
You
of
would
all,
still
no,
believe in a
lie.
God.
Yes, I do.
Okay. I'm just checking.
Okay. What I'm saying is, first off, that will never happen. You can say no, it's fine. You can say no, it's fine. It's my belief, right? You
That's
can't
how
just laugh at my
analogies
belief.
work. Analogies aren't saying that it did or will happen.
I'm just hoping, and I know it won't. That's my belief. You can't laugh at it, but it's fine.
course
So
you can.
what I'm saying, okay, laugh at it, and I don't know what to tell you. So yeah, if by some means you prove that okay, this religion is false, but the other one's true, and I'm part of this religion, I would still say my argument for God's existence, the pure existence of God Himself, who has created other beings, would still stand. Sure, it's probably not going to agree with whatever religion is going to be widely accepted, right?
But you haven't actually made an argument. You've just said that there should be something grounding it, but you haven't made an argument that that thing is therefore God and is the creator.
Well,
right?
I'll just put it in a sentence and I'll stop explaining. Then you guys can say whatever. My argument is purely logical, saying everything exists and you cannot just infinitely go back and be like, okay, I'm going to cut a photon. There's going to be more things coming out. I'm going to cut down whatever waves. And
Does
there'll
this
be more
disagree with anything that we've said?
Let me finish. So
who are you talking to?
Like,
this just doesn't interact with anything that we believe.
No. Let me finish my sentence. Then, like, would you let me finish?
Sure, I'm going to ask you the exact same question.
Okay, all right.
Ian, maybe you'll change your mind while he's explaining your belief.
I'm not here to change your mind. I'm just here to present my ideas, and you guys will present your ideas, and see. Like, I'm more here to have a conversation than a argument, right? So, what I'm trying to say is, yeah, everything comes from something, and at the fundamental of it, you have a creation that does not depend on other creations to exist, and that singular thing is God, whose existence allows other particles, waves, whatever you have, allows others to exist, and that is a necessary existence, and that is what God is to me. That's I'm gonna end it there.
Okay. Do you think that this disagrees with anything that we believe?
What do you believe?
We've explained it already.
How about you tell me?
Or were
what
you
you
just like
believe?
speaking into the void?
Could you tell me? Because I just summarized
Yeah,
mine.
I'm a
Right,
wave
yours.
function monist. I think at the metaphysical ground floor is the wave function.
Mhm.
And I think that the wave function is responsible for the grounding of all of the rest of the universe.
And that's it. Like nothing else comes before. You won't even entertain the idea that the wave function might come from something else.
The wave function, in my view, I know Blitz is going to hate this. The wave function, in my view, is that it's an abstract object. Abstract objects can't be created; they have necessary existence.
What is Blitz doing? It's like
Yeah,
a
Blitz
singer.
hates
Platonism is
mathematical
disgusting.
Oh my god.
monism.
Oh, what are you guys? Okay, I'm sorry. Could you repeat that?
Yeah. Well, in my view, the wave function is just going to be an abstract object, a mathematical object, and those can't be created because they have necessary existence.
So a mathematical object. So it exists, right? It's a thing. It's not just a theory. It's a thing.
Hmm.
And you're saying that is it? Nothing comes before it. Nothing else
Nothing
causes it.
can cause mathematical objects. It's impossible. They either exist or either necessarily they exist or it's impossible for them to. To say that they get brought into existence would imply that it's possible for them to exist, but they have a necessary existence, not a contingent one.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So they can't be brought into existence. They either always exist or they don't exist at all.
So you are agreeing with me that that's where it ends for now, as much as math allows, as much as our understanding allows. That is where it ends.
No, that's a metaphysical claim.
How's that a metaphysical claim? Isn't
Saying that the metaphysical foundation of reality is mathematics is a metaphysical claim.
So okay, so your wave functions and everything, these are metaphysical, and they don't exist. Is that what you're saying?
No, they
I
do
don't-
exist.
Okay.
Yeah. At the
Yes.
foundation of reality is mathematical
They do
objects. The wave
exist.
function is one of those.
And what you're saying is nothing. It itself is the necessary existence. Is that what you're saying? Nothing.
You
else
are so confused. No, the mathematical objects are the necessary existence. The wave function is the necessary existence.
Mathematical object is something you're using to describe your wave function. It's not something you're creating, right?
Nope, I'm a mathematical monist.
Okay, so mathematical.
I think they have real ontology.
Yeah. So your mathematics is something that you're using. It's a language that you're using to describe these wave functions, right?
Nope.
No, you're confused again.
Okay. Okay.
Ian's view is not that the wave function is a physical thing that we describe mathematically. Ian's view is that the wave function is a mathematical thing that
All
gives
right,
rise to the physical.
I see it. All right, I see it. So your wave function is wave function, and basically your wave function is, but your wave function itself has to exist based on like photons, say per se.
No, the wave function gives rise to photons.
So your wave function is interacting with other wave functions and giving rise to photons. Is that?
There's only one wave function, and it grounds all the fields necessary for the existence of photons.
So okay, so your wave function is the thing that is giving rise to other particles.
Yeah.
Am I getting it correctly?
Yeah.
Okay. So given our current scientific and mathematical understanding, that is what you would say is giving rise to other particles. Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what I'm saying is we are learning every day. Science isn't right now.
You could be wrong. What a brilliant argument. I could be wrong. Never considered.
Okay, consider it. You could be wrong.
But MD, you could be wrong is not a positive argument in favor of your position. Like if I'm having a debate with somebody on a position, my argument must have evidence in favor of the position I hold. You can't just say you could be wrong, because then the same argument could be used of you. I could say, well, you could be wrong, and now you need a symmetry breaker. So it's just not an argument.
Well, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to provide a logical argument instead of like an evidence like, oh, okay, look at that. Oh, that's God.
But it's not an argument at all. That's what I'm saying. What you're doing is not even an argument.
Why is that not an argument? The logical idea of something existing and causing other things to
because
exist.
Just saying Just saying you could be wrong is not an argument because you could be wrong, right? That's a double-edged sword. That's not
So
an actual
what's
argument. That's
okay?
just a statement that cuts both ways. So
So
every
so
time
so
you,
what I'm saying.
MD, stop.
Mm-mm. I'll let
Every
you finish.
time
Yes.
every time you go back to you could be wrong, just know that you've now conceded your position.
MD, could you be wrong about your having hands?
Okay, so you could be wrong in a sense. What
He went right back to
yeah.
it. He couldn't stop.
Could you
No,
be
no, I
wrong about
understand.
having hands?
Okay,
Could you be wrong about that?
He just asked me the question. He just said something. Can I just reply to that before I come
Sure.
to your question? Okay. So he just said you could be wrong. It defeats my own argument. But if you think about it, you are providing something that you're saying, okay, your mathematics is describing this wave function. Me saying that, okay, that's our best understanding, and we could still understand more in the future. Was that a wrong sentence to say? Is that a bad sentence to say?
It's a misnomer. It's like a red herring. You could be wrong isn't an argument. It's like a thing that you say when you don't have an argument.
Well, that is.
Could you be wrong about your having hands? Could you wake up from like a hallucination to discover that actually all of these memories were fake and you don't have hands?
I have hands, and I understand what you're trying to say. You're trying to say, okay.
Is it
wait,
possible you're wrong? Could you be wrong about that? Is it possible you're hallucinating?
What's your point? Just get to the point, please.
Yeah, wait, could you be wrong?
No, I have hands.
Could you be wrong about that?
No, I cannot. I can
So
see
wait,
it.
what would be the
Obviously, he can't be wrong. He has hands.
what would be the logical contradiction in you hallucinating right now?
Okay, I understand what you're trying to say. Let me just say something.
No, answer the question. Do you think, well, like, what's the logical contradiction in you hallucinating right now? What would be the P and not P logical contradiction?
If I was saying, okay, I have a hand, and this is it. This is my hand. I see it. I see nothing else. My eye's not a microscope. I don't see my cells. So the hand itself is my hand. It is. I think it's stupid to say, this is it.
How do you know
This
that
is
you're
my
not
hand.
hallucinating right now?
What does hallucination have to do with?
Yeah, how do you know you're not hallucinating that you have hands?
Are you trying to like hypnotize me or something? I don't get it.
I'm just asking you. I'm asking you if you could be wrong. Could you be wrong about this?
No. I'm looking.
Oh, sure. Wait. So how do you know with absolute certainty that you have hands? That you're not hallucinating?
I'm looking at my hand.
That's what you would see in a hallucination, right?
Well, sure, but I haven't taken like.
So you could be wrong.
No, I'm not wrong. I'm looking at my hand.
Could you be wrong?
No, I
could
cannot be wrong.
Could you be living in a
No,
hallucination
I'm
right
not
now?
hallucinating right now.
Sure. What would be the contradiction if you were hallucinating right now?
I'm hallucinating. I'm still looking at my hand, depending on what I'm.
That's what you'd see in a hallucination.
Yeah.
So you could be wrong. You could be in a hallucination.
What am I trying to answer here? I don't.
Well, yeah, I'm just trying to help you
point?
understand why
Would you
you
get
could be
to your
wrong
point?
as a non-point. You
Would you
could
get
be
to your
wrong
point?
as like a silly thing to draw any inference from.
I do think you are kind of twisting what I said. Can I speak again?
No, this is like the exact same
No,
thing,
no,
right?
you are
Like you're
definitely
just saying like you could be
twisting
wrong.
No, no,
Okay,
no, no, no.
we could be wrong about having hands. I could be wrong about, being Ian and existing,
No,
like
no,
I
no,
could
no,
wake
no.
up from like a hallucination and realize like I'm some
You're
like
twisting
alien.
the very
I
meaning
could be
of what
wrong
I
about a
said.
lot of things.
You are twisting the very.
I don't think
meaning
that's a
of
good
what I
argument
said.
against any position though.
Would you let me speak now?
Sure.
Okay, so you're saying, okay, I might be hallucinating, and I'm not looking at my hand or whatever, right? I'm not trying to argue if the hand exists or not. The hand exists. I'm trying to argue, okay, is this it? Like, is this it? My hand's existing. I'm not looking. I don't have a microscope for eyes, so I cannot see my cells. Doesn't mean the cells don't exist. In a similar fashion, just because your mathematical things prove, your mathematical models prove wave functions, I'm not denying the existence of it. It exists 100%.
Oh.
That's why you have math. What I'm arguing with is there could be other findings that you find that would give more meaning to your mathematical model, right? And
Like what?
You cannot know that yet. I don't know that yet. Science doesn't know that
Okay.
yet, right?
Well, I don't.
If you'd go back in the past and ask me, okay, I'll be like, okay, my hand is made of something, and you don't have microscopes, you don't have modern medicine or anything, right? You'd say like,
I feel
okay,
like we're not getting anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we're
think
not.
like the point just went right over his head.
Yeah.
All right.
He's
It's
back to you could be wrong.
Yeah, MD.
I'm
So
not. That
we're
you
we're
could
gonna
be
we're gonna
wrong.
move on because it's clear that you've
All right,
lost
guys. Have a
yourself
good
in the
day.
discussion. You don't know where you're at,
Can I just
and
have a
you.
closing?
No.
A little
All right.
bit?
Let's go to
Well,
the next one.
Goodbye.
tell you what.
All right, goodbye.
I know you want to preach, so I'll give you 30 seconds to preach. Okay.
I just want to say, it was because
Okay. Well, let's grab our next guest after Timble's super chat. Good to see you, Tim. Thank you for the super chat. It says, Mr. Blitz hurts my ears. Dr. Blitz, thank you very much. Yes, put some respect on that.
I believe that we have Timmy up next.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think it's Timmy. Let me grab Timmy
And then
from
Yaya, and then Ace, and then Chopsticks.
Yes. Timmy, welcome in.
Timothy.
I am Timmy, 1T.
Nothing? Okay.
All right,
Well,
let's bring up Yaya.
Yeah. Coming back when you get the opportunity.
Yaya, how's it going? Oh, he's not here yet.
How you doing, Yaya? Yeah, your microphone is muted right now, Yaya.
No, we couldn't hear you, Timmy.
There you go. Now we got your microphone unmuted. How you doing, Yaya? Yaya?
Is this an us problem?
Yeah, your microphone's not selected properly, by the way. Your microphone is your hardware device inside of your computer. You selected the wrong piece of hardware when you came into the room, Yaya. That's not a microphone. We can try a default microphone. Try that. I'm going to refresh it. See if this works. Yaya, are you with us? No? Okay. Well.
He's been waiting so patiently, too. We
Oh,
can hear
we
you.
got something now.
Welcome.
It said default. I switched to the like the one that said the actual mic name. Now it's working.
Yeah.
Great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Welcome in. Are you at least 18, and do you believe in some kind of a God?
Yes, I'm above 18, and yes, I do believe in some kind of God. I'm from a Muslim background. I believe in a lot of what the Muslim religion says, but not everything, most of it. So you could say I'm still a Muslim, but I don't like calling myself that because I think it's unfair to the label itself. But yeah, I asked on the chat if you guys wanted to discuss the trans argument, if that's okay.
Which one? No, we want an argument for God's existence.
Yeah, it's still an argument for God's existence, but it's sort of a counter argument because you guys mentioned like there was someone being transphobic, and you guys, you were against him. So I thought maybe I could talk about that as a point.
No.
If you have an argument for God, present the argument for God. Yeah. Okay, then present the argument.
So this does this, and to be clear, at the end of this, you will have established like God's existence, or like a reason to think that he exists.
It's sort of when someone it's sort of pointing out a contradiction, and therefore you guys are giving having an unfair belief towards God's existence because you have this contradiction.
To be clear, the trans topic doesn't affect atheism at all for any of us.
I'm just asking if you guys are comfortable talking about this.
You should just give the argument. It'll be fine.
So you guys think that anyone can identify as what they believe they are, right? In terms of gender.
Wait, does this have anything to do with God?
It will.
Yes, it will.
Wait, why not? So yeah, just present an argument rather than asking questions. Just present an argument.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. If anyone can identify as what they believe in, and therefore they are that, why can't someone believe in a God's existence and then God therefore exists?
So that's a question again. That's not an argument.
That's also not our position. We don't believe you just become anything you believe you are. That's a crazy straw man.
Yep. Well, so I guess there's like two problems with this. The first is that people who are pro-trans, the three people here, we think that people can identify as a wide range of genders. We don't think that you can identify as something that's not a gender. Like you can't identify as like a PhD holder and then you become a PhD holder. The criteria for being a specific gender is going to be different from the criteria for being like a long range of categories. And to be clear, religion is actually a great example of a self-identification category.
Yeah.
Anyone can self-identify as any religion. You can call yourself Christian just by believing that like Christ exists. You can call yourself Muslim, or that he's like the Son of God, etc. That like you can call yourself Muslim and think that like Islam is true. That's like a great example of a self-identification category, but it does not make the belief itself true because that relies on specific metaphysical claims and historical claims about the existence of specific things as opposed to like a social identity.
Okay, well, you guys are arguing this from a point of view of someone who already agrees with these things. So, for example, well, I asked about the
You're giving an
translinguism.
internal critique, to be clear.
Yeah, I know. And what I'm trying to get to is you have to, when you argue God's existence, you have to look from the point of view of someone who believes in God. The same way you do when someone says, "Oh, I believe I'm this." And
What
you
you're
just
talking
mentioned
about is making an internal critique, and we do that all the time.
You're
Okay.
internally critiquing our view, so you're working within our worldview and attempting to derive a contradiction within our worldview.
What's the problem with that?
Because you're saying that we need to, you're complaining about the fact that you're working in our worldview, that the responses that I'm giving are from my worldview. You're working in the worldview by giving an internal critique.
Okay, well, isn't the point of that by the end is that it's the same from the other worldview as well that you're trying to argue against,
Which one?
which is that God exists?
I'm sorry, say the sentence again.
Isn't the goal of that, of critiquing an internal point of view, is to, by the end of it, draw a similarity between that point of view and the other point of view, and then critique that?
No, the point of an internal critique is to derive a contradiction.
Well, that's not my point. My point is the contradiction is an issue. So to solve it, you have to argue in this specific way that you're not doing.
But
So-
you haven't derived a contradiction. There's no contradiction in being an atheist and then
Well, you know,
also
doesn't give me a
holding the
chance,
view
right?
that trans people exist
Yeah.
and are the identity that they claim to be.
Okay, you guys didn't give me a chance. So I heard what he explained about this. This is the reason why I asked you in the beginning what your views are on the trans issue, because I'm not sure what exactly you think. Some people think that because someone
The view. Just to be clear, the view is not that anybody can identify as anything.
Mm-hmm.
That is not the
Okay,
view.
not anything. I'm not just saying anything. Let's be specific to the trans issue.
People can
because-
identify as genders.
Yeah, what's the distinction between a gender? I mean, I know I just want to establish things. What's the distinction between identifying a gender and identifying as being a woman or a man? In
That's
sex.
what a type. Those are
That's-
types of genders.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm asking about the words man and woman in the biology.
Those are genders. Those
Okay,
are
so you
not.
guys-
In biology, you mean sexes?
Yeah. Are you asking about like what it means to be like male or female?
Wait. So
Yes,
look. This is
do you not
this isn't
think-
even relevant. Yeah. This isn't even relevant,
Yeah.
and we're not
I
here to
agree.
platform your transphobia. Rather, Yaya, the point
What's
is
the
that
transphobia
you're
like?
making a category error. Your original argument, wasn't even an argument. It was just a question. Is, well, if you allow people to identify as man or woman, then
Yeah.
shouldn't you allow people to identify as God existing? And
No,
that
that wasn't
that's
the
not
question.
even relevant. It's a category error, and it's not even a logically sound argument or a logically valid
Guys,
argument.
that wasn't my question. That wasn't my question. I'm
Okay,
saying.
so
you
then what
guys-
was your question? What's
you
the
guys
analogy that you're drawing?
argue against God's existence, but you don't do the same critique towards the trans thing, where someone believes they are.
You,
That's because
you
they're in
believe some
different
things and you
categories.
disbelieve other things. What an
They're in
obvious
different
contradiction.
categories.
But guys, you can't say. So someone who says I'm a woman, you can't prove that he's a woman the same way you can also not prove that God
Sure.
exists.
They're in different categories of things. They require different levels of justification in order to prove that prove that the claims are true.
Yeah.
One claim is that the God claim is that there exists a divine being that exists objectively outside of the human mind, independently of the universe. That's a separate kind of claim than the claim that I have the social experiences and I have the brain states and yada 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 associated with such and such a gender. These are different categories of claims. You're
You
making
guys
a
are
category error.
Okay, you're distinguishing a brain state from someone that actually exists. Doesn't
Well,
a
you
brain
missed all
state-
of the other features, but my point is that you're making a category error. One question is a question of whether something exists independent of the human mind. The other question is a question about something that exists purely dependent on the human mind.
You guys not think that what someone saying I'm a woman it exists independent of that person's mind?
Of course it doesn't exist independently of the human mind, because they are a human mind that is having those ideas and having that identity.
Yeah, it's a social
Having the
category.
identity requires the human mind.
If someone comes up and says I am God, does that exist independent?
That's not a
of-
gender.
No, because God is a mind that created the universe, and they're not a
What-
mind
what's-
that created the
I just want to
universe.
understand what gender means in this case. Why is gender why saying
You want a
I'm
definition?
woman?
Gender- of the word?
Gender categories are the normative linkage between various gendered attributes, various gendered behaviors, and then also various like sex characteristics. It's like a normative linkage of like what this category ought be, or like what it's expected to be.
Okay, you guys still are attributing it to something that's real. You're talking about behavior.
It's a social structure.
Yes,
Normative
it's
is
real.
not something objective.
Okay, these things are real, guys. They're not like abstract or
It's real in the sense of like social identities are real. It's like
real
real in the
that
sense of like
money's real.
yeah, like being like a Baltimore Ravens fan is real.
okay. I think I misunderstood what your point is about trans people, which is why I asked in the beginning, just to clear this out. But that's fine. Can we switch to?
No, because you brought us to this topic. I'm not moving on until I at least reduce your position to absurdity. What do you take a woman to be?
I actually don't think that a woman can be saying a woman is a gender. You can't call gender.
Do you think that's an answer to my question?
No, not yet.
Yeah, okay. What do you think a woman is?
A woman is a adult human female.
Yeah, sure. If I found you a half human, half Neanderthal, would that be half of a woman?
That's an exception. You guys can't.
So, okay, so your definition fell apart immediately, to be clear.
No, it didn't.
Would this be, how much would this be? How much of a woman would a half human, half Neanderthal hybrid be?
A person who says I'm a woman, as in their gender.
Just
is a
answer the
woman,
question. Stop dodging.
I'm not dodging.
How much of a woman would this person be?
I don't know. It's up to like whatever the
No
norm
idea.
is at that point. Because this no idea, because I've never.
Wait,
no
did you
one-
just say that it's up to the women at the time?
No, up to the norm of what a woman is.
Wait, did you just say that it's a norm? That being a woman is a norm?
Based
Yes,
trans allyship?
In that situation, you would define
Love,
that person.
love me some trans
based on the
allies.
norm.
Yeah, okay,
And I
cool.
thought you
Now
were gonna come
that
up here being transphobic.
Guys,
now that we've established your trans allyship.
I'm not
Yeah.
trans anyway.
I mean,
Now
now
that
that,
we've
you're
es-
pro-trans,
Yeah, go
you've just defeated your own argument. So, did you
Guys,
have a
I'm not
different
arguing
argument?
against trans people. I'm not arguing against trans people. That's
What
not
makes
my
a man a
argument.
man?
Again, there is a set definition. A man. The word "man" refers to a adult human male. So
Wait, is
Okay,
Superman
what-
a man?
What's a male? Yeah.
he is.
Oh,
He's
wait,
not
but is he
human.
human?
He's not a human, but then again, you're using the word in an outside of context or within a
Is
different
God
context.
is God male or female?
God doesn't have a gender or a sex,
So why do you call him he?
because I mean, in my religion, that's how things came up to, and in our language, you say he to something that's genderless, even if like you still say.
Wait, so he refers to genders?
You could sometimes do that. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, genderless things, not gender, but genderless things. You can still refer to genderless things as he.
Can you also refer to gendered things as he?
I mean, you don't in our society. You don't refer to things by he based on the gender. You refer people as he when they're a specific gender. You refer to them as
So,
he because they're specific.
If I referred to Allah as a she and a her, that'd be okay.
No, because in this case you're specifying the gender of God. Because
But God
it's not
doesn't have a gender.
Huwa, the word huwa in Arabic is a genderless term when you use it in that context.
Right. But if God doesn't have a gender, I could just pick which pronoun I want to use. Why can't I call God a she?
Because you're using a different language at that point.
I'm using English.
Let's talk about Arabic. because
English
that's my-
doesn't have a default pronoun for God, by the way. So why can't I call
yeah.
God a she?
That's also translated from a different language in Christianity.
But again, I'm talking in English. Is there anything wrong with me calling Allah a she?
Yes, there is.
What?
In
What's
your
wrong with it?
language? In your language?
Yeah, in English. Why is that wrong?
In English? I think that's fine. I think that's fine if you're not really thinking of God as a woman.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Are we
tell us about your
satisfied?
God. Why is she real?
And W Allah the goddess.
Why are they real? Actually,
Okay.
I'm sorry. I prefer to use Zer pronouns
Yeah.
for God. So why is Z
Yeah,
real?
If you're talking to me as a Muslim, if you're speaking to me as a Muslim now, trying to offend me in some way, it doesn't.
We're not trying to offend you. We're just trying to get the defense of Zer existence.
Why are you using an uncommon term then? Uncommon.
Because you
Well,
said
we're
any-
using English, so anything's
Yeah.
fine, right?
What's the purpose of you using an uncommon pronoun in this case?
You said we could.
Okay, that doesn't mean you should.
Oh. Why not?
I mean, all things considered, the only people I know who use Zer, this is a good point from Effie, by the way. The only people I know who use Zer are non-binary, which is what God would be. God would be non-binary, right?
You guys are different, talking from a different language that God never revealed Himself in the Abrahamic religions. That's really a whole different thing.
So
You-
we should. Do we need to like switch over to Arabic to continue this conversation?
It's like an alien civilization visits Earth, and then it's like, in our language, there's this and this and this. What's your God in our language? And then they're like, God is a genderless thing. And then you're like, okay, so we'll call him our genderless thing. Okay, and then what? What's the point?
Well, wait. We're just trying to get the defense of Zer existence.
Okay, so you still want to focus on the trans thing in this case, or do you
No.
want to-
No, we
I'm asking
want
you
an
for-
argument for Zer existence.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so the argument for God's existence is that I think I also reiterate Tarek's point is that you still have to end up at a fundamental thing that wills.
Yeah, and how's that
everything.
God? How's that God?
What do you mean? How's that God? That's the definition. Of
How does the
God.
fundamental thing that you end up at God?
What? Say that again.
How is the fundamental thing that you end up at God? Why can't it just be a wave function?
Okay, it can be a wave function, but still you're not 100% sure that the wave function is the fundamental thing. I mean, you said you believe in that. That's
No.
really-
Why can't the wave function be the fundamental thing? Is there a logical problem there? This isn't a no. Maybe it is. This is a why can't it actually be?
No. Okay, why can't it be?
Yeah.
It can be, I guess, but
Oh, cool.
Well, then it seems like your argument has a hole.
So to be clear, it's possible that it isn't God. So then,
no one understands no one has seen a wave function. No one can test the wave function.
Have you
well,
seen-
we test wave functions all the time.
No, you test the observation out of a wave function. You can't really observe the wave.
have you seen a 10 other than Dr. Blitz?
The what?
Ayo.
Dr. Blitz
Have
is
you,
the
have you ever seen the
Have you
number
seen a
10?
timepiece? Sorry, I mean a 10.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen the number 10. Where you
You've seen the number 10? You've seen a 10?
Oh, the concept of 10. I haven't seen a concept of 10. No.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you don't need to see the wave function for it to be real.
I'm not
Wait, have
saying
you
the
ever
wave
seen
function
God?
doesn't- Guys, I never said that the wave function doesn't exist. I just said you can't test it. You can't know its properties. You can't.
Yeah,
know
you're
Wait,
just
can you-
vaguely
can you-
gesturing at its non-existence.
Can you test or know God's
No, I'm not.
know God's properties?
The same way you asked me, can you see a 10? You're testing its existence. Are you testing the existence of the 10?
Wait. Can you see God? Can you test God's existence?
No, you can't really test God's
Okay,
existence.
so then you don't have a symmetry breaker for the objection that you raised. So what's the next objection for why it can't be the wave function?
You cannot test God's existence, as in you can't prove God's existence, but you can still argue or arrive at the logical conclusion that God exists. You
Yeah,
can't really-
okay, do it. Then arrive
Yeah.
at the logical conclusion. Do it.
Yes,
We're waiting.
again, you guys took me out of that argument. So I said there has to be something that's fundamental. That
Yeah, and we said,
proves-
okay,
Yeah, we
could that
agree.
fundamental thing not be God?
What? Can you say
Could that fundamental thing not be God?
Yes, because you can only in the case that it doesn't turn out to be fundamental.
Wait a minute. So,
Do you
what's
think a
the-
fundamental
what's
thing can be non-fundamental?
the- Yes, of course.
Again, you're asserting that the
Yeah,
wave
you're
function is the
confused.
most fundamental thing.
You're confused. What is the argument that the only fundamental thing can be a God?
because
Oops.
if it's not fundamental,
No.
then its
We agree.
constituents
We grant for the sake of argument that you can have a fundamental thing. What's the argument that the only kinds of fundamental things that exist are gods?
What's God to you?
A mind that
Oh.
created the universe.
Can we
And
instead
maybe a
of
whole bunch of
using
extra
the word
features, but
mind-
that's bare minimum.
okay. Can we, instead of using the word mind, can we use an existence just like directly?
No,
Why?
because it specifically refers to a mind. That's
Does
what
Allah
God
have a
refers to
will?
an entity.
Do you mean more accurately will? Is that the point of contention?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. Will
typically-
is acceptable. Yeah.
Yeah, you could say
Okay.
a will that created the universe. That's fine too.
Okay. Do we know what will is?
A desire towards an
Yeah.
end.
Yeah.
Yeah, as in free will. Like if something has a free will, like God, we assume that God has free will. What is that?
It's a desire towards an end.
Wait. So do you have any evidence that this sort of thing needs to be the fundamental thing?
Or that a fundamental thing needs to be this kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's
It's
the
wrong
direction.
question. Wrong question, because we're not dealing with things that are like physical that you can find evidence.
Yeah. We're dealing with things that are metaphysical. Yeah.
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 So
The
the
argument
way
that you
you're
presented, even if we grant the contingency argument, the argument that the contingency argument gets you to there exists some necessary thing. Now, the burden is on you to show that that necessary thing must be a god, meaning some entity with a will that perhaps created the universe or something like that. It's not enough just to say that there exists a necessary being, because, or a necessary thing. You have to go a step further.
Can you call whatever a wave function does will?
No.
No.
Why can't you?
Wave functions don't have desires.
They don't have ends. They're not like working
Well,
towards something. They're not trying to bring something about. They don't have like intentionality. They don't have any of that.
But they will things into existence.
No, they don't.
No, they don't. They don't actually bring anything into existence.
Wait, isn't that what you believe? Isn't that what you just said that you believe?
No, they ground existence itself. They don't bring anything into existence. So everything that exists is a part of the wave function.
Okay, I guess the difference between what we both think of God is that
Look, if you think that God is the wave function, wait. So yeah. Do you think that it's compatible to say that the wave function is God, in like the sense that it like has a will and creates the universe or something?
Okay, so I'm gonna say yes, but I'm only saying that because I live in the modern era where people know that there's a wave function, and that's like the pinnacle of science at this time. So you could
Oh,
say
we're doing
yes.
this again.
Yeah, I
Look,
mean,
so
yes.
so if that's the case, then that still makes Islam false.
Why?
Wave functions can't talk to angels, right? Wave functions don't have wills. Wave functions don't create miracles. These are not things that wave functions do.
Can I just say that you guys are really like very confident in what you're talking about, as in
Wave functions are very specific things.
Yeah.
They are very specific, perfectly
Yeah,
well-defined mathematical
have we-
objects.
Have we solved physics? Like, is the universe?
No, a wave function is mathematical. It's not
Yes.
physics. A wave function is a mathematical object that has a very strict definition. It is an element of a Hilbert space.
We're talking about the physical world. You're not mathematical.
No, we're talking about a mathematical object here. Under the
But
wave
that-
function
that
monist view, the mathematical
things-
object is
Yeah, that means physical things
foundational, and the physical arises as a result.
So physics, like everything physical, is grounded in an abstract mathematical thing, which is the wave function.
That's the view. Yes.
But then that wave function doesn't exist in a sense.
It
What?
does. It exists abstractly as a mathematical
Why would it
object in
not
this view.
exist? How does that
Because
follow?
it's not physical. And by the way,
So
when
the
you say
physical emerges out of it.
Wait,
The
yeah. Do you think that only physical things exist?
it depends on the definition of exist, but yeah, I mean, I guess you could say that.
So God
When you
doesn't
say
exist because God's not
something
physical.
is
Got it.
abstract, What?
So God doesn't exist because he's not physical.
Again, that's why I asked you, what's the extent of your understanding of physics? Because at this point, you're like very you're more than confident in the fact that you're at the end of discoveries in physics, and and theories about physics, as in like where the wave function comes in, you're
It's a
confident that this is
metaphysical view. It's not a physical theory. It's a metaphysical view.
It's a theory that explains physical
No, it's a
things.
metaphysical view. Wave function modalism is a metaphysical view. Now, it's compatible with quantum mechanics. And so the metaphysical view takes the view that quantum mechanics is actually true, but this is a metaphysical view.
Okay, so when you said you believe that the wave function is God, you believe that the wave function is something
Didn't
that's
say that.
abstractly
We don't
defined
believe that the
by...
wave function is God.
You don't believe
We
that
don't
it's
think God exists.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you believe that's the most fundamental thing that you can really break down into something?
Under the wave function modalism view, yes, that is the view.
Okay, so can we just call it God for the sake of things?
No. God's a mind that created the universe. The wave function isn't a mind.
Nor did it
will
create
the
anything.
Yeah. It doesn't stand in causal relation to anything. Abstract objects don't cause things. They can be the ground of things, but they don't cause things.
So you're saying that the abstract thing that's the wave function is a concept that due to that concept, you guys see things around because that concept is there.
I would reject concept if by concept you mean something mind dependent.
No, I don't mean mind.
Okay. And then what's your question?
Not question. My argument is that it's not actually the wave function that is fundamental. What's fundamental is concepts that make sense. Again, independent of mind.
No, it's the wave function. The wave function is the fundamental thing.
Can you break down the wave function into something less or smaller?
I'm not sure what that's asking.
Doesn't the wave function exist in multiple fields?
The wave function is a vector in Hilbert space.
Doesn't the Hilbert again, remind me, I don't remember. Does the Hilbert space have an infinite dimension?
That's a matter of debate.
Okay. If it doesn't have infinite do you believe what do you believe?
I don't know. I don't take a stance on it. That depends on quantization, I believe.
Okay. If it's finite, do you not think that it can then be broken down into those dimensions?
Do you think like the number like 42? It depends what you mean by broken down. Do you think the number like 42 can be broken down?
You can break it down in terms of not like 1, 2, 3, 4. There's like 42 things. You can break it down in the sense of a concept. Like you could say, this is a like a dimension in a dimension in a vector or a dimension in specific algebra, something like that.
Just to be clear, under the wave function monist view, you don't require that the wave function is fundamentally simple. The wave function monist view is a Platonist view, which takes the view that all mathematical objects exist, even those mathematical objects that are compositions of other mathematical objects. So it's entirely consistent with the view to have a mathematical object, the wave function, which is composed of other simpler mathematical objects. Now, in this case, a vector in a Hilbert space is not composed of simpler objects. It's just an element of a set. But there wouldn't be an issue even if it was composed of simpler things.
So wave function is sort of a misnomer. It's more of a like, I believe in everything mathematically.
What?
Right? When you call yourself a
wave function monist?
Yeah, it's sort of a misnomer because we're talking about a wave function when what you actually mean is.
Well, a wave function is a mathematical object.
Yeah.
And the way that you get to one of the ways that you can get to mathematical objects existing is by doing Platonism. Right?
Yeah. Okay. So it just comes down.
So there's just no issue. There's no issue with the wave function being composite.
Yeah.
It's not in this case. It's an element of a set. But
I think
it's not. But there's no issue there.
Yeah, I think we're getting to a common point here where you don't really believe in this one thing that you're saying. The wave function. You believe in something more fundamental, which I also.
To be clear, I'm actually a nominalist. I don't think the wave function as a mathematical object exists at all. I know,
but you guys explained that you hate it.
Yeah, sure. But in my view, it's going to be the case that anything. I'm not really sure what it means for the wave function to be composed of things. But if whatever definition you want to use of composition, I'm going to hold that every single aspect or any way that you would like to decompose the wave function, I'm going to hold that all of these things have necessary existence.
I think to the extent of our cognition, you can't really what you would think is fundamental by the end of it is that you don't really need to define other things to understand what that thing is. As a human.
Oh, so you don't need to define any of God's properties to understand. So God is like propertyless?
No.
So that's true on your view too. So God isn't the fundamental thing.
Yes, God is the fundamental thing.
You just contradicted yourself. You said the fundamental thing wouldn't need to be defined any further.
No, defined by other things.
Sure. Is God defined by other things?
No.
Oh, what's the definition of God?
It's whatever you logically arrive at.
Okay, so 2 plus 2 is 4. Is that something you logically arrive at?
Yes.
Okay, is 2 plus 2 equals 4 God?
It's a part of God, yeah.
Wait, so God is composed. He has parts.
No, God is not.
You just said that it's a part of God. Oh no, you just contradicted yourself.
God is the logic that you use to arrive at this result.
So,
which is again, yeah.
Did you or did you not say that 2 plus 2 equals 4 is a part of God?
I think I misspoke when I said part, but I think it is like, yeah. The logic that you used is God. So if God didn't exist, then you wouldn't even be able to make sense of.
Is God love?
What the number is, and then add it, and then get a result.
Is God love?
I'm not Christian, so no.
Okay, is God all powerful?
What?
Is God all powerful?
You will logically arrive at that, yeah.
Okay, is logic identical to all powerful?
Yes. Because you can't really have anything to do logic.
I take that as a reductio to the view. I think that's an absurdity. Is all knowing identical to all powerful?
Yes.
I take that as an absurdity.
Why?
Because these are two different concepts. Having the power to do something is different from knowing how to. I could sit down and listen to like a deep seminar on how to beat Mike Tyson in a fight. Somebody could teach me every single fact I would ever need to know about how to beat Mike Tyson in a fight, the exact routines I need to use, all of that. And then I just wouldn't have the power to. So knowing how to do something or knowing a set of facts is not the same thing as having the power to do something.
I think you're looking from a constricted point of view. Like when you say I know things, that means you also know how to do them.
That's not necessarily. Okay, so sure, but that doesn't necessarily guarantee that you have the power to. So, for example, you could give like an advanced explanation on like how to make like a Dyson sphere, like a big space object that orbits the sun and gets energy from the sun. You could do all of that. You could know that perfect in depth and just not have the power to.
Listen, if some like stage 10 level civilization came to you and said, here's everything, like here's how to do everything in the world, like in the universe and outside the universe, and then you come out and say, oh, I can't do that because I don't have the power. How?
You just don't have the resources. Yeah.
You've been given the power.
Wait, you just don't have the. What if you just don't have the resources?
Again, that means you don't know.
Sorry. Wait. Okay. Do you think that there's like some set of facts? Let's say I have like a 14-year-old who doesn't have arms or legs. Is there any set of facts that I can give this 14-year-old that would allow him to beat Mike Tyson in a fight?
Sorry to interrupt. I was in the other room making coffee. I know how to make a nuke. It doesn't mean I have the power to do so.
No, you don't know how to do that.
He does. He's a physicist.
You don't know because you don't have the power. So
wait, but I want to talk about like the 14-year-old, no arms, no legs. Wait, is there any set of knowledge that you could give this 14-year-old that would allow him to beat Mike Tyson in a fight?
You are incapable of getting the
yes
knowledge
or no?
Because you are a physicist.
Yes or no?
So
no. So there's no set of knowledge. Okay. So, sorry. And do you take knowledge to be like a set of propositions? Knowledge is just something you tell people.
Knowledge is again, because you asked me in the beginning, do you think that logic is this and then?
What do you think knowledge is? Most philosophers take it to be a justified true belief.
Cut the belief, justified truth.
Justified truth.
Yeah.
What is okay? Wait, then nobody has knowledge.
I guess you could say everybody has knowledge in their own like context. That
No?
they can do things within
Wait,
their
a
own
justified
context.
truth isn't a thing that exists in a mind.
What?
Belief is the thing that bridges minds to propositions. If you take the belief part out, then nobody has knowledge, which means your definition is self-defeating. You can't possibly know that definition.
When you know something, you're like storing information.
Wait, do you know that definition?
That you just said?
The definition that you gave, justified truth, do you know that?
Justified what?
A justified truth, do you know that the definition of knowledge is justified truth?
I haven't heard that definition before, but when you...
It's
when
the one you
mentioned that-
gave.
Yeah. When you mentioned that, I said, yeah, it's better to say justified truth, not true belief.
But you would say that you know that?
Know what? Know the definition?
Yeah, that you know the definition,
Yeah.
but you don't believe it.
That question doesn't make sense after you said I know it, because it's...
Belief just
knowing
means
that
think
it's
is true.
That's irrelevant.
It is relevant. That's just
No.
what the word belief means. So you know something
I
without
believe
believing
it's
it.
relevant
That's a
to what-
contradiction. How
What
can
I
you know
believe-
something if it's not even in your head? You don't even think it's true. If you don't think
In
something's
my-
true, you
in my
can't know
process,
it, obviously.
In my personal finite, worldly process of arriving at that truth, it's irrelevant whether I think or like believe it or not, because I might be wrong.
Can somebody know something without thinking that it's true?
No.
Oh, okay, so then when you threw out belief, you actually were wrong to do that.
No, because your belief doesn't define its truth. You cannot think that
But
it's true.
in order
you
to
believe
hold knowledge,
it.
you need to believe it. You just agreed to that.
Agree to what?
That in order to hold knowledge, you need to think it's true.
That is you could say a flaw.
Of
Because
what?
you don't of us as human beings or of creation.
What? Huh?
Yeah,
We're just doing nonsense now.
Yeah. This
Yeah,
guy's like
I mean-
deeply confused about like philosophy 101.
I think he
you
got
said,
lost.
You said that you guys are still talking from the point of view of a human being that's limited.
So
again,
are you.
because-
You also have that point of view, by the way.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about here. That me and you and everyone discussing this is limited, and what we're discussing is something that's unlimited.
Except Doug.
Praise Doug.
Yeah.
Rock on.
I
Yeah, so,
don't
like-
understand what you guys
So
are
yeah,
not
yeah,
getting.
what you're just suggesting is like we're limited, we can't understand the unlimited, but you haven't established that the unlimited even exists yet. So like that's a nonsensical claim. And if you are establishing that the unlimited does exist, you've nullified your own argument because you've just said that we can't understand the unlimited, which means your argument for the unlimited fails.
That's
So-
a good point. It is self-defeating.
You guys
Yeah.
are not. You guys are not like understanding what I'm saying. I'm saying
We
that
certainly are. That's why the argument fails so hard.
I'm saying that knowledge is when you say something's all knowing is it's not comparable to a limited knowledge. It's like a different thing.
Nobody said that it's the same thing. It's like you
Well,
don't
when
like.
I say all knowing, you
So
kept
I think the
asking for
problem with these
information.
conversations so often is like I don't know if you actually listened to anything Ian said. You certainly didn't listen to anything anyone else said. So like it's hard for us to stay in these discussions for a long period of time when you don't actually address the points that are being raised. But we do appreciate you come up and spend some time with us. We've got about 4 more people in the queue that probably want to get in. They've been waiting for a while, so we're gonna keep the ball rolling and get to the next guest. Okay. All
That's fine.
right.
Thank you
cheers.
guys for having me.
And no thanks to you, bro came on doing transphobia.
Mm-hmm.
He tried.
We have some
He
super
tried.
chats, and then we can bring on Ace.
All right. From Lakuka says words do not equal words. Try solving that equation. That is the tried and true interpretive method of all believers is as long as you change the meaning of words, we can get to where we need to go. And Zach, thank you for the super chat, says, what is Dr. Blitz's plane hitting counter at for this stream so far? I've counted 4 thus far. Could have miscounted.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
so
not sure.
All of the planes, all of the towers have been hit.
I don't know how we ran like 2 in a row. Maybe he was just like stealing his talking points from the last one. I don't know. who you have to be to think you could be wrong is a good argument.
He could be wrong about that argument. Joshua, thank you for the $5 super chat. Joshua says, I've heard that Christianity will undermine itself with instilling a value towards what's true. Has anyone else heard about this? Philippians 4:8. I don't exactly know the point that you're making, but I certainly can pull up Philippians 4, verse 8, which says, finally, brethren, whatever things are true, whatever are noble, whatever things are just, whatever things are pure, whatever things are lovely, whatever things are good, of good report, if there is any virtue, and if there is anything praiseworthy, meditate on these things. I mean, the callers are self-defeating because they haven't read the Bible. They haven't read Philippians. They don't have the fruit of the Holy Spirit. They don't know proper behavior according to Colossians 3:12 and 18. So, like, they themselves are self-defeating. But I guess I don't see how Christianity itself undermines itself by instilling good values towards what is true, unless you're just insisting that Christianity is not true, and then it becomes self-defeating. But then the verse doesn't have any meaning if Christianity is not true. So it is a really, the dog chases its tail there. But it's an interesting point, Joshua. El Travioso, thank you for the $10 super chat and great to see you today. It says, thank you for your donation. Thank you for your donation. And also, thank you for your second donation. It says, quantum mechanics hinted at in Hebrews 11:3 is important regarding the metaphysical substrate that's got to be worth 3 towers. LOL, love you guys. Not sure how you handle these word salad you guys get. I mean, word salad, there's no other way around it. That's usually what's happening, isn't it?
Yeah, of course.
Thank you, El Travioso. And Anna says, question answer. Free will does not exist. Example, hunger. You're influenced to eat because of hunger, not freely choosing. Agree, disagree, any something heart guys. It's an interesting point. I think Ian's have talked about free will and the connection to desire before. And that seems to be the case. We don't certainly have complete free will because there's so many limitations we have, and our subconscious mind is making so many of our decisions for us.
Yeah, I mean, it really just depends how you define. Some people will define free will as like you had the ability to do otherwise. I probably don't believe that because I think everything's necessary. Other people will define it as like you're like the uncaused cause of your actions. You're like the first mover of your actions. I think that's like super false. I think that's like extraordinarily false.
There are no first causes.
Yeah, and then some people will take it to be like you're like the proximate end, like your brain is the thing, like whoever you refers to, like whatever identity refers to, you caused your action. And I think that's true. You know, I think your brain produced the action. Your brain was caused to produce the action, and then it did. I agree with that definition. It's just that that's compatible with determinism, which would make you a compatibilist.
And last one from Dexter says, Peterson made a slow train wreck video already. Oh, of the prior caller free?
No, Peterson. Oh, wait.
Oh, I'm sorry. Not Planet Peterson, Jordan Peterson.
I have no idea.
Which Peterson? Now we've got a Peterson confusion.
Let's look into it.
You never want one of those. Oh, no. This is Planet Peterson has a slow-moving train wreck video posted 3 hours ago.
Oh, shit, I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it either.
Well, I think, is Ace our next guest?
Ace is our next guest.
All right, let's get Ace in here.
Then Chopstick, then Fanatic, Coptic. So stick
I think
around.
so,
yeah. Get to all of you.
Ace, how you doing?
I'm doing well, how are you?
Doing well, thanks for asking.
Okay.
Ace, are you at least 18, and do you believe in some kind of a god?
Yes to both.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Great.
And do you have an argument or an evidence?
So that is kind of what I'm going to go over. Obviously, since this is a debate, I'm not going to go on an anti-Semitic tirade or an anti-trans tirade.
We appreciate that.
Those don't pertain to the actual debate. And I would like to apologize on behalf of the people that did the anti-Semitic more than anything, because there was a whole lot of that.
It's okay.
More than you think.
Well, it's just, it hurts their case because they're coming on as Christians and to be a Christian, you have to respect the Jewish tradition.
Well, that's arguable,
It's
but
just-
yeah, sure, I appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well, you're supposed to. It's written to him. Christ was a Jew.
Yeah.
And so
I
if
do
you're
think that that's
anti-Semitic, you're
yeah.
anti-Christ.
Yeah, I do think that's like a hard
So-
one for anti-Semites to reconcile. But sure, yeah, you know, your like basic humanity has been noted and appreciated. Yeah, do you have any like reason to think that God exists or that Christianity is true?
So, number one, I don't think religion in itself is true because religion is a man-made construct. So I think coming from a specific religious standpoint is a fallacy of its own. Like
But
in
you
the
do
Bible,
believe in a particular religion. You believe in Christianity?
well, I believe in Christ. I don't believe in Christianity.
Hmm.
Christianity has been used to justify wars,
What's the
slavery.
what's the title for someone who believes in the teachings of Christianity?
Christian believes in Christianity. I believe in the
Yeah.
Bible, but not the
Okay.
way Christianity is taught.
Oh, but you do believe in the
okay, so you're just a heretic, but that's fine.
Yeah,
No.
fine.
So you're approaching this from a different standpoint. In the New Testament, Christ came to build a relationship with the Father, not to create a new religion, but to create a relationship with the Father. That was his whole point of coming.
Wait, Christ came for him to create a relationship with himself to the Father?
When you look at the actual Trinity and how the Trinity is broken down,
I
But
love
The actual
regardless-
Trinity is not in the Bible, though, right? That's
when
church
you
tradition.
view it, so it is in certain sects and it is not in other sects.
Is
It's
God a,
a heavily debated thing, and the Trinity is not what we're debating.
are you a Trinitarian?
I just believe in Christ and God.
I
and
mean, it's
try to
okay if
follow
you're
the
not.
teachings of Christ.
I'm just curious.
I just want to follow the teachings of Christ. That is my only basis.
Fair enough.
I'm not
Okay,
going
so-
further than that or less than that, because that was the whole point of his mission here, was to try and help people live a better life and create a relationship with God. And that is
Yeah.
my belief.
Yeah. So how come Jesus said things that are like demonstrably untrue in the Bible? Do we follow that?
Can you give me an example of one of those?
Sure. Yeah.
I'm
In
sure you have a list. I'm sure you have a list. I just want one.
Yeah, Matthew 23, he gets the wrong Zechariah that gets martyred. He refers to Zechariah, the son of Berechoah, and it's actually the wrong Zechariah. If you go back to the death of Zechariah in 2 Kings, it's actually Zechariah, the son of Jehoiada.
And so, with that statement, what does that have to do with how you should live and creating a relationship with the Father?
Well, see, I'm actually curious. I bring that up because I'm trying to figure out what kind of Christian you are. Are you the kind of Christian that
again,
believes
I'm
that
not
the
a
Bible is 100% true or partially true?
I believe in the teachings of Christ.
Okay, so if the
Which
Bible
ones?
says something about reality, should we trust it?
So we're on different things right now because you have the teachings of Christ versus talking about reality. I'm talking about the
But which
teachings of
teachings?
Christ.
Which teachings?
The teachings of how you should live your life, the things that you
Well,
should
so
do.
so
the
do you
things
believe
that
that
shouldn't
everything
do.
that Jesus said was true? Do you believe that everything that Jesus says was true?
I believe that all of his teachings on how you're supposed to live your life are true.
So, but you're fine with there having been false things that he said, as long as they're not related to how you should live your life?
I'm just speaking specifically about his teachings of living life.
Right, so I was asking
thing is, with
specifically
the
about the
Bible,
other
there-
kinds of things that he said, right? Because Jesus wasn't only talking about how you should live your life. He said a bunch of things. Are you fine, are you totally content with the possibility of the other things him saying? The other things
I
that
am
he
fine
said
with
being
the
false?
possibility that we also have the potential for mistranslations because of how many languages were used.
How many
I'm
languages
fine
were
with-
used?
Well, there's been different translations.
why can't
over
you just
time.
answer the
We've
question?
used Arabic, we've used Greek. I'm trying to answer the question.
Well, no, you veered off into mistranslations. Is it possible
be-
that the so
That's-
look,
it
Ace,
ties into what you're asking.
suppose
ties
that
into
Jesus
what
was
you're
real.
asking.
We all grant that Jesus was real. Suppose that Jesus was real, and there are things that he said. Now, there are things that he said. I'm talking about like the actual things he said, not like what's recorded as what he said. The actual things that he said. Suppose Some of them are about how you should live your life, sure. Some of them were just not about that. Is it possible that the actual things he said that were not about how you should live your life could be false? Is that possible?
Assuming what we are reading is the accurate translation.
No, I'm not talking about what we're reading. I'm talking about what he actually said. Like, if you could go back in time and just listen to Jesus, some of the things that he would say would be about how to live your life. You're saying that all of those are true. Some of the things that he would say wouldn't be about that. Are you okay with, is it possible in your view that you go back in time, you listen to Jesus, and then he starts talking about like Adam and Eve, and you're just like, yeah, that's just not true. Is that a possibility in your view?
So I would have to hear it firsthand, obviously, because of what I'm talking about with the translation. So if I'm there firsthand, like you're saying,
the translation has nothing to do with it. Did you hear his analogy at all?
That's what I'm trying to
If you could know exactly what he said, is it possible that he could be wrong about some of the other things?
I would have to know exactly what he said to be able to answer that question.
No, I'm just asking, is it possible that he could be wrong about any of the other things? Is it possible?
Anything is possible.
Okay, so it's possible that Jesus was wrong about some stuff, just as long as it wasn't about how to live your life.
Anything is possible. Anything at all.
Well,
so you agree it's possible that Jesus was wrong about some stuff, as long as it's not about how to live your life.
Or no.
Well, it's one of those things that it is possible, but I'll never know because I wasn't there.
Okay.
So wait, would you say like at that point, like Jesus would be wrong, or like the Bible would be wrong, or like what would be?
You were away, but the analogy is you go back in time and you listen to him with your own ears.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, if I could do that, then I would know exactly what was being said, and I could then address it at that point.
So if Jesus can be wrong about factual statements of reality, why would we trust him on how to live your life?
Well, we don't know that he was. We're only taking based on what we know currently. Well, it's the same thing that any scientist could be wrong. Why should we?
Scientists don't claim to be perfectly infallible with regards to how to live your life.
And I know they don't. I know they don't claim to be. I'm just saying that if they can be wrong, why should we believe it?
So,
we didn't conduct the test ourselves, and we weren't there for the test.
Well, because science isn't claiming to be God. Like, science isn't claiming to be an infallible source. Like, all the claims of science are contingent on not being proven wrong. Once they're proven wrong, they shift, right? Whereas God can't change. God can't lie. God can't be wrong, right? And so there's a huge difference. No one's putting science on the same pedestal as God. That being said, we're trying to figure out what you actually believe about Jesus, right? Because Jesus says a bunch of things. And for example, do you believe in your religion and what Jesus taught, right? Whatever you want to call yourself. Do you believe that you should or should not be getting married and having kids?
Well, I believe that you should be getting married to someone who is properly yoked in the spirit. And
okay, so it's better to be married.
Well, yes.
Why? Why would you believe that? Because Jesus taught the opposite in Matthew 19.
So, in terms of relationships, humans have actual relationship needs. I mean, you have
we'll try this again.
Hierarchy of needs.
We're talking about what Jesus taught. Follow along. Jesus said in Matthew 19, it's better to be a eunuch for the gospel. So Maslow's hierarchy of needs is useless. If we're supposed to live our lives based on Jesus' teaching, because that's the argument you're using, is that Jesus was not wrong about how to live your life. Well, if Jesus was not wrong about how to live your life, then in Matthew 19:12, we must take his advice that it's better to be a eunuch for the sake of the kingdom of heaven.
Well, I'm not trying to be a pastor or a preacher. I'm not trying to be an evangelical or any of that. I'm just going based on how to live my life. Again,
okay, so was Jesus wrong on that teaching?
It is better to be a eunuch if you're trying to be a pastor or a preacher, because all.
Oh no, he didn't say that. He didn't say anything about pastors or preachers.
I understand he didn't say that specifically.
He says, "Let anyone accept this who can." He's saying for anyone who can accept it, it is preferable for you to not get married, to be a eunuch.
Does it mean that you have to?
I never said anything about having to.
I know you didn't say that.
All right, so we're gonna back up. Okay, you said based on what you believe about Jesus, it's preferable for humans to get married and have families. I showed you what Jesus said. Jesus says the opposite. Jesus says it is better.
Is what I'm saying.
Jesus says it is better, more preferable for people to remain unmarried, to be eunuchs for the gospel, and this should be accepted by literally anybody who can do it, which means Jesus thinks it's more preferable to not get married, right? Which means what you believe about Jesus' teaching doesn't even line up with Jesus' teaching.
So again, that's for the gospel, right? That is what he's saying, is for the gospel, for the kingdom of heaven, for all of that. I'm saying for human nature. There are two separate things.
No,
They
Jesus
are.
didn't separate them.
I'm saying there are two separate things.
Jesus didn't separate them into two separate things. You are, because you don't like Jesus' teachings. Why do you hate Jesus' teaching?
It's not that I don't like Jesus' teaching. That's not what I'm saying. I'm looking at everything. His focus was specifically on the kingdom of heaven and separating humanity from what it takes to get to the kingdom of heaven, what's better for that. But what I am saying is that we still are humans and we still have a human nature, which means
Do you know
we
why
do-
Jesus said it was better to be a eunuch for the gospel? Do you know why he would say that? Because I do.
All right, well, you did go to seminary school and I didn't. So I would love to hear your response.
Because he's returning imminently, and there's no point in getting married and having families if he's about to come back and end the entire existence. Like in 1 Corinthians 7, Paul literally says that the current state of affairs is about to pass away. The whole world, the whole present world is about to crumble and pass away, just like 2 Peter says it's going to be consumed by fire and recreated. Jesus says in Revelation, I'm coming very soon. Hold on. So like, yeah, obviously Jesus and Paul are both going to be teaching, hey, don't get married. Don't do all this family planning. You don't need it. Jesus is about to come back and bring the kingdom on earth. And there's no doing the marriage in heaven, according to Jesus. Jesus says there's no marriage in heaven.
Yes, that's again separate thing from human nature. So
Okay,
we are
so-
still
so-
humans after all.
So
Well,
Jesus
but
gave
you
a
said-
clear teaching on what you should do, how you should behave. And he gave you the reason why that is the case. The whole Bible, the whole New Testament tells you why you shouldn't be getting married and having families, right? Which means I'm confused why you're coming up and saying that it is better to get married, which means Jesus' teaching must be wrong.
It's better to get married from a human nature perspective is the point that I'm still trying to make.
So Jesus
was
was
Jesus
wrong,
wrong
then.
about human nature?
Well, he's not saying anything about human nature. He's only talking about
He's giving
spirituality.
instructions on how you should live your life.
What would be better. He's not saying you have to.
Yeah, well,
He's just
that's what
saying it would be
instructions
better.
are. If you so the statement reads something like, if you want to live a better life, then you should do X. Right?
Okay. Do you use Google Maps?
Sure.
Okay. So you're getting instructions on how to get somewhere you've never driven before, and it gives you different routes, and it tells you which one would be better for you to take. Does that
Right,
mean
and
you
so-
cannot
so
still take the other routes?
The person, no, it's a great analogy. So in the example, I'm you, and I say to my friend before getting in the car, yeah, whatever Google Maps tells me to do, that's what I do. That's you. That's what you said when you came in this analogy. You said that, yeah, you just follow the teachings of Jesus. Well, follow the teachings of Jesus and don't get
There
married.
is a very big difference. He's saying something that would be better to do, not a claim of this is what you have to do.
Can you give me an example? Oh, wait a minute. So you don't follow Jesus' teachings. You only follow his commandments.
Which are his teachings. There are still things.
No,
that
I would
this would
I would
be
think
better.
saying something like it is better if you do X is a teaching. In fact,
Well, it is,
that's
but that
more of a
still doesn't
teaching than
mean
saying you must
that you
do
have
this.
to do that.
A teaching is saying, like, one would say that would be what like a life coach would teach, is they would tell you what to do if you want to achieve some goal, if you want to be a better person or whatever. That's like a type of teaching.
It is a type of teaching, yes. I'm not arguing
And you're not
that.
following that type of teaching. You're only following the type of teaching that's not teaching at all. It's just commandments.
Right, there are commandments and there are suggestions. They're two separate things.
Right, and the suggestions are teachings. Right, those are
Yes.
things like, if you want this, then do that. A commandment is a law. It's not a teaching. That's a law.
Yes, I'm not arguing that point.
So you don't follow his teachings, you follow his commandments.
I focus on his teachings, and most of the suggestions I do follow, not all of them.
Except the marriage one.
Especially because in Matthew 19:12, He's actually in response about divorce that the Pharisees were talking about. So it's not just don't get married. It's better not to get married than to get married and divorced. Because divorce
No, he
in the
didn't say
eyes of
that.
the Pharisees were questioning about divorce.
I know. You want me to read it for you?
You are free to read it, yes.
Yeah, because you're about to say something that's not true. So he says, there are eunuchs. This is when the disciples say, oh, it's better than nobody to get married then. And he says, for there are eunuchs who have been so from birth, and there are eunuchs who have been made eunuchs by others, and there are eunuchs who have been made themselves eunuchs for the sake of the kingdom of heaven. Let anyone accept this who can. So Jesus is saying it is better to be a eunuch for the sake of the kingdom of heaven. Let anyone who can accept it. Meaning, listen, he wants people to accept this thing.
If you can handle it, do it. Now, you could say, well, I'm just a weak human. I can't handle being a eunuch. But then it's just like, I guess you just don't want it enough.
Yeah, it sounds like you just don't want what Jesus wants.
The concept of not wanting it enough is a bit of a strange concept to throw in there, because we are weak as humans. No one even Jesus did not expect us to be perfect. He had no expectations of us being perfect because he was perfect. We need to
then why does he send people to eternal conscious torment in hell for not being perfect?
Well, that's not why he sends people to hell.
Oh, I'm sorry. Why do people go to hell?
So in the Old Testament, that would be why people were going to hell. Jesus.
Well, there's no hell in the Old
Testament. Doesn't mention hell at all.
Not a single mention of hell in the Old Testament.
I understand there's no mention of hell, but if you look at it from an actual analyzing standpoint, that would be why someone would go to hell in the Old Testament. Not saying the Old Testament.
You didn't actually give me the reason. I said, why does God send anyone to hell?
I'm trying to get to that point.
That would be, if what you're saying is true, then God is like the sickest, I don't know, like individual to ever exist, right? If you're sending people to eternal conscious torment for not being perfect, that's crazy.
And
it's literally the reductio. I'll make sure that you grasp this in a minute. Okay, so if I commit one sin and I die having not accepted Jesus, do I go to hell?
I don't think that it's so as cut and dry as that. I really don't. And I think
is it a yes or no, though?
It is. I think the teaching that it really is as cut and dry as that is a false teaching.
What does Jesus say? He says, no man comes to the Father except through me. So if I reject Jesus, I don't get to the Father.
But no one specifies when you die if you still are given that opportunity.
Well, the Bible certainly doesn't say anything about having an opportunity to repent. It says that you get judged.
Well, exactly. And the Bible does not discuss what happens at this judging. Are you standing in front of the judge?
It does.
You're pleading your case. Are you given an opportunity to repent in that moment?
It certainly does. In fact, Jesus in Matthew 19 gives a delightful parable about his second coming. And he says, those who did not want me to be king over them, bring them before me in my very presence and slaughter them.
That's metal.
So there is so much more from what I understand. Okay, this is my understanding, my interpretation of what I've read. All right, not the teachings of someone else or anything like that, or someone else's interpretation. But I firmly believe, even though it's not explicitly stated, that when we die and our spirit passes on, if you haven't accepted Jesus, you're still given that opportunity.
Then what's the point of Jesus dying?
So that we can have that opportunity.
But why does Jesus need to die at all?
As the sacrifice for our sins, because in the Old Testament, a sacrifice had to be made.
Why do we need a sacrifice for sins?
Because that was God's commandment.
No, but why?
Why would he do that?
Because that's what he commanded.
So God will send you to hell if you don't give him a sacrifice?
Also, does God do things arbitrarily? Does he do things for no reason?
Sure sounds that way.
He has a reason for the things that he does. Do I understand the reasons? Not most of the time, no.
Ace, I'm a little confused because you came in and said, well, I'm not really a Christian. I just follow Jesus' teachings. Then we figured out that you just follow the commandments and some of the suggestions. And now it just sounds like you're a regular Christian.
No, I'm definitely not. I was raised like a regular Christian. I was raised Methodist.
Sound like a regular Christian to me. So, I mean, we're still trying to figure out this whole hell thing. Like, I can't find a good reason for hell to exist at all. Why is God sending even a single human being to hell? Why?
So Hell, in my interpretation, is not some fiery place where people are being tortured for all eternity.
There's no
It's
fire
not.
in hell?
Now, the fiery pit at the end of Revelations, that's different.
No, that's the lake of fire. Are you suggesting there's no fire in hell?
Hell
It's actually
is to
quite
be
chilly. Bring a
separated from
sweater.
God.
You read
Concept
the
of hell
book?
is to be separated from God.
Have you read the book?
I have read the Bible.
What does Jesus say is in hell?
I don't remember off the top of my head. I haven't studied it in depth as you have.
Worms
You
that
went to
do
school
not
for it.
Mark 9. There are worms that don't die and fire that does not go out. Mark 9:48.
Jesus also spoke in parables and metaphors a lot. How
Oh,
do we know that
now
wasn't?
it's a metaphor. Yeah, hell is literal. The fire is a metaphor. I'm sure.
Well, how do we know that it's not? Because he did speak that way a
Why?
lot.
Why would I believe it that it's a metaphor?
The same reason you could believe that it's not a metaphor.
So you have to use context clues to understand if it's a metaphor or not. Like a metaphor, if I ate like a whole cake and I said I'm a hippo, like it's a metaphor. I'm not a fucking hippo. I'm just saying I'm fat because I ate a cake. That metaphors are easy to see. We know when we see a metaphor. When I say I'm at the campfire, that a campfire is not a metaphor. I'm not saying that it's just hot out here. A campfire is a real thing. Same thing with the fires of Gehenna or the fires of hell. This is a really well-known thing in Judaism. It's in the Apocrypha. It's in the Talmud. It's in the Dead Sea Scrolls. There is fire in hell. When Jesus refers to the fire of hell, all you need to do is read the literature where there's like the Dead Sea Scrolls literally describe people being burned and seared by the fire of hell. Like it's
And
weird
there's
that
a
you
large
would make that a
debate on the
metaphor.
validity of the Dead Sea Scrolls.
No,
a
there's
large debate
not.
on that.
No, there's not.
Well, there is because it's not considered canon, and it's
No one's
the
saying
Dead Sea
it. No
Scrolls
one's
have
saying
the
that it's
canon.
canon.
They have part of the canon, though, right?
Yeah. So the majority of the books of the Old Testament, minus like Esther, is found in the Dead Sea Scrolls. And no one's saying that it's canon. What we're saying is that Judaism didn't get invented in a vacuum. The Judaism that is presented in the New Testament didn't get made up out of whole cloth. We know where their teachings came from. And if you read the Apocrypha, which is actual canon, there's a lot of descriptions of hell. There's a bunch of them.
And with that, I mean, how many of those people actually went to hell other than giving a vision of hell?
Well, none of that's relevant. Like if the Bible says that hell has fire, you should just believe that hell has fire. When Lazarus and the rich man story, you remember Lazarus and the rich man?
Yes.
Yeah, the rich man goes to hell. Yeah. What happens?
And I understand all of that.
Well, hold on. That didn't answer the question. When Lazarus and in the story of Lazarus and the rich man, what is there? What happens?
I understand that there is fire.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you. It says, I beg you, Father, to send him to my father's house, for I have 5 brothers. They warn them so that they will not come to this place of torment. Abraham replied, they have Moses and the prophets. They should listen to them. He said, no, Father Abraham, if someone from the dead goes to them, they will repent. I'm sorry, where's the part about the fire? There we go. Yeah. Abraham says, child, remember that during your lifetime you received good things. Lazarus in like manner received evil things, but now he is comforted here and you are in agony. Besides all this, between you and us is a great chasm that has been fixed so that blah, 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 blah. Where's the fire? There's fire in here. Give me a second. The rich man hate. Okay. Yeah, he goes in Hades. Of course, there's Hades. There's fire and torment in Hades. There we go. 24. I don't know why I had to search for it so hard for it. It says, for I am in agony in these flames. Agony in flames. That's how the Bible depicts Hades and hell.
Yes, and I understand that's how it's depicted. I do still think, again, I'm not your stereotypical Christian, right? I look more into things and think differently about things.
So Jesus' parable was wrong then?
Well, again, he spoke in riddles. I mean, a lot of the Bible and oldest Jewish tradition was speaking in a lot of parables and riddles.
What does it
And,
mean
you
to
know,
be in agony in flames?
So here, let me give you an example. I live in Texas, and a couple of years ago, we had a scorching summer. I could step outside and say, I'm on fire. It felt like I was on fire, but I wasn't literally on fire.
What? No,
The sun was just that damn bad.
we'll try this again. Just pay attention to the passage. He called out, Father Abraham, have mercy on me and send Lazarus to dip the tip of his finger in water to cool my tongue, for I am in agony in these flames. The reason why he needs cooled down is because he's in flames. The reason why there's
my tongue. He's not saying
the
my
reason
body, my tongue.
the reason why Hades is hot is because it's full of fire.
He doesn't say his body is in flames. He asks to cool his tongue, not his body.
Because he is in agony in the flames.
Right. And can we say without a shadow of a doubt he's talking about physical flames?
Yeah, there's no good reason to interpret it otherwise. You can't just go to a passage and you're like, oh, I don't like what this means, therefore it's not literal. If that's the case, Jesus' resurrection wasn't literal.
Yeah, why would we think that God isn't just like a parable?
Well, you're allowed to think whatever you want.
Oh, well then the worldview is like self-defeating. Like the epistemology just defeats itself.
Well, again, I'm not a standard Christian, right?
You really sound like one, though. That's the weird part.
Well, if I sound that way, I wouldn't be arguing your points.
But you know there are Christians who say the exact same stuff you believe. Like not every Christian believes that there's hell and fire. They happen to be wrong. But like this is not you're not a unique person on this particular viewpoint. In modern times, Christians are doing a lot of bending over backwards to try to soften the idea of hell because they realize how heinous it is.
I'm not trying to soften anyone's beliefs. I'm just talking about what I personally believe. You know,
Sure. So why does God have to save us from hell? Whatever you think hell is, why does he have to save us from hell?
Well, because it would suck.
Yeah, but why is he sending us there?
Well, I don't know his reason because I'm not God.
You know, don't
I can't say that I understand the mind of God. I know what's written in the Bible, but maybe that's not actually what he thinks. I don't know. I'm not God.
So you don't know if God is sending people to hell or why?
Until I die, I'm not going to know for sure.
So the Bible's just not trustworthy.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that you need.
Does the Bible tell you why people go to hell?
It does. And
what's the Bible say?
Again, I think that these things need to be taken with a grain of salt. Okay,
the Bible should be taken with a grain of salt?
I'm from Texas, but I'm not a Bible thumper.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So just because I'm from the South and I believe in God and I believe in Jesus does not mean I'm a Bible thumper like the Southern Baptists. All right. I'm not going to go picketing at Planned Parenthood and stuff like that, like the Westboro Church.
Yes, but what we're trying to...
I have a different view.
We know you do, but what we're trying to figure out right now is why we would believe anything in your worldview. Because every time we kind of poke your worldview, it falls apart and you don't have an answer, right?
Well,
and so,
no,
like,
you're poking my view of the Bible in standard Christian belief.
But you said Jesus's teachings are all true.
But
every time we touch one, it turns out that like it just crumbles.
Or it's a suggestion.
Because there is a difference between command and suggestion, as you also pointed out, Dr. Blitz. You did cover that.
Well, right. That's a distinction that you made. Because you didn't want to accept one of the teachings.
On the fact that they are two different things.
My point is you like, I wouldn't. I mean, like, it's pretty evident what Jesus wants in all of these cases, and you wiggled your way into saying, oh well, some of them are just suggestions, which fine, but like it seems like every single time your view is poked, there's like some qualifier. Oh, it's not meant like that. Oh, it's just a parable. Oh, it's just a suggestion. Like You know that bit that was going around on TikTok where it's like this, where you're like dodging the thing, like you're dodging the stabs over. That's you. Yeah. That's you right now.
I'm not familiar with that TikTok.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
I don't spend a lot of time on TikTok.
Yeah.
You should. It's funny.
I thought about it, but I get bored of it pretty easily.
That's amazing.
Well, we have how many guests do we have to get through?
We have
like
two.
more
Well,
people.
there's 2 more guests that we should bring up. But Justin has a hard out in 20, so we should move on to at least chopsticks.
I think so. Ace,
Yeah.
thanks for coming by and sharing with us, though.
Yeah, if we don't get to you,
Yeah.
Fanatic, Coptic, you can come back next week. I'm also going live after this, so you can come on my stream if you'd like to.
And I might hop on
allegedly,
Ian's
Ian.
stream, so you'll at least get some of us.
All right, cheers.
All right, let's bring up chopsticks.
We're going to get our last super chat. We'll get chopsticks. SDG says, can you make t-shirts, pics, and quotes? I'm sure there's a way we can do that. We're having some internal discussions about how to grow our
Like what to do
brand.
next. Yeah.
But is this one of those things where, all 3 of us are pretty busy? So we just haven't we're getting there. I promise. I promise.
Listen,
All right,
if we get
chopstick.
economically liberated from our shackles, then we'll have lots more time.
Thank you so much for being
Work
here,
as the world
Chopstick.
unite.
Yeah. You have nothing to lose but your chains.
Chopstick, are you at least 18? And do you believe in some kind of a God?
Yes,
Sure. And which God do you believe in?
I'm a Christian.
Sure. And last question is, why?
What? Let me ask you something really quick.
Hmm.
You were a Christian before, right? And then you converted to atheist.
Hmm.
So
Nope.
what made you believe it in the first place?
My parents brought me to the fucking place. What am I supposed to say? My
Like most
parents told me
people-
it was
No,
true.
Yeah,
No,
like
but
most
people
people,
have brought
culture
you to church
and
it's-
programming. And then once you realize that the culture and programming isn't really a good reason to believe in the God, then you stop believing. So I think all
No,
3
but
of us have different reasons for not believing in God. So I don't know if it's helpful to go into all of our backstories. Because right now the topic of conversation is whether or not your God can be demonstrated or evidenced to be real. Whether or not you think I was ever a real Christian is entirely irrelevant to the discussion. So did you want to talk about whether or not your God is real, or did you want to do like a no true Scotsman and get kicked?
Well, first, it's not irrelevant because you were once Christian, so you believed in God at one point in time.
Okay, so
I
you
was never Christian.
But
So
I'm
you
not
don't want to give an
talking about you, I'm
argument.
talking about destruction first.
Yeah, destruction's
Yeah,
about
you
to
went to
happen
school
if you don't give an argument for God.
And then 2, you believe in God because he's supposed to. You don't believe in God because you believe he's supposed to be in a physical aspect.
Nope.
No.
Yes, you do.
Nope.
Because you earlier you said,
Nope.
"Oh, this cup of mine, I could say is God." Like, no, that's not how.
This
it
guy
works.
didn't listen to anything.
If God was physically observable, that would be sufficient for me to believe in him, but it's not necessary that he's that thing.
No, your
Yeah,
buddy,
agreed.
Doctor whatever, said this cup could be God. He was arguing with somebody, so he
Right, you
said
didn't
that.
understand the point that I was making, I guess, which is
Yeah.
fine. Like, I understand that it might be
But
advanced.
anyways, you said that though. But
Yeah,
anyways,
abstract concepts are hard.
Yeah, you said that though. But anyways, God
So
is not a
did
physical
you
presence.
did you have an argument for God or no? Because it sounds so far like the answer is no.
Yeah, that you're wrong about God. That's my point. That's what I'm
Yeah.
arguing.
So-
Have you
oh,
considered
fuck.
nuh-uh?
That was a really compelling one. I can feel the mind changing in my weak fucking brain. I hadn't considered.
I hope so. 'Cause
You're
keep
wrong.
interrupting me every time.
All
I
right,
get
let's
in
bring
the
on
story.
Fanatic Coptic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's get. Do we want to end with like
Sorry,
a real
Chopsticks. You wasted
Yeah.
your time and the audience's time. Come back when you have an argument. Let's get Fanatic.
Yeah.
Welcome in, Fanatic.
Hey guys, how are you guys doing?
one? Doing well.
Good, how are you?
Doing all right.
Oh, I'm doing very well, thank you.
Sorry to keep you
Fanatic,
waiting so
are
long.
you at least 18 and are you a Christian? Because I'm assuming you are.
Yes, I'm a Christian, and I'm well above 18. Yeah.
Mhm.
Cool. And do you think that there's evidence or an argument that would demonstrate the existence of the Christian God?
Yes.
Cool. Let's have it.
Okay, we can. because from the previous conversations I heard, you guys were accepting of a metaphysical foundation, right? That there's like this foundational being, an independent being, right? Then your concern was, why would that be God, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, what we can say about that is, if there's like a foundation or an independent being, then there is no infinite regress. If there is no infinite regress, there's going to be a beginning to the universe.
Wait, hold on.
No.
Quick question.
So you're describing what a foundation is. This is an ontology claim. Whether there's a beginning of the universe or not is compatible with a metaphysical foundation. So, for example, you could hold that like the laws of physics exist as like the metaphysical foundation, and then they've just always existed.
But I'm guessing that like, if there's a foundation or an independent being, then it's uncaused, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you would have an uncaused first cause, so you wouldn't have an infinite.
It wouldn't be a first cause.
It
It would be an
first.
uncaused foundation.
Yeah, so I mean, if there's an uncaused first cause, right, and there wouldn't
It's
be
not
an
a cause,
not
it's
first.
a foundation.
Oh, so you guys wouldn't say it's uncaused? You guys would still
No, it's
say
No, it's not.
uncaused. It's not a causer.
It doesn't cause things.
it doesn't. Oh, okay, but all right, but it's still gonna be an okay. So yeah, let's forget the word for causer, right? Like it's still gonna be uncaused, right?
Yeah, in that worldview, yeah.
Yeah, so if it's uncaused, right, and you take like the relational view of time, where time is just going to be a measure of change or causes, then it's going to be timeless, right? So it's going to be timeless space is immaterial, or it's going to be a supernatural.
Not
entity.
even close.
No, wait. So, well, I mean, first of all, if all we're holding is like the wave function, yeah, you might hold that time is a thing that emerges from the wave function, but the wave function isn't God.
Because I think like, okay, so you want to say like time wouldn't be fundamental, time is an emergent thing?
Yeah.
That's like very controversial, right? In quantum.
Oh, I don't care, right? Like it's controversial isn't a counter argument.
Okay.
Is it
That
really
can be-
controversial though? Because like I've read a lot of arguments on what time is, and it seems like there's a lot of disagreement on what time really is.
So it is controversial. That's exactly what it means. That there's a lot of disagreement, right?
Right,
It
right.
is controversial insofar as there's not some mainstream consensus, but yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
that
but
makes
then
more
I would
sense.
have a problem. Like it feels then the universe would be unintelligible. I don't understand what does it mean
Why?
to have a universe without
Why?
space, time, or matter.
Well, wait, you do. You have
No
all
one
those
said that.
things.
They're just
not-
emergent.
Yeah, they emerge.
So I mean, was there ever a? So if there's like this uncaused thing, right? And you take like the relation, if someone accepts like the relational view of time, right, where time is just going to be a set of a measure of causes, right, and you have this uncaused wave function, right?
Well, no, that's. I mean, if you're going to take the like this kind of wave function relation or this wave function description of the universe or this wave function foundation, then there is a notion of time that comes along with it, and that's a notion of time where time is kind of essentially what clocks do. Time is not something that passes. Time is not something that flows. It's a set of relationships between objects and clocks.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, and if you don't have that relationship, then you have a state of timelessness, right?
Sure.
And that's going to be so the wavelength at some like prior to the emergence of time, causally prior, or not causally, like logically
doesn't-
prior, or to emergence of time, it was in a state of changelessness and causelessness. There was like
Yeah, you would hold like the wave function is unchanging. Yeah.
okay, and logically prior to the emergence of time, there was no time, right? And so then how would you have a universe if there?
I don't
is
know
no
what you mean by logically prior in this
He
sense.
means like
and then saying-
ontologically prior.
Right, but the view is that there was always time, right?
Mhm.
Or
Oh, so time
perhaps
doesn't
the-
emerge then?
no, but there was always time because it emerges from a wave function that always existed.
Yeah, the emergence is not a temporal emergence. It's like a grounding relation emergence. Like the
In the same
table
way that-
emerges from like all the atoms that compose it,
Yeah, there you go.
but it's not like constantly emerging.
Oh, so you mean it's like explanatory prior, or until like this emergence has always existed, right? But
yeah, it's like an explanatory. It's like an explanatory relation. Yeah.
Priority for that. Yeah. Okay, yeah, but then at this point, right? If time has always existed, then you would have always had change, right? You would have always had causes, right?
That's to be clear. That's not the description of time that's given in this worldview. Time is not given in this worldview as the thing that describes change.
Okay.
But in terms of like all the stuff that's like temporal, yeah, all that stuff would have been changing.
Oh, but then you don't have an uncaused thing. Then you don't have an uncaused wavelength, because if
That thing isn't in time. Time emerges from that thing.
But even if it emerges, it has always existed, right? Like you guys were claiming. And if it always, okay, I'm not sure I fully grasp.
By the way, to be clear, you can actually have a finite past while also having a timeless wave function that gives rise to that finite universe.
Okay, yeah, we can. Then
finite.
we can go with
like it's compatible with both.
Okay, so you want to say that there's a, but then the wavelength would be something supernatural, right? If there's a finite past.
No, it's the same kind of thing. You have like a some sort of explanatory or foundational prior, where you have this four-dimensional or however many dimension four-dimensional space-time thing which emerges from the wave function in a non-temporal way.
Okay. I mean, all right. I guess we can move on from that, I guess. That wasn't like the first argument I wanted to argue for, but I just found you guys talking about it. I still don't fully grasp the view. Maybe there's like some quantum theories here that I'm not really fully aware of, right? When it comes to this emergence.
I mean, that's plausible, right? Like, this is all stuff that you don't learn in school. It's just like stuff you'd have to read up on. But yeah, I don't know. You could pick up a copy of Sean Carroll's Something Deeply Hidden to better understand the view.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. So that's Sean Carroll's view?
Yeah. Well, it's the view of a lot of people.
Well, it's akin to it. I don't know if he's actually stated that. I don't know if he's a wave function monist. I don't know if he's like a mathematical Platonist in like that regard. But he's definitely a wave function realist.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, that's cool. And if he takes the view that the wave function is not an abstract thing, then it's a concrete thing with causal powers, right? It's not going to be like
No, still no. So if he might take the view, and I just don't know. He might take the view that the wave function, that there is a physically grounding object that is described by a wave function. But that physically grounding object still doesn't have causal power because it's just a thing that exists and it's the only thing that exists. Things might just emerge from it.
Okay. All right. Have you guys heard of the evolutionary argument against naturalism by Plantinga? Maybe we can have that's like one of my favorite arguments, right? Against like the belief in naturalism. Yeah. Do you have any like preliminary thoughts, or do you want me to present the argument?
Sure. So do you hold to proper functionalism?
Yes.
So you think that you can only know things insofar as like your senses, your cognitive abilities are functioning properly? Like they're functioning as designed?
Yeah, like the way he would word it in his theory of warrant is that you would have properly functioning faculties that are designed in a cognitive environment successfully aimed at producing true beliefs, right?
Yeah. The problem with this is that God can't know anything because God doesn't have that.
Yeah, I've heard that objection before because people will argue that God, his faculties wouldn't be designed, right? But that I think this is very similar to the uncaused first cause type of thing, where we can like hold to a certain principle where we can say God is the one who's going to be grounding, right? The design. So he's going to be like the undesigned designer in a way, right? So his faculties will be undesigned, but there would be the designer of our faculties. And so this principle wouldn't apply to God in a way; it only apply to human beings, right? Sort of like the causal principles and cosmological arguments, they don't really apply to God, but they apply. Anything that begins to exist has God. So that type of thing, I'm trying to create that symmetry or parallel. With that.
No, you would just need at that point, what you would be doing is just rejecting that there is, in fact, that all of your beliefs need like to come from your properly functioning cognitive faculties. You would say that that isn't strictly true, that all your beliefs need to come from your properly designed cognitive or properly functioning, well-designed cognitive faculties.
For God, no, right? Because God would be in a different epistemic status.
Then it's just special pleading, right?
Yeah.
Well, no, because remember, in God, it would be in an epistemic position of epistemic infallibility, right? Where these theories have to do with epistemic fallibility. He would be in an epistemic infallible epistemic position, right?
How does God know that he's epistemically infallible?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
How does God know that he's epistemically infallible?
That's a great question. I would say, like with divine omniscience, right? That intrinsic property that he would possess.
How does he know that he's omniscient?
Yeah. So he would know all true propositions, including the proposition that he's omniscient, right?
Yeah, but how does he know that?
Oh, that's just going to be intrinsic in him. It's not just going to be built. Like,
is it a properly basic belief that God, like, is that like a properly basic belief that God holds?
Oh yeah, so I was just going to also talk about that. So even if I grant you like the whole objection, well, God wouldn't hold to like foundationalism, and he doesn't need to. He can hold to like this infinite regress. The infinite regress problem in epistemology wouldn't apply to even God, right? Because foundationalism tries to solve the infinite regress problem, right? But with God, he would have an actual infinite number of beliefs in his noetic structure. It can withhold an infinite number of beliefs, so he doesn't require these epistemic theories to be beholden to him, right? Because he wouldn't be beholden or fall victim to the infinite regress problem that's found in epistemology. So yeah, God would be in an epistemic position where he doesn't need these like foundationalist theories of epistemology. Where
So you would say that God just has like an infinite chain of justifications for his belief?
correct. Yeah, that's correct.
So there's like an infinite chain of justifications for the belief that he's all-knowing?
Yeah, for all his beliefs, that's correct.
Yeah, what would that look like?
Oh, it's just about like the chain of inferences. But
What's the first justification?
Oh,
God's
there would-
all-knowing because of what?
There wouldn't be a first, right? Because it's an infinite. It's
No, I don't mean like the original one. I mean like what's one step back? What is the justification for God is all knowing?
Well,
Because you said there's an infinite chain, so that means that there's an infinite number of justifications, each one following the next one. So what's the one step back from God is all knowing?
Oh, I don't know, right? That's just going to be a limit of my cognition. I don't know how that's going to... But I'm assuming there's going to be a proposition that's going to justify that in a way. Yeah.
I'm not really sure. I guess that doesn't make sense to me because there's like normativity to epistemology, right? There's like normativity to these beliefs, presumably who holds them for reasons. And I think an infinite chain of reasons is incoherent. I think that reasons are aimed at something, and it's impossible to evaluate if they're actually meeting their aim if there's an infinite number of them. So for example, let's say you had like an infinite chain of like ends, and you're trying to figure out if you're like doing the right thing that's in line with your goals. I don't think it's possible to figure that out. I think it's like doomed to failure if you have an infinite number of them.
Well, I think like with the infinite regress problem in epistemology, the reason why the epistemologists would say it's a problem is because of our limit of our noetic structure that it cannot withstand an infinite regress of beliefs. That's why they would reject this. They would say there's this problem of infinite regress. But if you have a being, right, that has this noetic structure that can withhold, right, an infinite number of beliefs, I don't see then that there's going to be a problem there, right? Because I mean, you wouldn't say that there's like a logical impossibility with an infinite regress of causes, right? And we hear
but that's the symmetry breaker between reasons and causes, is that reasons are aimed at something, but there can be nothing to be aimed at if it's an infinite chain of them.
Okay. Nothing can be aimed at if there is.
Yeah.
Well, there's going to be an infinite chain of justifying a certain belief, right?
So I take reasons to be like the type of thing that emerge between like a means and an end. And even in like epistemology, the aim is like truth, like a good justification that gives you reason to believe aimed at truth. I don't think if there's like an infinite chain of justifications, I'm not really sure, I don't think it can be aimed at something if there's an infinite chain of justifications.
Well, it's only going to be aimed not necessarily at truth, but at justifying a certain belief, right, or a certain proposition.
Yeah, but it never has like a foundation to it.
Yeah, that's fine. Like, why does it require a foundation?
Then his beliefs aren't justified.
Why would that be the case?
Yeah, okay. So, gosh, how was I conceptualizing this? So, an infinite chain of reasons is bad because reasons have normativity to them. They're aimed at something. There's like a goal in mind that reasons are supposed to like push you towards. Like reasons are directed to something. If there's an infinite chain of them, they're not directed to anything.
Well, so you want to say there are reasons, and reasons would be propositions, right? Like you have these propositions and they justify other propositions and they keep justifying propositions, right? And foundationalism would say they bottom out to a basic belief, right? Which is non-inferentially inferred. Right?
Yep.
Well, yeah, I mean, so I mean, just with a normal chain of inference that's finite and not infinite, right? The reason, the goal for that is to justify belief, right? But then you want to say, well, if we extend it to the infinite, right, it doesn't, right? And that's the issue I would find. Like, you want to argue that it's logically impossible to have like an infinite regus, maybe, of justifications, or.
Well, look, so the way that I, Ian, you're really struggling to make that right, huh? So the way that the way that I'm thinking about, like, the trouble is that it seems like it's kind of like a different category of type of justification than what we would typically expect as a justification, in which case I don't even know what you mean by justification. Because, like, the point is you could have an arbitrarily long chain of justification, and that would still be a justification, but it's just not a chain if it's infinitely long, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just like it's a different category of type of justification, which means that it seems like you're holding two different types of epistemology simultaneously.
Yeah. So what I'm saying, I mean, there are the type of epistemology that humans would hold to, right? Like the different theories, like internalism, externalism, within foundationalism, or coherentism, or phenomenal conservatism, for example, or God wouldn't be behold. Yeah, God would have a different epistemology, and it would be one of epistemic infinitism. Actually, there are some epistemologists that hold to that, but I find that to be very weird for human beings because we can't like infer infinitely back, right? But with
look, we don't have to be able to do it. As long as you're okay with it being the case, then we can rely on one, say, seemingly foundational justification. So, like, let's suppose that, you know, I have some belief about the sun rising tomorrow, and then I say, oh, well, you know, the reason I hold that belief is because I've seen it with my eyes, and the reason why I think that my eyes are trustworthy is because X, Y, Z. And the point is I can say that there's an infinite chain of justification. I just don't know what it is.
Chain of justification, but I don't know. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
In the same way that you say that there's an infinite chain of justification for God's belief, even though you don't know what it is.
Yeah, that's correct. So I would say, there would be for us, we wouldn't know it, right, because of our finite minds. But for God, He would know it because of His infinite.
No. But then there's no issue with me holding to an infinite chain of justification. Even though I'm finite, I can just say, look, I have this justification. It is infinitely large. I just don't know all of the steps.
Yeah, you can be an externalist about reasons.
Okay, that's fine. Then I guess, you can hold to that view. I don't think there's.
And then why can't I just say, well, there's an infinite chain of reasons as to why my senses are reliable.
Sure.
I just don't know what all of the reasons are.
Yeah, that would be a contender to proper functionalism, for example, or to external or foundationalism. That's correct. Yeah, you can hold to that, I think.
Okay.
Well, doesn't that defeat Plantinga's argument?
Mm.
I just don't know what the justifications are, but they're there.
No, because Plantinga's argument wants to argue that you will have a defeater for your belief that your faculties are reliable, right? Because you need to believe that your faculties are reliable to have knowledge, right?
No, the point is that you leave the circle of naturalism, or you leave the circle of evolutionary evolution giving rise to your senses by just saying, look, there's some other justification that goes back infinitely.
Oh yeah. But, I mean, that can be. I mean, you can have an infinite chain going back to the belief in R, the proposition R, that your cognitive faculties are reliable. But that belief, you believe that you can have beliefs that can be defeated, right? Even if there's an infinite chain going back to them, right? And so Plantinga would still argue that you would still have a defeater for your belief that your cognitive faculties are reliable, given naturalism and evolution, right? And so that's basically.
What would be the defeater if there's just like an infinite chain that relies on like reason epistemic externalism?
Oh yeah, so I mean the explanation for the first premise, the probability premise, is that naturalism selects for beliefs that are not necessarily for truth tracking, but for survival and reproduction, and therefore the probability, due to the principle of indifference, right, the probability of a given belief is going to be 0.5 of it being true. It's going to be the same likelihood of it being false, right? So therefore, if you do that to the power of, let's say you have 1,000 beliefs in your noetic structure, and Plantinga will argue for you to have reliable faculties, 75% of those would have to be true. The probability of that of 750 beliefs of them being true, right? So if you do 0.5 to the power of 750, it's going to be like 0.000 to the 1 millionth, right? And so it's going to be a very low probability. Therefore, you would have a defeator for your belief that your cognitive faculties are reliable, because it's going to be very irrational.
Wait, but isn't there an issue there that you're assuming that all of these beliefs are independent? That the probability of the belief being correct, the 50-50 probability, is independent?
Yeah, think.
But why would you assume that?
Oh, because like natural selection isn't going to be for truth tracking. So even if they're not independent, they can all. So yeah, that is an objection that's raised, right? Where you want to say we have this web of beliefs or a system of beliefs, and they cannot all be false in a way because they would be interconnected. But Plantinga would still argue, why not? You could still have a system of beliefs. I mean, you as a naturalist believe that Christianity as a system of beliefs is all false, right? It could consist of like a million beliefs that are all false, even though they're connected, right? And so
right, but if that's the case, then all you're left with is a 50-50 shot, and we could just then say, well, yeah, we got lucky, we hit the heads rather than the tails, and all of our beliefs happen to be true.
Yeah, but with that, but you wouldn't be rational. That is a possibility. So Plantinga would argue, yeah, it's possible that your faculties are reliable, but you wouldn't be rational in believing in that, right? Because of the very low probability of that being true.
No, the point is that it would be 50-50. It's not very low anymore.
Oh, it's 50. Well,
yeah, from the principle of indifference, you get that each belief is 50-50, but if the beliefs are not independent, if they're in fact entirely dependent, then that means that the sum of all of your beliefs being true is either 50-50. Is 50-50 true, 50-50 false. And again, that's still granting the idea that we have that's still granting that evolution by natural selection selects for survival and not truth.
Yeah,
but even granting that, if you assume that there's some sort of coherency between beliefs, then you're just left with a 50-50, not a 0.5 to the 750 or 0.5 to the 750, right?
Yeah, but I don't see. I mean, the concern here would be that why is beliefs being dependent on each other raises the truth of these. Like you want to argue that that's going to raise the probability of these beliefs being true, right? And that's the thing that I'm not.
It raises the probability that at least 750 are true, right? 750 of 1,000.
Why is that the case?
So if they are all connected, then it's the case that if any one is true, then they're all true. If any one is false, then they're all false. That's the idea of lacking independence, right? And if that's the case, then you only need to evaluate one belief. And from the principle of indifference, that one belief has a 50-50 shot of being true.
Ah, okay. Can you have dependent beliefs in which there's a mixture of true and false beliefs?
I mean, potentially. You'd have to but what I'm suggesting is that you can have is that it's possible that the reason why one would be true is the reason why all of them would be true. The reason why one would be false would be the reson why all of them would be false.
Wait, sorry, I hate to cut this short. Apparently Justin has to get going. Do you want to come back next week? I think this conversation is really interesting.
Cool. Yeah, so like, this has been like a palate cleanser for me after today's stream. Like, I'm actually really enjoying following this dialogue, but unfortunately, I've got hard time limits. I can't stay much later, and I'm running the stream.
Yeah, so it's a little bit hard to.
I'll come next week and we'll continue the conversation.
But please come back. I mean, this is the type of conversations that we always hope to have, and they're very hard to find.
Yeah, big step up from like the last 3 people.
Yeah, right.
Thank you. All right, guys. Take
Based Coptics.
All right, cheers, Fred. Yeah.
Thanks for being here. All right, do we have any super chats to read before you run off?
We do, yeah. Michael, thank you for the $10 super chat. Michael says, if you take the Bible analyzingly and follow some of these suggestions, but not all of the commandments, it's heinous to be anti-Semitic and okay to be transphobic. And that seems like a true statement, actually. Thank you, Michael. And last one from Neck2. Great to see you, Neck2. It says, Unapologetic is easily my favorite show on the YouTubes. Thanks for the live stream. Big W. Thank you so much, Neck2. Really appreciate
Enormous
that. Yeah.
W. The size of a small building.
I think it's a fun show. Also, I've just broached the topic recently of moving to dual streaming, vertical and horizontal. We don't know if we have enough followers yet, but in the comments of this video, let us know if you prefer on YouTube a vertical or a horizontal stream. Curious to know what the audience thinks. So let us know. And I don't know if we want to run 2 streams or 1 stream. Not sure what that's going to do to our algorithm yet. Trying to feel it out. So if you guys have strong opinions, let us know. We'd love to hear about it. And Ian, you're about to go live?
Yep. My brain is fried, but I'll go live anyway.
Love it.
I don't know why you would do that to yourself.
Follow Ian over to his live stream. There'll be more cooking.
Dr. Blitz, join me if you.
Yeah, I might. I'm probably going to make some lunch too, though.
Understandable, sure.
Indeed.